I said, okay, guys, this time when he comes back to the bench, he's now going to overextend his shift. He's going to be a little tired. Don't open the doors. He comes over and I said, get out. He thinks I love him now. Get back out there, I said. So then he comes over again. And now I said, guys, he's going to want to climb into the bench because he's done. I said, when he comes over, puts his leg up, push him back out. And they pushed him. But now they are laughing on the bench. This is in New York City. Right during the game. Back there. So Alex figures it out. He scores a goal in the middle of this shift.
Wow.
He gets himself a rest. Stays out there. Finishes the period. So I think it's about 9 minutes. I walk off the bench. I said, Mess, explain it to him, will you, please? He said, I will. Don't worry. I'll look after it. So as a result, we fast forward now to the playoffs in Game 6, playing New Jersey. In the Jersey series, I double shifted him. When he had to come back, and he was electrifying. Mess got the 3 goals, but Alex was a horse. And it's very talented, powerful. And the problem was he was so efficient that he could stay out, but he didn't grasp the concept of just picking up the intensity. You could see him. He could dangle and hang onto the puck, and nobody could take it from him. He was resting while he was out there.
So in essence, it was a bit of a training ground for what was to come against the Devils at the most important time.
Exactly.
Wow.
So it turned out to be a good lesson for him because that's what he did in that game. 30 seconds, 40 seconds. I just said, Alex, I'm going to double shift you. Get ready. Don't be out too long.
That was former NHL head coach Iron Mike Keenan in conversation with Gord Stellick and Scott Laughlin for the Morning Skate on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio. That's SiriusXM Channel 91.
Follow every second of the action on NHL Network Radio. From behind the bench to every play on the ice. If it's hockey, it's on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio. SiriusXM 91.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Friday, May the 9th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL Playoffs, 7 p.m., Florida Panthers take on the Toronto Maple Leafs. Panthers on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 931. Leafs on Internet 946. 9:30 p.m., Winnipeg Jets face the Dallas Stars. Jets on Sirius and XM channels 167, Internet 951. Stars on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 928. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM NHL schedule for Friday, May the 9th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL Playoffs, 7 p.m., Florida Panthers take on the Toronto Maple Leafs. Panthers on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 931. Leafs on Internet 946. 9:30 p.m., Winnipeg Jets face the Dallas Stars. Jets on Sirius and XM channels 167, Internet 951. Stars on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 928. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM NHL schedule for Friday, May the 9th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL Playoffs, 7 p.m., Florida Panthers take on the Toronto Maple Leafs. Panthers on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 931. Leafs on Internet 946. 9:30 p.m., Winnipeg Jets face the Dallas Stars. Jets on Sirius and XM channels 167, Internet 951. Stars on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 928. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM NHL schedule for Friday, May the 9th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL Playoffs, 7 p.m., Florida Panthers take on the Toronto Maple Leafs. Panthers on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 931. Leafs on Internet 946. 9:30 p.m., Winnipeg Jets face the Dallas Stars. Jets on Sirius and XM channels 167, Internet 951. Stars on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 928.
SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio is the place for expert advice, strategy, and information from the best fantasy sports analysis to win your league. Plus, hear pick-by-pick coverage of live drafts and interviews with top players, coaches, and team executives on SiriusXM 87.
Former Buffalo Sabres head coach Don Granato was on the Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick for SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, Channel 91, to talk about how different today's athletes are, as well as what it's been like to watch Auston Matthews grow.
it's really a switch in the last 10 years. First birth year I had at the national team program was 95 birth year. So it was JT Compher, Tyler Mott, that group. You have them for 2 years. So the next birth year coming in was the 97s, which was prolific. It was Auston Matthews and Matthew Tkachuk and McAvoy and Hanifin, Werenski. And I remember talking to the coaches back then that this birth year is way different than the 95 birth year. And this summer, ironically, I picked up a book that titled The Anxious Generation. And I thought it was very well documented. And the author used the iPhone. And the iPhone came out in 2008 or 6, somewhere in that range. But social media didn't hit hard on the iPhone where you could rate a kid's looks if you're a high school student. And so judging other people on a social media app on the iPhone was about 2013. And so now you think about all these kids going to high school, and we never had this. They could be made fun of on social media. They don't even know it, and they're walking out of a classroom and people are laughing. Yeah. So it's a different world we all live in because we're all criticized and compared to more and faster. And with that, you need to balance that with support. And I think, lots of coaches that have gone that I watch around the league in the NHL, there's a lot of great coaches and a lot of good young coaches that are really good at that. The X's and O's, I say to people, are easy now. When the X's and O's are a very simple part of hockey. It's connecting with people and getting people motivated and excited. And that's changed dramatically. X's and O's became big when video hit the computer. You could watch 100 or 1,000 forechecks over and over and over and say, okay, these are the key components on a forecheck. And so, you didn't have to be in the NHL to become better at that. So that's the easy part. I just can't imagine doing this or that I did it. I called Brian Matthews one time in Austin's U17 year. And I said, Brian, do you have any idea how good your son is? And his reply was no. Like, what are you talking about? Why are you, what is this conversation? And I had to explain to him, and I said, I think this is what's going to happen, Austin. I said, you honestly have to prepare for your life to become very chaotic and crazy. And lo and behold, he gets drafted in Toronto instead of some different market. And we know how crazy it can be here.
Oh yeah.
But and then the last thing I'll say on it is I remember leading up to the draft, lots of people said, can he handle Toronto? And I thought, absolutely, no problem. And the biggest thing for me is when a young player comes in the league, and we talked about it earlier, if they're a -2 or 3 and they have a really tough night, you get to know how they're going to respond. And some that breaks their confidence, and maybe they need a stint in the AHL. You got to get them out of the pressure. But Austin was so good that if that happened, and when it's happened in his career, it doesn't hurt his confidence. He knows that he's in that category of player that I know I can redeem myself just get me to the next game now. And they can do, the best players can do that. And that's a different echelon of player at the NHL level that can do that. So if you look at the top players in the NHL, their confidence is not going to break. The guys right under that, they have a bad night. They may not want that next game.
Get the latest news, opinion, and analysis from MMA to boxing and the professional wrestling world 24/7. SiriusXM Fight Nation, SiriusXM 156, and the SXM app.
I'm Frank Track.
You're listening to NHL Play-by-Play on SiriusXM.
Four more inches here and we're going to be good.
Panthers head coach Paul Maurice right there. Pre-game conversation presented as always by Celsius Essential Energy. Celsius is the official energy drink of the Florida Panthers. You heard it right there. A little lineup change for the Panthers this evening. That fourth line from late in the year, Tomas Nosek, AJ Greer, Jonah Gacevich, they're going to be the fourth line here this evening for the Panthers. We'll tell you who's going to be out when we come back on the other side. We'll also get thoughts from the head coach of the Leafs, Craig Rubin. Next, it's the Florida Panthers Radio Network presented by Baptist Health.
South Florida, shout out one time for the original vibe, the OG, sparkling peach vibe. Deliciously sweet and 100% refreshing. Refresh your energy with zero sugar, essential vitamins, and proven ingredients. Celsius Energy Drinks.
Cheers to champions. Manos Wine has teamed up with the Florida Panthers to celebrate the 2024 Stanley Cup champions. Introducing our exclusive collection of deep-etched, hand-painted wines and sparkling metallic red bubbly, each featuring unique championship designs. Whether you're toasting to victory at home or celebrating with friends, these limited edition bottles are a must-have for every Panthers fan. Shop now at manoswine.com or find us at your local liquor store. Raise your glass to the champions, because every victory deserves a great wine.
The moves the Panthers make on the ice count. American Van Lines knows the moves you make count the most. As the official move of the Florida Panthers, we always want to win by providing you with the most hassle-free move of your life. I'm Anthony DeSorbo, owner of American Van Lines. When it's time to move, give us a call, because we'll give you a solid upfront quote that you can count on. When the time is short and you need to make a move, depend on our pros at American Van Lines. Go Panthers and move with the champs, American Van Lines.
Tabanero Hot Sauce is bringing the heat to the rink this game day, folks. As the official hot sauce of the Florida Panthers, enjoy Tabanero today at any concession stand at the Amarant Bank Arena. We've got it in every flavor: original, sweet and spicy, curry habanero, and extra hot. Their premium sauce blends are crafted right here in South Florida from all-natural, locally sourced ingredients. And the party doesn't have to stop after the stadium. Take Tabanero home with you by visiting your local Florida retail stores. Savor the flavor of Tabanero.
Panthers fans, score big on game day at Stoner's Pizza. Every game day, buy a large cheese or pepperoni pizza and get one of the same variety free. With fresh ingredients and daily handmade dough, Stoner's Pizza is the perfect pairing for puck drop. Order in-store or online at stonerspizzajoint.com and use code GOCATS. Stoner's Pizza, the official pizza of the Florida Panthers. Price and participation may vary. Limited time offer. Attention sports fans, when it comes to your health, don't just play defense, make the winning move with Solstice Dental Insurance. Whether you're looking for a PPO, HMO, or discount plan, Solstice has you covered. Our unique comprehensive dental and vision products ensure that you get the extensive coverage you need, all at an affordable price. With a national network and top-tier customer service, Solstice is your go-to teammate for championship smiles and clear vision. Join the winning team. Call Solstice today, 877-760-2247 or solsticebenefits.com and score big on your dental insurance.
Hey, South Florida, raspberry and peach. To be honest, I didn't know these flavors were such a winning combination until I tried them together in a 12-ounce can. Celsius Sparkling Raspberry Peach. Refresh your energy with zero sugar, essential vitamins, and proven ingredients. Celsius Energy Drinks.
Welcome back to Panthers Preview on the Florida Panthers Radio Network. Presented by Baptist Health.
Welcome back inside Amarant Bank Arena here in Sunrise. It's the Panthers and the Maple Leafs Game 3 tonight, presented by our friends at Baptist Health, the official sports medicine provider of the Florida Panthers. Let's get the view from the other side. Let's hear from the head coach of the Leafs, Craig Berube. Our pregame scouting report presented by Gulfstream Park Racing. Experience the thrills of Gulfstream Park with year-round thoroughbred racing. Go to GulfstreamPark.com. Here is Craig Berube, the head coach of the Leafs, when he was asked earlier today what he expects from the opposition, the Panthers, tonight as this series shifts back to Sunrise.
Well, I mean, a lot of the same that we've seen already. I think, we know how they play and the way they want to play. I don't think they're going to change a whole lot. I mean, it's going to be, they're at home, so it's a little different animal, but expect a lot of the same.
Craig Berube there. The pregame scouting report is presented by Gulfstream Park Racing. Experience the thrills of Gulfstream Park with year-round thoroughbred racing. Go to GulfstreamPark.com. Let's get the scratches tonight, presented by Baptist Health, the official sports medicine provider of the Florida Panthers. And remember, tonight's medical doctors are Dr. Uribe, Dr. Yagnik, and Dr. Ross, presented by Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Well, we mentioned tonight the fourth line for the Panthers is going to be Tomas Nosek between A.J. Greer and Jonah Gadjevich. So that means there's some players coming out for the Panthers. Your scratches this evening: Jacob Megna, Nico Sturr, Mackie Samoskevich, Uvis Balinskis, Jesper Boquist. You won't hear their names tonight. For Toronto this evening, you can scratch Dakota Mermis, Philippe Myers, David Kampf, Ryan Reeves, and Nick Robertson. Your scratches are presented by Baptist Health, the official sports medicine provider of the Florida Panthers. Heard Paul Maurice talk about a little bit there. Billy Lindsay, before we put Panthers preview to bed and get ready to drop the puck, what do you look for out of this fourth line that did some good things late in the regular season for the Panthers? Nosek between Greer and Gadjevich.
Don't take penalties, but tilt the ice in your favor. You don't have to score. but bang everybody that you see. You're going to have to be physical. You're going to have to be able, every time you touch the ice, to kind of make a difference. If you're able to do that, everything's going to work out well. Also, Evan Rodriguez on that top line. He's going with his veterans, Paul Maurice. The guys that he relies upon, believes can get the job done.
Panthers and the Leafs, Game 3 presented by Baptist Health. Coming up in just a moment, we will step aside. We'll come back. We'll have the starting lineups and the drop of the puck. It's the Panthers and the Leafs, Game 3, right here in Sunrise on the Florida Panthers Radio Network, presented by Baptist Health.
This has been Panthers Preview. Face-off for tonight's game is just minutes away.
You're listening to the Florida Panthers Radio Network, presented by Baptist Health.
The excitement continues in Hallandale Beach with live racing action Thursday through Sunday at Gulfstream Park. Plan a day after races in Ten Palms Restaurant with premium dining and elevated track views, or take in the races trackside from the Carousel Club with a craft cocktail. For stake schedules, reservations, and more, head to GulfstreamPark.com.
Cheers to champions. Manos Wine has teamed up with the Florida Panthers to celebrate the 2024 Stanley Cup champions. Introducing our exclusive collection of deep-edged, hand-painted wines and sparkling metallic red bubbly, each featuring unique championship designs. Whether you're toasting to victory at home or celebrating with friends, these limited edition bottles are a must-have for every Panthers fan. Shop now at manoswine.com or find us at your local liquor store. Raise your glass to the champions, because every victory deserves a great wine.
The world's fastest game.
Right over the pass and they score! John Tavares!
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio. AIS HD2 Boca Raton. It's game time.
That's the power play. Barkov, Tkachuk in front. Bouncing puck, jammed it, they score! A power play goal! Carter Verhaeghe on the backhand, and the Panthers take the lead.
The defending Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers are on.
A dream 30 years in the making is a reality. The Florida Panthers have won the Stanley Cup.
This is the Florida Panthers Radio Network.
Sponsored by Baptist Health, the official sports medicine provider of the Florida Panthers. And by SeatGeek, the official ticketing partner of the Florida Panthers.
Now, let's get right to the action.
Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Welcome inside Amerant Bank Arena here in Sunrise. It's the Florida Panthers and the Toronto Maple Leafs, Game 3 of the second round best-of-7 Stanley Cup Playoff Series. Toronto leads the series 2-0. Coming up most recently, a 4-3 win back on Wednesday. So it's the Leafs up 2-0 in the series. Panthers looking to get back on the winning side as things shift back to Sunrise here tonight. Doug Plagans, Billy Lindsay, Kevin Rogers with you. Manny Chang is our on-site engineer. Trevor Harris back at studio control. Your starting lineups presented by SeatGeek, your ticket to great Panther seats for the Panthers, coached by Paul Maurice. The starting forward line, Alexander Barkov between Sam Reinhart and Evan Rodriguez, Gus Forsling, Aaron Ekblad. Defensively, the goaltender is Sergei Bobrovsky. For Craig Berube's Toronto Maple Leafs, the starting forward line will be Auston Matthews between Matthew Nyes and Mitch Marner, Chris Tanev, Jake McCabe. Defensively, the goaltender is Joe Wall. Your officials tonight, the referees are Wes McCauley and TJ Luxmore. The linesmen, Trent Knorr and Scott Cherry. Tonight's game presented by Baptist Health. Alexander Barkov stands in against Auston Matthews as we are ready to get going. Game 3 is underway here at Amerant Bank Arena. Puck played up the near side by Tanev as the Leafs control. It's bottled up by Barkov, but on a bounce picked up by Nyes. Played down to a right. Matthews, first one there. Looks to wrap it around in front for Nyes. Bouncing puck in blue paint. And it's cleared to the line by Forsling, not out of the zone. Tanev across for McCabe. Gives to Marner. Marner right point, long shot. Tipped off the iron and they score. And it's Matthew Nyes, 23 seconds into the game. 1-0 Toronto. The Leafs take an early lead in Game 3.
Matthews almost had a breakaway right out of the gate, and he was able to regain possession, and they worked it back to the point, and floated through. It hits the crossbar. Nyes is able to win the battle against Ekblad in front of the net. 23 seconds into the start of the game, and Matthew Nyes is on the board. And that's an imperative battle that the Panthers have to win. That Barkov line has to win the battle against Auston Matthews and that group. But Matthews, strong play and good puck retrieval by the Leafs, and just a floater wrist shot goes off that crossbar, and Nyes puts it into the back.
Well, not the start the Panthers were looking for, but still a lot of hockey to be played. Nylander in front for Pacioretty as the Leafs bolt right back in. The pass missed the mark, and the Panthers out to center. It's Bennett to the right side. Tkachuk into the offensive end for the Panthers, just over the line. Threads one out front, intercepted by Pacioretty. And a quick pass to start the counterattack. Morgan Rielly, then John Tavares, left side of the circle, and a shot blockered away by Bobrovsky. Into the far corner, Pacioretty. He couldn't hang on to it down low. Panthers start out. It's Verhaeghe up the right wing side. Sam Bennett backhand over the Leaf line. Shuffled along as it was broken up by Oliver Ekman-Larsson. And the puck poked down through the neutral zone by Calle Jarnkrok. Ripped right back in by Nate Schmidt. Down to our left, back behind the Leafs net, the goaltender Wall to leave it for his defense. Simone Benoit for Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Long pass near side, and that takes a deflection. Goes the length, no icing. Bobrovsky around, stolen away by Scott Laughton. Given to Calle Jarnkrok in the far corner to the front of the net. Tried a shot, couldn't get it away. Good defensive pressure from Dmitry Kulikov. Got a stick in there to negate the scoring chance. Now Kulikov plays it off to the far boards. Jake McCabe, far point. Scott Laughton, long shot from the far point wide. That takes a bounce off the corner boards. Brought on by Anton Lundell. He gets across center. The puck shuffled in down to our left. This line has been so dangerous for the Panthers. Brad Marchand out to the line for Ekblad. Pass off his skate. Now here on the near boards, A.J. Greer fresh off the bench to Lundell behind the net. Lundell over to the far circle, is shot, and that one fought off by the left-handed Joe Wall. Into the far corner it goes, picked up by McCabe, and the defenseman will loft one high, rink wide to clear. Panthers right back in, Forsling to Nosek. Nosek a shot right into the Leaf logo in the center of the jersey of Wall, and then a pile-up out front of the net. As this line comes in immediately looking to stir things up. Nosek, Greer, Kadjevich all making their, well, I should say, reunited here as the fourth line for the Panthers. And in the case of Nosek and Gadjevich, making their first appearances of the series here.
And that's where they have to be. They have to be around that blue paint.
And for Jonah Gadjevich's Stanley Cup playoff debut here this evening.
Congratulations to him. Going back to that first goal by the Maple Leafs, so it caused a little bit of a headache, too, as they ran Marner up high. Just like on that game-winning goal that Marner scored, they run that forward up high with the two defensemen, and just allows him a little bit more time to get that shot off, and this time he doesn't score. Goes off the crossbar, and then that battle in front that we talked about in that blue paint, that's a battle that Ekblad has to win against Nyes, and it didn't seem like Ekblad knew where the puck quite was, and Nyes was able to spot it and spin around and off that check of Ekblad.
I want to get to another thought on that here in a moment as Barkov and Marner lean in for the draw. Something else I want to get to there. 2:07 into this first period, 1-0. It's Toronto in front. An early goal from Matthew Nyes, second on the Leafs in goal scoring in the playoffs. That was for Nyes, his fifth of the playoffs as the Leafs start out quickly. A pass from Marner to Matthews, peels off near boards, and a shot that had some zip on it. Low and along the ice, kicked away by the left hand of Bobrovsky, and the Panthers able to get a clear. Puck goes down to our left. Oliver Ekman-Larsson pressured by Barkov. Puck played along far side. Benoit gets it started for Toronto to Nyes. He'll work out across center. Had the puck pulled away, and Ekblad regathers. He's got Nyes on him, and Ekblad in. A chance into the far circle. Reinhart couldn't pull the trigger. Hangs onto the puck, sends it around. That one leaves the zone. Nyes may have gotten away with a hooking call there in the neutral zone.
Here's back. The hands were there.
And Forsling down to our right to play it, but I was going to mention, Billy, I think one other thing we've seen throughout the season, but here in these playoffs specifically, is the emergence of Nyes. Now Nylander in to the slot, a shot, it's off Forsling, and he'll pick it up, plays it up the near side, and into the neutral zone. Matthew Tkachuk into a tussle for the loose puck against Brandon Carlo, who now backs up for Toronto. Pass straight on, Pacioretty on the Panthers logo, looks left, Morgan Rielly. Pacioretty a shot that deflects, and it's out of play. 16:41 to go in the first. 1-0 Leafs on a goal from Nyes. Men need to be smart about their health. Join Alonzo Mourning and a select group of health experts at the Miami Heat Men's Health Summit, June 14th. Learn how to take charge of your health. Learn more at BaptistHealth.net/Zotime. But Billy, in your mind, as you've seen the young career of Matthew Nyes start to take off, what makes him so dangerous out there?
He's strong and powerful. And what's really developed is his skating game. And he's hard to contain, just like that play in front. He's a big man going against Ekblad. He is hard to move out of that net front presence. But you watched him, even in game one where he got that breakaway goal, he can fly. So you add the development and the power, and he's come along at the right time, and he's gonna be a good one for a long, long time.
Just 22 years old and already showing a lot for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Bobrovsky had a nice save on a shot from Yarncroke. The puck was cleared now as the Leafs work it back in. Looks like an icing call against Toronto. So a face-off coming up down to our left. 16:25 to go here in the first. 1-0 Toronto. If you're just joining us, 23 seconds in, it was Matthew Nyes giving the Leafs a 1-goal edge here in Game 3. And Game 3 is presented by our friends at Baptist Health.
Lindell, Luostarine, and Marchand have been great. You've got to now have Bennett, Tkachuk, and Verhaeghe, Rodriguez, Barkov follow suit. And it does go down to that heavy one matchup. Even that Nylander line, they have to find a way to win the territorial advantage against those two lines specifically. You don't want them having the puck on their stick and gaining confidence.
Puck play down to our right inside the Panthers zone. Nico Mikkola up the boards quickly. The Panthers start out of their own end. Luostarine into Jones. Now to Anton Lundell in over the offensive line. Stephen Lawrence able to pull the puck away, and he'll loft it out down to our right. Inside the Panthers end. Mikkola to Marchand. The Panthers work back into the offensive zone. Right side Lundell for Luostarine in high slot. Peels off far circle. Looks for a lane. Nifty stick handling to work down low before Benoit shouldered him off the puck. And Simon Benoit works up the near side for Toronto. The 6'5 defenseman plays it down to our right. Into the near corner. Pontus Holmberg wrapped up and taken down by Nate Schmidt. The Panthers able to clear from their own zone. The puck goes the length of the ice. 15:36 to go in the first. 1-0 Toronto. And a face-off coming up down to our right after an icing call against the Panthers. Paint the Grain is a DIY craft studio which hosts workshops such as kids' birthdays, ladies' nights, corporate events. Located in Davie on Griffin Road. Check out paintthegrainstudio.com for their schedule of events. Circle down to our right and off the draw. Winds up in the far corner. Seth Jones up the boards. Brad Marchand looks to clear. Max Domi kept it in. Puck shuffled down behind the Panthers' net. On it is Bobby McMahon for Toronto. Then Domi a shot out of the far circle, and that one had some heat on it. And Bobrovsky able to hang on. Makes the save. No rebound surrendered. He covers, and a face-off upcoming inside the Panthers zone. 15:22 left in the first. 1-0 Toronto, and the Leafs out shooting the Panthers 4-1 here in the early stages.
Leafs only had 2 minutes and 58 seconds of zone time, possession time in that second game. Here they've come out and already established a couple of minutes in the offensive zone with the puck on their stick.
And Craig Berube going back to the top line now. Matthews off the face-off, tries a shot, but they say it was played with a hand pass. It was kind of a bobbling puck off the face-off. Marner got a glove on it before Matthews touched up.
That'll bring the face-off outside.
Yeah, the whistle blows and the face-off comes out beyond the Panthers' blue line. Far side of the ice from our vantage point, right in front of the Panthers bench. It's the Panthers in red, right to left. The Leafs in white, left to right. Here in the opening frame, Barkov wins the draw from Matthews. Forsling to Ekblad up the right side, and it's redirected deep into Leafs territory by Barkov behind that wall out to play it. Almost had it ripped away by Evan Rodriguez. The Maple Leafs do get a clear out to center, and Gus Forsling will tap it off the near boards to Sam Reinhart. He'll dump it in. Near corner, Morgan Riley there. Winds it around. Nice. Shoved by Ekblad, but the Leafs still able to get a clear, and now up the ice they go. Near side of the ice, it's played by Morgan Riley down to our right. Sam Reinhart back to handle it deep in the Panthers' end. Left it behind the net for Gus Forsling. Almost had his pocket picked by Nyes. Rolling puck, and the Leafs do steal it away. Tavares, though, has to backpedal into the neutral zone. Gave it to Tanev. He'll leave it for McCabe. Jake McCabe at center. Hands to Nylander. Up the ice for Pacioretty over his stick. Down to our right it goes. Into the far corner. Sam Bennett there off the short glass. Didn't get the clear as McCabe put his body in front of it. And Tavares over on the far side with it for Toronto. Bumped by Verhaeghe. Now Pacioretty able to hold it in. Rolls it to the top of the far circle before Nico Mikkola comes to the rescue, and he'll backhand one down to our left. No icing here. And Tanev takes a hard hit back behind the net. Carter Verhaeghe got a hold of him, but the Leafs break it out quickly. Up the left side, Nylander. Then Pacioretty in front of the goal. Tavares, can he wrap it around? He does. He scores. John Tavares makes it 2-0 Toronto. 5 minutes, 57 seconds into Game 3.
Run outline pass beats all three forwards. Come back with the 3-on-2, get the middle lane drive, and it's thrown on that far side to Tavares, and he has some patience to outweigh the goaltender, Sergei Bobrovsky. Maybe had a chance to one-time it on the side of the net. Big hit behind the net by Verhaeghe. But again, it's just one outlet pass, and Tkachuk got caught hanging down a little bit too low. If you guys got too committed and you don't have the puck, that last forward up high has to stay way back. And all of a sudden, 3-on-2, and we've seen this numerous times. Again, off the rush with the execution that the Leafs have been able to have. Tavares makes it 2-0, and that one puts a little bit of stink.
Well, the good news for the Panthers is there's still, 53 minutes and change remaining in regulation time, so there's a lot of hockey to play. As Jonah Gadjevich down looking to stir things up. Now A.J. Greer and Scott Lawton, a little exchange down to our left, and now this is what this line's going to have to bring, but you also, at this point now, looking to build back from a deficit, going to have to be careful.
So Verhaeghe's going in for the big hit behind the net, correct?
Yep.
And then you also have Bennett circling in behind. Bennett should be in more of a support position, and all of last is Tkachuk should not be thinking offense in that situation until you actually have the puck. And it's just one outlet pass that beats all three forwards, and they just come strolling down the other way and able to shove it. The execution by the Leafs on their 3-on-2s and 2-on-1s have been outrageous. Every time that they seem to get one, they seem to put it in the back of the Panthers' net.
Well, I asked Paul Maurice about that pregame, and he mentioned it during our pregame lead-in, but says they go quickly, and maybe that's the difference between them and a team like Tampa Bay, who also is very good on the rush, but you see the Leafs starting to blow the zone maybe a little earlier than some other teams, and there is some gamble to that, but they've been able to make it work. And we saw it last game. Remember, in the third period, there was an instance where William Nylander was almost down at the opposing blue line. Now down to our left, Brad Marchand works it in for the Panthers. Down to our left, Anton Lundell had 2 goals straight in front. A shot to stick save made by Wall. Puck to the near corner, and Calle Jarnkrok playing in his 102nd career playoff game. He'll give one away here on the near side of Brad Marchand. New life for the Panthers down to the offensive end. Forsling at the near point. Long shot, and it's loose after a Wall save. He sprawls, and it looks like Joe Wall at the edge of the goal crease has it, and then more shoving takes place. 12:56 to go in the first. 2-0. It's Toronto in front, and that'll take us to our first media timeout. It's going to give the Panthers a chance to reset, to regroup, to catch their breath. Still a lot of hockey to be played here, but the Panthers in a 2-0 hole in the series and in a 2-0 hole here early on in Game 3. Game 3 is presented by our friends at Baptist Health, and we'll be right back in just a moment. Coincidentally, the Florida Panthers Radio Network is presented by Baptist Health. We have some breaking news that you Panthers fans are going to want to hear. It's official. SeatGeek is now the official ticketing partner of the Florida Panthers. That's right, the deal is finalized, and SeatGeek is the newest member of the Panthers family. If you haven't heard the name yet, get used to it, because you'll be hearing it a lot more this season. SeatGeek, the new official ticketing partner of the Florida Panthers. Your ticket to great Panthers seats.
Tabañero Hot Sauce is bringing the heat to the rink this game day, folks. As the official hot sauce of the Florida Panthers, enjoy Tabañero today at any concession stand at the Emerald Bank Arena. We've got it in every flavor: original, sweet and spicy, curry habanero, and extra hot. Their premium sauce blends are crafted right here in South Florida from all natural, locally sourced ingredients. And the party doesn't have to stop after the stadium. Take Tabañero home with you by visiting your local Florida retail stores. Savor the flavor of Tabañero.
Every Stanley Cup champion started somewhere. Begin your championship journey with the Florida Panthers Learn to Play. Learn to Play is designed to introduce the game of ice hockey to boys and girls ages 5 to 9. For only $250, each participant will receive 6 weeks of on-ice training from Florida Panthers alumni and USA Hockey certified coaches, as well as a custom-fitted free set of ice hockey equipment that they can keep at the program's conclusion. For sign-up, location, and scheduling information, visit floridapanthers.com/learn-to-play.
12:56 to go, first period, 2-0. It's Toronto in front of the Panthers here in the early stages. Score big on game day with Stoner's Pizza. Buy a large cheese pepperoni pizza, get one free. Order online at stonerspizzajoint.com using the code GOCAT. Stoner's Pizza, the official pizza of the Panthers. Online only. Price and participation may vary, so if you get the pepperoni one like I tend to like, or the cheese pizza like Bill Lindsay tends to like, buy one, get one free. Face-off far circle down to our left inside the Leafs zone. Lundell will take the draw against Auston Matthews.
We talked about Pacioretty last game, but he's been a huge X factor for this Leafs team on that second line.
Leading Toronto in hits by a large margin is Pacioretty here. Nice in front, tipped on goal. Bobrovsky slides to his right, makes a save on Matthews, and then Bobrovsky will cover. 12:41 to go here in this first period. 2-0 Toronto in front. Game 3 presented by Baptist Health, the official sports medicine provider of the Florida Panthers, and a face-off on the way inside the Panthers zone, and that developed in a hurry.
And there you see the evolution in eyes and the confidence on his stick. He takes that pass, and it's behind him, and he does a spinorama, and that gets around Mikkola. That spinorama all in one motion, and a blind backhand pass throwing in front, knowing Matthews is there, and again, Matthews also behind the defenseman. Not ideal, and that line has come out. They've been a force early on, and that was a big save by Bobrovsky at a key moment.
Mentioned Nyes and Tavares, the 2 Leafs goals so far in this one. Toronto a face-off win. Matthews to Carlo. Then Riley a shot from the left point. That's blocked. Brandon Carlo on the near boards. He'll whack it along the near boards. Stopped up. Seth Jones helps get it out. Evan Rodriguez pushed it through the neutrals. Down to our left. Here to the near corner. Morgan Riley down to our left in the Toronto end. The Leafs don't clear. A chance for Barkov out front. And it's off Riley, and he scores! And the Panthers get one back. It's now a 2-1 Toronto lead with 12:22 to go here in the first. Barkov put it out front off the Toronto defenseman. It went off Riley and in, and the Panthers get one back.
That's massive for the captain for the Panthers. All of a sudden you got 2 defensemen looking at the puck, Morgan Riley and Carlo. They got caught up too high. Good forechecking pressure. Paddle on the half wall. You win it. Reinhart just slaps it back to Barkov. I'm not sure if there's ever... But he reaches out with that long reach and ends up going off Riley's stick into the net. But Riley actually tipped it in. Barkov was just throwing it in, trying to take it, lunging on his stomach. And Riley trying to break up that play, deflected it behind his own goaltender, Joseph Wall.
Well, that's a big one for the Panthers there, because you get one that maybe you weren't supposed to have.
And that line, but there's the recipe. There's the forechecking. And all of a sudden it pops out to Reinhart. You got both Carlo and O'Reilly going to Reinhart. And that left Barkov just open for a second. And because Riley was up high looking at Reinhart, he's trying to recover back to the net. If he's not up that high, he's probably in defensive position to make that play.
Shot from Nylander, blocked by Forsling. Panthers out of their own end, up the far side. Oh, Forsling got absolutely blasted by Benoit. Now down to our left, back behind the Toronto net. Here's John Tavares with control of the puck. On for Pacioretty, and he'll whip it down from center ice. Far corner, Nylander. He's shouldered by Marchand. The puck played down low, and then Tavares tried to center. The pass intercepted by Lundell. Business picking up in the physicality department here as we continue along. It's dumped in by Lundell. Puck rims around. Verhaeghe takes a shot from Pacioretty over along the boards. The Leafs come up with control. It's carried on by Tavares. Give it to Yarncroke, and he'll roll it along the near side down to our right, back behind the Panthers net. Regathered by the Panthers' Nate Schmidt with 11:25 to go in the first. 2-1 Toronto as Sam Bennett will put a pass through center that's intercepted by Yarncroke. Lawton tips it. Here's Stephen Lawrence peeling off to the near boards for Toronto. He'll play it down behind the net. Lawton in there, crashing into Nate Schmidt. Yarncroke trying to dig the puck free. It's loose side of the goal. Poked at by Yarncroke. A pile up here next to the Panthers net. And somewhere down there, Sergei Bobrovsky has the puck covered. The whistle blows. And Sergei Bobrovsky says, I'm going to go stand over here for a moment while you guys all sort this out.
Jam plays from that fourth line behind the net. Some big hits as we've seen it. And now we're going to get Tkachuk for minor. Wes McCauley decided the only one out of this scrum that's going to go over the edge is Matthew Tkachuk, so the Panthers are going to be shorthanded for the first time.
Yeah, Matthew Tkachuk goes off. Toronto to the power play.
Those are really tough penalties. I know Matthew Tkachuk likes to stir it up and get involved. And Benoit with a massive hit on Gustav Forsling. Forsling, though, one of the toughest players that you're going to come by, and he absorbs that hit and gets right back to his skates. But Benoit, they're just caught him in the crosshairs. Panthers got to go to the penalty kill.
Face off far circle down to our right inside the Panthers zone. It's pulled back to the line. Marner a shot tipped and Bobrovsky the save. He'll hold on. 11:01 to go in this first period. 2-1 Toronto and more after the whistle stopped. Billy, Craig Berube was asked about it during his media availability this morning, and he said it's something they've been harping on to not get involved in the after the whistle scrums.
And the Panthers have to stay away from it. If they're going to walk away, you can't take a penalty like Matthew Tkachuk just did. That's an avoidable penalty. You've been shorthanded 8 times in the first couple of games, 3 times in the first period last game, and that kind of squashed a lot of the momentum that you were having, and Toronto ended up with a power play goal late in that first period. If you can avoid penalties by skating away, even though the Leafs have mandated that, the Panthers cannot be the one to initiate stuff and get into the penalty box and put yourself in a lot of peril.
10:47 left in the first. 2-1 Toronto as Barkov has gotten one back for the Panthers here. It's Tavares out to the line, and then Marner for Nylander, right wing corner. Tavares to the right point. Nylander holds, hands it to Tavares near circle. Shot save Bobrovsky. It's loose. It's jammed in. It's picked up and cleared by Forsling. This one goes down into Leafs territory. Joe Woll well out of his net. He'll leave at the far circle for Mitch Marner getting back. 1:13 to go in the Tkachuk roughing minor as Toronto has the first power play of this hockey game. Left to right across your radio goes Nylander. Drop back for Matthews. Left side, Nyes in front. Matthews tipped just wide. Now from behind the net, Matthews to the far corner. Lundell has Bobby McMahon on him right away. Can't get the clear. Now Jones, he'll rattle it up the far boards. Kept in Marner left point. He'll hand it down low for Nyes. Nyes in the far corner. Tied up by Jones. Loose puck, Lundell. He'll start out of the zone. Anton Lundell up the right side for the Panthers. Long backhand. Glove down by Woll. And then some contact afterward. Marner took a tumble. Lundell's going to draw the attention of a couple of Maple Leafs as McMahon and Nyes jump in to have a word. And then Eetu Luostarinen is into the scrum as well. 9:45 to go in the first. 2-1 Toronto. The Leafs out shooting the Panthers 11-5. Toronto had the first 2 goals. The Panthers had the last one. 39 seconds still to go on the Tkachuk penalty. So Toronto's power play continues, and they will go with the second unit making its full appearance now.
Well, the passing plays have been spot on for Toronto. You looked at that zone entry they had on the power play, and Matthews with another opportunity in front. Got in a little too tight, tied the fire poker behind Bobrovsky, but that was clean passing, and we've seen a lot of it from the Toronto. They've not bobbled any pucks or mishandled. It's been clean on their end.
Clean face-off win for Max Domi, and the Leafs will start out from deep in their own end, left to right across your radio. Here's Morgan Riley up the left side. Puck tipped along. Bobby McMahon on the wing. Down behind the Panthers net. Muscled up the puck by Ekblad. Then the puck cleared all the way down by Forsling.
Forsling's willingness to make a play to take a hit. And we saw it on the Benoit play in there again behind the net. He knows he's going to get hit. Sticks with it and rims it all the way around. Gets it out.
Ekman Larson plays it in, and an offside call against Toronto with 9:16 to go in the first. 2-1 Toronto in front. 10 seconds left in the penalty to Matthew Tkachuk. So the Leafs power play heading into the very late stages here. Get ready to celebrate your team in style. Whenever the Panthers score 3 or more in a game, you can score 2. Head over to Pliables the next day, rocking your Panthers gear, and enjoy a free Panthers Mood Color Bowl. Pliables is your slice of summer anytime.
We talked about Gustav Forsling and his toughness, and it comes in so many different forms, whether it's blocking shots, taking hits, all kinds of plays, and the little stuff that he does and stays in the lineup just goes underrated. And maybe not physically tough or fighting tough, but a guy that takes a lot of scar tissue and just continues to get the job done.
Yeah, it's something to see every single night. Getting to watch him play every single night and what he's willing to do for the team. It's something special. As Tkachuk's out of the box, back to 5-on-5. Leafs control, though, inside the Panthers zone down to the right. Here's Marner, center point. Marner, long shot. Tipped, didn't get through. Nyes kept it alive. Out to Tanev at the right point. Across from McCabe. Long wrister. That deflects off the Panther and wide. Back behind the net. It's Nico Mikla beating Matthews to the puck. Looks to clear. Got it up the boards. And then Evan Rodriguez will muscle it along. Carries through center. Bump by McCabe. Puck came free. Reinhart there. He's crunched by Nyes. Puck picked up then by Rodriguez and wristed down wide to the near corner. Here's Schmidt looking across far circle. Lawton intercepting the pass for Toronto, and the centerman will toss one high in the air down to our right. Tracked down by Kulikov. He'll have it deep inside the Panthers zone. Long outlet feed far side for Tkachuk. Gives to Nate Schmidt. Touches the center circle, dumps it in. Around the end boards it goes to the far corner. Verhaeghe, a hard check on Yarncroke. Now Tkachuk looking out front into the far circle. Kulikov, a shot that's blocked. Puck goes off to the near point. Nate Schmidt pounds it down behind the Toronto net. Verhaeghe, right point Kulikov. Dmitry Kulikov. Carter Verhaeghe across near circle. Schmidt, a big drive and a glove save is made by Wall.
Penalty coming up against the Leafs down in front. Took a man down. When we get back from break, this time Tkachuk draws a penalty. Looks like it might be high sticking.
7:44 left in the first period. 2-1 Toronto, and the Panthers a Publix power play opportunity to tie things up when we return. Here's the call. Carlo for cross-checking. A 5-on-4 power play for the Panthers next. This is the Florida Panthers Radio Network presented by Baptist Health.
South Florida, one of the latest and greatest from Celsius is a balance of two iconic flavors, kiwi and strawberry. Two vibrant and delicious flavors that dance on your taste buds. Refresh your energy with zero sugar, essential vitamins, and proven ingredients. Celsius Energy Drinks.
The moves the Panthers make on the ice count. American Van Lines knows the moves you make count the most. As the official mover of the Florida Panthers, we always want to win by providing you with the most hassle-free move of your life. I'm Anthony DeSorbo, owner of American Van Lines. When it's time to move, give us a call because we'll give you a solid upfront quote that you can count on. When the time is short and you need to make a move, depend on our pros at American Van Lines. Go Panthers and move with the champs, American Van Lines.
Make pet care stress-free with Pet Meds, official partner of the Florida Panthers and trusted platform for pet health. From puppies and kittens to seniors, Pet Meds offers top brands for healthy foods, flea and tick prevention, medications, and more. Every order comes with a surprise for your furry family. Don't miss Dr. Cuddle's Ready Rescue, a must-have detoxifier for emergencies. Visit PetMeds.com and use promo code Panthers for 20% off site-wide. Pet Meds, care you trust to keep pets happy and healthy throughout their lives.
South Florida, new flavor alert, and this one's the bomb. Watermelon lemonade, a tasty explosion of flavor. Refresh your energy with zero sugar, essential vitamins, and proven ingredients. Celsius Energy Drinks.
Welcome back to Game 3 presented by Baptist Health. The Panthers trying to get back on the winning side of things here tonight, trailing 2-0 in the series. They were down 2-0 in the game before Barkov got the Panthers back to within one. Now the Panthers have a Publix power play opportunity to try and get this game tied up. Cross-checking called against Brandon Carlo of the Leafs before the commercial break. So the Panthers onto a 5-on-4 man advantage. Face off down to our left near circle inside the Toronto zone, and Barkov will take the draw. 7:44 to play in the first. 2-1 Toronto. Doug Plagans, Billy Lindsay, Kevin Rogers with you. Manny Chang is our onside engineer, and Barkov's been waved out of the circle. Trevor Harris back to studio control. Verhaeghe's going to take the face-off against Matthews. And off the face-off, a race for it to the near corner. Reinhart has it. Verhaeghe across to an open Tkachuk shot, and it's fought off by Wall. What a save there by the Leaf netminder as Tanev fails to clear. Right point, it's Reinhart, a long shot that's wide to the corner. Barkov out to the near point. Verhaeghe. Now Barkov from the half boards. Jones looks off to the right side. Reinhart into the right circle. A shot from a tight angle over the net wide. Rims around. Goes down to our right into Panthers territory. As that'll eat up some valuable seconds here now. The Panthers will try and bolt out of their own end quickly.
Verhaeghe lost that faceoff, but Reinhart sprinted the puck, got it down deep in the corner. Tkachuk got a scoring chance out of it.
Verhaeghe down to the near corner. Panthers right back into the offensive end. Far half boards, it's Tkachuk. End boards for Barkov. Backhand feed Verhaeghe left circle. Bobbles, holds, gives to Barkov left side. Back behind the net then Tkachuk to Verhaeghe in the right circle. Carter Verhaeghe backhand to forehand, down low. Tkachuk right corner with it. Tkachuk holds in the right circle across Barkov. A chance shot, and it's blocked by Benoit partially. Deflects out to the far point. And Reinhart will give to Tkachuk. Then Reinhart down low on the end boards. Verhaeghe up top. Tkachuk again. Matthew Tkachuk, a shot in that one wide. Rims out to the near point. Panthers keep it in. Barkov to Jones. Jones across. Verhaeghe right circle. Wrist shot wide. That had some heat on it. Here on the near boards, Barkov into the near circle. Down below the goal line, Reinhart. Near side in the circle, it's Barkov. He'll look around the offensive end. Across far circle. Whipped out in front. And that one from Reinhart deflects to Barkov. Back across to Reinhart. out at the right point. Down low, it's Tkachuk looking out front. A shot, and it went off the crossbar from Reinhart. That was a close one. It was waved off immediately. We play on. And the Panthers with control again. Here's Barkov, a shot. Blocked out to the near point. It goes. And Jones gives to Verhaeghe here on the near side. Carlo out of the box. The Panthers were in the offensive end for a long stretch there as Barkov fires wide. It rims out to the far point. Jones down low. And it's off Verhaeghe. The Leafs settle down control of the puck. And Nyes will scoot across center before he dumps it in. Well, the Panthers didn't score, but they had it down there for a long time. And I was waiting for a horn to perhaps come after the fact. It didn't. Reinhart missing by a matter of inches. Here's Lundell and shot. Rebound just jumped over the stick of Brad Marchand. It was a stick save made by Wall. Rebound was there for a moment, and it was just wobbling around too much for Brad Marchand. Now Marchand gives to Forsling near circle. Backdoor feed. It deflects away and out of play. 5:03 to go first period. And a little scuffle out front of the net. Everything seems to be calm for now. 2-1 Toronto, but it's the Panthers applying the pressure now. We'll see if they can get it knotted up when we come back. This is the Florida Panthers Radio Network, presented by Baptist Health.
Hi, it's me, your USPS Ground Advantage shipment. Just left the warehouse and hitting the road.
I know. Just got the notification.
Great. Smooth sailing so far. I'm almost there.
Yes, I know. I get all the updates.
Made it. Safe and sound.
I know.
Well, did you know I was with USPS the whole time?
Oh, yeah. I know.
Keep your business in the know with the USPS Ground Advantage service. Visit USPS.com/in-the-know.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
Steel deals are happening now. From instant savings on select tools to free battery offers on some of our most popular battery tool sets. You can enjoy great deals and do it all with Steel. Shop online or in store at your local Steel dealer. Offer valid for a limited time only at participating dealers while supplies last.
Welcome back inside Amerant Bank Arena here in Sunrise. 2-1 Toronto over the Panthers. The Leafs had the first two. The Panthers had the last one. 5:03 between now and the end of period number one. Panthers would love to, at very least, get this thing tied up through 20 minutes of play. And, Billy, the Panthers have really mounted the pressure here the last few minutes.
You wondered if the Leafs could continue that pace that they had in that first 10 minutes of the game. Panthers have been able to tilt the ice a little bit back into their favor. The Leafs came out flying, pretty much doing everything perfectly. Panthers got that power play, rode a little bit of momentum after scoring that Barkov goal, and their game has looked a lot better since.
Face off, far circle down to our left, inside the Toronto zone. Reinhart taking the draw on his strong side, far circle. Little dust up off the draw. The puck squirts to Oliver Ekman-Larsson. He'll play it to the near corner where Brandon Carlo's there to bounce one out of the zone down to our right. And this is going to be an icing call against Toronto. 4:50 left in the first. 2-1. Toronto in front, out shooting the Panthers 11-7. What does it mean to feel welcome at Baptist Health? It's making sure everyone feels cared for and cared about. Here the sun shines through each one of us as we stand by each one of you. Welcome to the warmer side of care. Welcome to Baptist Health. And tonight's Game 3 is presented by our friends at Baptist Health.
And the Barkov line out there against Nylander, Tavares, Pacioretty. I would expect this matchup more often as this game goes on.
Ekblad right point, long shot, tipped on goal, save Wall, and the puck hustled down by Rodriguez here in the near corner. He'll leave it down low, Ekman-Larsson in after it, kept it to the outside, Barkov kept it in the zone. Now Rodriguez in the near circle, turns, looks to the net, shot blocked by Carlo, who's not able to clear. Barkov in the corner, bumped by Tavares. Now it's Barkov into the near circle for Ekblad. Ekblad cuts out front, poke checked away by Carlo. Nylander hands to Ekman Larsson, and he will patiently backpedal into his own zone while the Leafs get a change in progress. The Panthers change up the personnel as well. Long feed out of the zone, cleared the zone, but it was broken up by Anton Lundell. He'll cruise back in. It's poked away by Carlo. Loose here at the near boards. Brad Marchand on it to Lundell's side of the goal. Poked on net. That may have gone off the side of the net. Either way, it stayed out. Loose back behind the goal. It's Luostarin to the far corner, the right wing side to Marchand. To Jones at the right point. Across for Mikkola. They say that one came out beyond the line. Offside call against the Panthers as Mikkola tried to work it back over the line in a hurry. 3:50 to go in the first. 2-1 Toronto over the Panthers. And remember to feed your fandom with the new Panthers sub only at Publix, the official supermarket of the Florida Panthers.
First time that Barkov ended up against that Pacioretty, Nylander, Tavares line, and they were able to hold it in the zone. And sometimes a good offense is the best defense. You get away from Matthews. Matthews has had some success. I would look to exploit that matchup a little bit more often and see if Barkov and the boys can keep Nylander pinned in their own zone, because that second line for the Leafs, no discredit to Marner and Matthews, what they've been able to do, but they've been the most dangerous line.
And that is the advantage of being at home. If there is a matchup you're looking for, you can get it by having the benefit of the last change. Down to our left inside the Leafs zone. Tana gives to McCabe. Straight on. Lawton. He'll give to Lawrence. Puck lobbed in on Bobrovsky. And he'll tap it to Nate Schmidt. Quick outlet for Greer. Tipped up the near side, down to our left, deep into the Leafs zone wall. The netminder out play. Gave to Morgan Riley. Shuffled up the far boards for Domi. Cross ice to Carlo, the defenseman. He'll carry it across the center red line. It's driven in. Down behind the Panthers net, McMahon. A shove on Jones. Then Verhaeghe got bumped as well by Domi. Panthers break it out quickly, though. It's Tkachuk to Mikkola. And the puck played deep into the Leafs zone. Mikkola stays after it. Sheds off a check. Brings it into the near corner. Backhand out to Verhaeghe covering the near point. He was running to immediately by McMahon. And yes, a penalty coming against Toronto now.
Roughing. And this is going to go maybe against Domi as he got involved again. So Tkachuk, second time Tkachuk took a penalty. This is the second time that Tkachuk is going to draw a penalty. And all credit there to Mikkola starting that play on the breakout. Able to get it on the boards, and Mikkola just jumped up and took off. That allowed the entry into the zone and forced the Maple Leafs to defend. And that never happens without Mikkola just sprinting up. And it's actually Domi trying in behind the net. This started way back in the Panthers' end. It was a while before they touched the puck, and he went high and hard with an elbow against Verhaeghe. A blatant easy call as he jumped and put the elbow right to the face of Verhaeghe. Hopefully Verhaeghe is going to be okay. He's out there on the power play, so all seems good.
Panthers power plays presented by Publix. This is their second one. They're 0 for 1, though they did generate a lot during that first opportunity. Had the puck in the zone for, I'd say, about a minute and a half continuously to close it out. Now the Panthers control to start the sequence. Jones put it down behind the net, but it's stolen away. McCabe gives to Matthews. To Marner, a shorthanded breakaway for Marner. Marner in. He's tied up by Jones, and a penalty is going to be assessed to Seth Jones as he got back to cancel out the Marner scoring chance.
This penalty was called before the breakaway. The arm was up when Marner was on that breakaway.
Yeah, it's going against Verhaeghe. So a holding call against Carter Verhaeghe.
Yeah, this penalty, I saw the arm up, and there was nothing against Jones on the breakaway when Marner was just kind of hanging in the weeds. When Matthews got that puck, he was way up around that red line, and Matthews spotted Jones. His skating ability and long reach was able to get back, and good for Jones for not taking a penalty.
Yeah.
You look at the replay, and Jones was able to just whack at the bottom of his stick, take that chance away from Marner, but Verhaeghe ends up with the penalty in the offensive zone for holding the stick, and we'll see some 4-on-4 action for a minute, 46 seconds.
Yeah, a lot of open ice here, and yeah, upon seeing the replay, pardon me, it was Seth Jones who actually did a heck of a job to get back against Marner and within the boundaries of the rule book, take Marner down and negate the scoring chance. Here's Forsling back behind the Panthers net. He'll give it to Barkov there. Through the far circle, cruises into the neutral zone and heads down to our left. Drop pass Reinhardt, it's poked away. And now Matthews for Toronto. He'll look up the left side. Spots Jake McCabe, handed back for Matthews. Panthers right to left, Leafs left to right as we go into the late stages here. Period number 1, just 2 minutes to go in the opening frame. 2-1 Toronto here. After the Leafs had 2 in the first 5 minutes, 57 seconds of tonight's contest. Here on the near side, it's Oliver Ekman-Larsson for Toronto. He'll cross center. It's driven in. Around it goes, far side, Marchand. Back behind the net. Then a full head of steam up the near side of the ice. Heads down to our left, up to the Toronto line. He's knocked over by Ekman-Larsson. Clings with it now. Marchand just inside the line. He'll drop it off Jones. Cuts to the net. Pass out front. And it's knocked away by the stick of Riley. And now the Leafs have numbers coming back. Nylander right wing side. Pulls up right circle. Saucer pass across. And it bounced off Jones. Picked up by Bennett. And the Panthers start back. Across for Jones.
Fantastic work by Jones on the back check.
Now Jones crossing in. He got crossed up with a teammate. The puck came free. And the Leafs will have control. Tanev to Riley. Up the left wing side, gives to Knies. Up to the offensive line for Toronto. He scoots in, lobs one toward the net for Pontus Holmberg that didn't connect. And back behind the Panthers net, Dmitry Kulikov is there. Gives to Nate Schmidt, straight on for Anton Lundell. Lundell to center ice. It's dumped in off the end board. Jake McCabe wins a race back for it. He's shouldered hard by Eetu Luostarinen. Got a pass around for Tanev. 45 seconds to go here in the first. Toronto on a very short power play now, 14 seconds in length, and that is set to elapse as now Tanev gives one away at center to Nate Schmidt. He'll walk up to the offensive line. Long shot, gloved down by Wall. Now back to 5-on-5 hockey. Tanev gives to Marner behind the net. Marner left to right across your radio. Pass near side for Matthews. Matthews to the right circle. Looks around. Hands it back to Carlo. Down low and around the end boards. It's going to be raced down by Marner. Pass to the line. Nobody home. All the way down Joe Wall to play it. He'll shift it off for Carlo, who pounds it off the boards. Off Barkov. Verhaeghe, a hard hit on Carlo. Now 9 seconds in the period. The Leafs a chance as Marner cruises in. Matthews one-timer and he whistled it wide. That rims around. Far boards. Verhaeghe. Time winding down. Heads in. The horn sounds as Verhaeghe was knocked over by Benoit, and that will take us to the end of 20 minutes here in Sunrise. Well, the Panthers got things going as the period went along. They still find themselves down a goal through 20 minutes of play here in Game 1, but you have to like the way the Panthers put things together after the first media timeout. Really was when things started to change.
Yeah, and at the 10-minute mark, the shots were 11-2, about that, and they finished 12-8. Maple Leafs one shot in the last 10 minutes, or maybe two at max. It was 10-2 or 11-1, whatever the case, the scenario was. But you had to wonder, you thought maybe the Panthers would come out and just step on the gas. It was the other way around. And it came full throttle from the Maple Leafs right from that very first shift in which they score 23 seconds into the game. Marner off the crossbar, and then Knies is able to find that rebound. And then again, the rush opportunity, and it's cleanly handled when this team gets on the rush, and that second line is really good at it with Pacioretty and Tavares and Nylander. This time, Pacioretty able to find Tavares in front of the net, 2-0. Then you got the work, and you got Barkov down low, and it's a forechecking play, and that's what you live and thrive off of. And Reinhart feeds it. Riley a little bit out of position. He's trying to recover, and Barkov takes it to the net. You get a fortuitous bounce off the Riley stick in behind Wall. It's 2-1, and really good the last half. And yeah, you did. I was just kind of sitting up. There's no way that the Leafs can continue to play at this pace. And it caught the Panthers off guard because they came out smoking. There was just no other way around it. And you find yourself in a hole. Now you have to come back out of it. Goaltending has to be clean on the other side for Sergei Bobrovsky. Stay in it. I thought Sergei, after giving up those first couple of goals early, was able to settle down into his game. I'm interested in the matchups going forward here. I did like the one time they had Barkov out there against the Nylander line. They were able to win that battle, spend some time in the offensive zone, and maybe that's the best way is to have Barkov end that line out there and just play down in their zone and maybe take away what Nylander is able to do. Because when it's been the other way around, it's been Bennett, Tkachuk, and Verhaeghe kind of matched up against him. I wouldn't even mind if you, with the way Lundell and Marchand and Luostarinen have been playing, give them a crack at going out there maybe sometimes against Matthews.
I think we saw it on at least one occasion.
Yeah, very depth. But going forward, you're in good shape. That Barkov goal was huge. You would like to capitalize on one of those two power plays. Reinhart hit the crossbar. He came close at tying it at 2. But if you go back to that dressing room, everyone's saying, and the leaders in that group, that's how we play. We took their best shot. They tried the Mike Tyson out of the gate.
Yep.
Now let's slowly take over this game. like we did in the second half of that first period. That has to be the mantra in that dressing room.
And it's right in line with the Leafs in the playoffs, where they've outscored the opposition now 12-6 in first periods throughout the playoffs. So that's been kind of what they've been doing regularly throughout these playoffs. Panthers, though, got a lot going as the period went along. Certainly something they can build on. And, well, now down just a goal, despite the way things started, down just a goal through 20 minutes of play. Have you heard about El Car Wash, the official car wash of the Panthers? For less than the price of a tank of gas, you can enjoy unlimited express car washes at all 60-plus locations from Miami to Palm Beach to Naples to Orlando. Come through one of our eco-friendly and state-of-the-art locations for a high-quality, fast and fun wash. Go to elcarwash.com to find the location nearest you. Join Wash Save. El Car Wash. Feel good. Drive clean. Doug Plagans, Billy Lindsay here with you at Amerant Bank Arena in Sunrise. We're going to hand it off to Kevin Rogers back in our network studios in just a moment for a look at what's going on here, what's going on elsewhere in our JetBlue out-of-town scoreboard, and a quick checkup on the South Florida sports scene as well. Special hello if you're tuned in on our flagship home in South Florida, 560 WQAM, Real Radio 92.1 in the Palm Beaches, Real Radio 101.7 up on the Treasure Coast, 100.3 Thunder Country in the Florida Keys. If you're tuned in on the Panthers app by hitting that radio button in the top right corner, if you're tuned in tonight on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio Channel 91 across North America, we welcome you aboard here tonight. And we have your only local broadcast of the Panthers this evening. If you want to sync us up to that national TV broadcast, pause your TV at a whistle, press play on your TV when you hear that same whistle on the app, the radio, online, wherever you're tuned in, you'll have us all synced up. 2-1 Toronto through 1. We hand it off to Kevin Rogers on the other side for our first intermission show. It's the Florida Panthers Radio Network presented by Baptist Health.
We often welcome people as a standard greeting. It's become as common as greeting another with a hello. At Baptist Health, being welcome has far deeper meaning. So welcome to the warmer side of care, where we advance innovation and treatments through research while educating the next generation of experts all close to home. Here, the sun shines through each one of us as we stand by each one of you. Welcome to the warmer side of care. Welcome to Baptist Health.
Just like being on the ice, parenthood is full of thrills, spills, and even chills. But whether it's illness or injury, our pediatric experts at Broward Health are ready to assist with a broad range of specialty care for your child. As the official pediatric hospital of the Florida Panthers, we know keeping kids healthy and happy is a team effort, and we're always on your team. Broward Health, well into your future.
We have some breaking news that you Panthers fans are going to want to hear. It's official. SeatGeek is now the official ticketing partner of the Florida Panthers. That's right, the deal is finalized, and SeatGeek is the newest member of the Panthers family. If you haven't heard the name yet, get used to it, because you'll be hearing it a lot more this season. SeatGeek, the new official ticketing partner of the Florida Panthers. Your ticket to great Panthers seats.
Panthers fans, score big on game day at Stoner's Pizza. Every game day, buy a large cheese or pepperoni pizza and get one of the same variety free. With fresh ingredients and daily handmade dough, Stoner's Pizza is the perfect pairing for puck drop. Order in-store or online at stonerspizzajoint.com and use code GOCATS. Stoner's Pizza, the official pizza of the Florida Panthers. Price and participation may vary. Limited time offer.
This is the first intermission report on the Florida Panthers Radio Network.
Presented by Baptist Health.
First intermission underway from Amerant Bank Arena. Panthers trail the Maple Leafs 2-1. Kevin Rogers with you. Toronto leads the series 2-0. Game 3 this evening. Game 4 coming up on Sunday night at 7:30 as the Panthers look to get back in this series. Again, losing the first 2 games in Toronto, so just trying to get one here tonight. Sergei Bobrovsky starting at net again for the Panthers. No Anthony Stolarz for Toronto. Instead, it's Joseph Woll as he will he's in net once again this evening. And so far, Woll doing his best to keep the Panthers out of the net. Unfortunately for the Panthers, it took Toronto 23 seconds They attacked the net, and Matthew Nyes finished it off to give the Maple Leafs a 1-0 lead.
Nyes played down to right. Matthews, first one there, looks to wrap it around in front for Nyes, bouncing puck in the blue paint, and it's cleared to the line by Forsling, not out of the zone. Tanev across for McCabe, gives to Marner. Marner right point, long shot, tipped off the iron, and they score, and it's Matthew Nyes, 23 seconds into the game, 1-0 Toronto. The Leafs take an early lead in Game 3.
Matthew Nyes scoring his 5th goal of the postseason, 23 seconds in. Toronto, plenty of opportunities there, and they are able to cash in. Mitch Marner and Jake McCabe assisting. Maple Leafs up out of the gate, 1-0. Then a little more than 5.5 minutes later, John Tavares, he would have a nice wraparound, and he would give Toronto the 2-0 advantage.
Tanev takes a hard hit back behind the net. Carter Hagin got a hold of him, but the Leafs break it out quickly. Up the left side, Nylander, then Pacioretty in front of the goal. Tavares, can he wrap it around? He does. He scores. John Tavares makes it 2-0 Toronto. 5 minutes, 57 seconds into Game 3.
2 goals in the first 6 minutes for the Maple Leafs. That one for John Tavares, his 4th of the postseason. 5:57 the time. Max Pacioretty and William Nylander the assist, and the Maple Leafs a 2-0 lead. However, a minute and a half later, the Panthers getting a fortunate break out front, and they would get on the board and trail 2-1.
Rodriguez pushed it through the neutral zone down to our left. Here to the near corner, Morgan Riley down to our left in the Toronto end. The Leafs don't clear. A chance for Barkov out front, and it's off Riley, and he scores! And the Panthers get one back. It's now a 2-1 Toronto lead with 12:22 to go. Here in the first, Barkov put it out front off the Toronto defenseman. It went off Riley and in, and the Panthers get one back.
Alexander Barkov credited with that goal, his 3rd of the postseason, 2nd straight game with a goal in the first period. Sam Reinhart and Evan Rodriguez assisting, 7:38 into the first. Panthers slice lead in half, and they trail 2-1, which is where it sits now after 20 minutes of play. So after the rough start, Panthers only down a goal right now. Sergei Bobrovsky, 11 saves on 13 Toronto shots, while Joseph Wall with 9 saves on 10 Panther shots inside the Toronto net. Again, Game 4 coming up on Sunday night at 7:30. The Panthers, with a win tonight, would be down 2-1. Obviously, Toronto wins. They'll be in full control, up 3-0. Still 40 minutes to go here in this Game 3. Before we step aside, let's pause for station identification right here on the Florida Panthers Radio Network, presented by Baptist.
Before, during,
wrist far side, shoots deflected, they score!
lives here. Sirius XM NHL Network Radio. KIS HD2 Boca Raton.
Coming up, we'll take a look at the JetBlue out-of-town scoreboard. Also, South Florida sports scene. All of that is straight ahead. Maple Leafs 2, the Panthers 1 after 1 at Amerant Bank Arena. Game 3 of this best-of-7 second-round series, with Toronto leading the series 2-0 as we continue right here on the Florida Panthers Radio Network, presented by Baptist Health.
Kids, take the next step in becoming the ultimate Florida Panthers fan by joining the Panthers Kids Club. Members of the Kids Clubs can join for free and receive exclusive benefits, including free entries into monthly raffles, special offers, and customized content to stay informed on all things Panthers. Upgraded memberships, which include a Panthers merchandise pack and other additional benefits, can also be purchased. Visit floridapanthers.com/Kids Club for more information on all things Kids Club and to sign up. Have you heard about El Car Wash? The official car wash of the Florida Panthers. For less than the price of a tank of gas, you can enjoy unlimited express car washes at all 40-plus locations from Miami to Palm Beach to Naples and Orlando. If you are on your way to work, having a night on the town, or just need the refreshing feeling of a sparkly clean car, come through one of our eco-friendly and state-of-the-art locations for a high-quality, fast, and fun wash. Visit lcarwash.com to find the location nearest you. Join, wash, save. El Car Wash. Feel good. Drive clean.
Attention sports fans, when it comes to your health, don't just play defense, make the winning move with Solstice Dental Insurance. Whether you're looking for a PPO, HMO, or discount plan, Solstice has you covered. Our unique comprehensive dental and vision products ensure that you get the extensive coverage you need, all at an affordable price. With a national network and top-tier customer service, Solstice is your go-to teammate for championship smiles and clear vision. Join the winning team. Call Solstice today, 877-760-2247 or solsticebenefits.com, and score big on your dental insurance.
Let's talk goals. You don't have to be a professional athlete to achieve them. You just need the right partner for the assist. And when it comes to your facility's landscape, there's no one better than Brightview, the official lawn care partner of the Florida Panthers. Go to brightview.com to see how our commercial landscape services can help you achieve your goals. or call 844-235-7778 to set up your free consultation. That's 844-235-7778 or brightview.com.
First intermission continues at Amerant Bank Arena. Maple Leafs 2, the Panthers 1. Kevin Rogers with you. Game 3 of this best-of-7 second-round series. And the Maple Leafs already a 2-0 lead in the series. So far, Matthew Nyes and John Tavares the goals for the Leafs. Alexander Barkov is third of the postseason for the Panthers. Let's take a look at the JetBlue out-of-town scoreboard. JetBlue, you above all. The second game tonight in the Stanley Cup Playoffs taking place in Winnipeg between the Stars and the Jets a little past 9:30 in Winnipeg. Game 2 of that series. Dallas won the opener 3-2 back on Wednesday. So the Stars, who were almost eliminated at home in Game 7 against Colorado back in the first round, they came back to win that game, and now already a road victory in their pocket in Game 1, and they'll look to take a 2-0 lead tonight in Game 2. The two games on Saturday inside of the Stanley Cup Playoffs. First in Raleigh at 6 o'clock. It's the Hurricanes hosting the Capitals. Washington, a 3-1 win last night to even up that series at 1 game apiece. Meanwhile, Edmonton returns home up 2-0. The Oilers, a pair of comeback wins at Vegas. The first 2 games of that series, including an overtime win last night. So Edmonton right now, don't want to say they're in the driver's seat, but they're looking good. A 2-0 advantage over Vegas with Game 3 tomorrow at Rogers Place at 9 o'clock. Coming up, we'll take a quick look at the South Florida sports scene, then bring it back for the second period as the Panthers trail the Maple Leafs 2-1 through 20 minutes of play right here on the Florida Panthers Radio Network, presented by Baptist Health.
Hey, all. This is Alonzo Mourning, and I want to talk to you man to man. When it comes to your health, we don't have to be just strong or be tough. We have to be smart, too. We need to take the time and get a health screening, and it can save your life. It saved mine.
Join Alonzo Mourning at the Miami Heat Men's Health Summit this June 14th. Learn more at baptisthealth.net/Zotime.
We have some breaking news that you Panthers fans are going to want to hear. It's official. SeatGeek is now the official ticketing partner of the Florida Panthers. That's right, the deal is finalized, and SeatGeek is the newest member of the Panthers family. If you haven't heard the name yet, get used to it, because you'll be hearing it a lot more this season. SeatGeek, the new official ticketing partner of the Florida Panthers. Your ticket to great Panthers seats.
Catch your Florida Panthers and Amerant Bank Arena world-class shows and events in the most premium setting in South Florida. Our private and exclusive suites, as well as our all-inclusive clubs including Amerant Vault and Corona Beach House, offering multiple ways to forge unforgettable connections with friends, family, employees, and top clients. You'll never want to experience a game or concert any other way. For more information, visit FloridaPanthers.com or call 954-835-PUCK today.
Attention sports fans, when it comes to your health, don't just play defense, make the winning move with Solstice Dental Insurance. Whether you're looking for a PPO, HMO, or discount plan, Solstice has you covered. Our unique comprehensive dental and vision products ensure that you get the extensive coverage you need, all at an affordable price. With a national network and top-tier customer service, Solstice is your go-to teammate for championship smiles and clear vision. Join the winning team. Call Solstice today, 877-760-2247 or solsticebenefits.com and score big on your dental insurance.
A couple minutes away from the start of the second period at Amerant Bank Arena. Panthers trail the Maple Leafs 2-1. Kevin Rogers with you. Game 3 of this best-of-7 series. Toronto up 2-0 in the series. Quick look at the South Florida sports scene. The Marlins in Chicago tonight against the White Sox. They're all tied up at 1 in the bottom of the second inning. Second period up next. Panthers trail the Leafs 2-1 right here on the Florida Panthers Radio Network, presented by Baptist Health.
Tabanero Hot Sauce is bringing heat to the rink this game day, folks. As the official hot sauce of the Florida Panthers, enjoy Tabanero today at any concession stand at the Amerant Bank Arena. We've got it in every flavor: original, sweet and spicy, curry habanero, and extra hot. Their premium sauce blends are crafted right here in South Florida from all-natural, locally sourced ingredients. And the party doesn't have to stop after the stadium. Take Tabanero home with you by visiting your local Florida retail stores. Savor the flavor of Tabanero. Tabañero. Funky Buddha is back as the official craft brewery of your Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers. Funky Buddha brings the taproom fun to Amerant Bank Arena, where you can grab an ice-cold gloves-off IPA, brewed exclusively for the Florida Panthers and their fans. Party with them all year long at their brewery in Oakland Park, where you can catch all the Panthers action with their signature selection of innovative brews. Or stop by your closest retailer and bring Funky Buddha home with you. No matter where you're watching, they'll be right there with you. Cheers and go Cats! Funky Buddha Brewery, Oakland Park, Florida. Please drink responsibly.
Back here inside Amerant Bank Arena in Sunrise, Game 3 presented by our friends at Baptist Health, the official sports medicine provider of the Florida Panthers. Toronto leads the series 2-0. They lead tonight's game 2-1. Alexander Barkov, though the most recent goal scored in this game, got the Panthers back to within one. So we get ready for the start of period number 2 here at Amerant Bank Arena. SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the Panthers. Get all your Panthers tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site, that's SeatGeek. Your ticket to great Panthers seats. The next game, the SeatGeek road ahead. Game 4 is going to be Sunday night, 7:30, 7 o'clock pregame across the radio network. Wherever you're tuned in now, you can find us coming up on Sunday evening. And a reminder, folks, all rights to this broadcast are reserved. Any rebroadcast, recording, retransmission, or other use of this broadcast without the express written consent of the Florida Panthers and the National Hockey League is expressly prohibited. Doug Likens, Billy Lindsay, Kevin Rogers with you. Manny Chang is our on-site engineer. Trevor Harris back at studio control. Panthers in red, left to right. The Leafs in white, right to left, as we are set to go here in the second.
Here's that lineup matchup already. You have that Lundell Marchand Luo Serena line against Matthews.
We'll see how that plays out as we continue along. Saw it a little bit back in period number 1, and Paul Maurice starts off the second period with that matchup. Puck played up the near side by Nyes, then Matthews to Marner at center, and he was nearly dumped over, lost control of the puck as Lundell got in against him. Panthers back into the offensive end. It's lobbed down on Joe Wall, and the lead netminder gives to McCabe. Pass across the ice. Tanev works it along, gives to the near side for McCabe. Up the near wing, it's dumped down and around the end boards, rims around far side, and Barkov will steal it away. He sends the puck the length of the ice. That's going to be an icing call. 19-17 left in the second. 2-1 Toronto. Should mention, Billy, Brad Marchand +8 in these playoffs. That means he's shoved you down to 9th on the all-time Panthers playoff plus-minus list.
Well, he's only plus 300 in his career, and one of the best plus-minus in the postseason, too. So didn't take him long, did it? Congratulations. 32 points in the playoffs against the Leafs. That is the most of any player dating back to the original 6 era. 4th most all-time.
Puck played on by Seth Jones, and he will get it out for the Panthers. The Leafs reset back in the neutral zone, and Nylander works it right back in down to our left. And here in the near corner, Evan Rodriguez gives to Seth Jones. Then Barkov out of the zone, gives to Reinhart up the near side, gets the line, plays it in. Around the end boards it goes. Far side of the ice, Rodriguez tried to spin one toward the net. That deflects up and out of play. 1:09 into the second period. 2-1 Toronto. So, Billy, what are you looking for specifically here in the middle frame? Because the Panthers did get a lot going as that first period went along.
And I'm just looking at these lineup changes and the matchups that you're trying to do. And that top line, Marner, Matthews, Nyes, and even if you go Mikkola and Jones, I thought Jones was fantastic in that opening period. He got back a couple of times. That's a lot of range and reach on the back end. And the Nylander line's been the most dangerous, the rush play. And who has the best opportunity to control that is that Barkov line. See how it plays forward, but I like the changes in the matchups for Maurice.
Far point, it's Nate Schmidt putting one down behind the Toronto net. Sam Bennett works away with the puck into the far circle. Back up top for Schmidt to Kulikov, right point, long shot, and that one took a hop on the way off something, and Joe Wall still able to adapt and make the save. Tkachuk holds the line, but then it's sliced away by Yarncroke out to center. Dumped back in by Schmidt. This one rims around the end boards, near side, shuffled along by Benoit, gave it away. Bennett behind the net. He's bumped off the puck by Lawrence. Puck goes to the far boards, then Yarncroke. He's into a tie-up. The Leafs don't clear. Verhaeghe out front. Bennett tied up there by Ekman Larson. Kulikov holds it in, puts it behind the net. Benoit sweeps it up the near side, held in by Bennett. Used his body here along the near boards. Down for Tkachuk in the corner. Spins it to the net. That deflection, it's wide. Back behind the net. It's loose and gathered in by Bennett. Out to the line then. Schmidt to Kulikov, right point. Long shot, and it is caught up in Benoit's gear. It rolls free, and now Stephen Lawrence has it for for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Backpedals behind his own net, spins it up the near boards, and then Benoit slices one ahead. The Leafs are on the move. Lawton up over the Panthers line, gave it away, and the Panthers start back up the near side. Here's Nosek to the circle. Nosek drop pass shot, rebound, and Gadjevich stopped by Wall. Forsling far circle, a shot, hits loose in front. It went off Gadjevich. Here on the near boards, Ekblad down to the corner out in front.
They're going to call that penalty on Greer.
We've got a penalty coming here.
It's going against Greer. McMahon got tripped up.
Interference call.
Exhilarating drop pass there by Greer in front of Gadjevich. And then the rebound, Greer on the side, Nosek. And then the rebound opportunity by Gadjevich right in front. And then the hook into the seat.
Well, it's even tougher one to take.
Pants of McCann. That's tough in the offensive zone when you had all that kind of pressure.
That's what I was going to say. The way the Panthers came out and started the period.
Good shot by Greer there, and the good rebound opportunity by Gadjevich. A fortunate penalty to take.
Face-off win, Tavares near point. Here's Marner, backhand swept across on a bounce. Matthews has it down for Nyes in the right corner. Back up top, Auston Matthews. Matthews, Marner left point, down to the near corner. It's Nylander into the circle. Up top, Marner, long wrist shot tipped, and they score. That was a double deflection on the way. 17:08 left in the second. A power play goal for Toronto. The Leafs lead 3-1, and Tavares out in front. Made the contact with it. And that one looks like it may have gone off Tavares and then off the equipment of Gus Forsling on the way in.
Power play goal for the Leafs, and A.J. Greer, that offensive zone penalty comes back to bite. And they get it back to the point. Wrist shots through, and Tavares for a long, long time has been one of the best net front presence in the NHL. And that is a shot pass right on his stick, and Panthers got a goal off a Leafs defenseman. This time it goes off the stomach. It looked like a glove of Forsling, and in behind Bobrovsky. Power play, and the Leafs extend that lead back to 2.
Up the near side, a shuffle along by Bobby McMahon, and tap back the other way by Nate Schmidt. Sam Bennett at center, bumped by Pontus Holmberg. He'll dump one down to our right. Puck rims back behind the net. Joe Wall, far side, Brandon Carlo. And then it's shoveled out to the neutral zone by Max Domi. Down to our left, a race for it. Kulikov couldn't slap it past Bobby McMahon. Still loose here on the near boards. Matthew Tkachuk, rink-wide feed, a race forward. Verhaeghe, Carlo, they battle. Verhaeghe able to play it in over the Leaf line. Down to the near corner, Morgan Riley back to handle it. Around for Carlo, then Domi off the short glass, out of the zone, and down to our left. And it's going to be an icing call. 16:28 left in the second, 3-1 Toronto. And every organization has them. Every team in sports has them. But players on opposing teams that bring back tough memories, that have had the team's number over the years. And for the Panthers, John Tavares, unfortunately, whether it be with the Leafs or with the Islanders, he's had some big performances in the playoffs against the Panthers.
He's always been a clutch performer and still clicking along. Pretty impressive to see what he's been able to do for the Leafs. But the Panthers have to stay out of the penalty box. It's been a theme now running into this third game. That's a dangerous power play with the 5 forwards on the ice. And offensive zone penalty, the penalty by Tkachuk, those are ones that you have to mitigate at all costs.
Down to the far corner, Lundell Marchand in front. It's swept away, and that was Domi making the defensive play. He knew right away it was going to be an icing, but he prevented a scoring chance in close. 16:12 left in the second. 3-1, Toronto in front. So as Billy mentioned, the Leafs, they get that multi-goal lead back. They had the 2-goal lead before we took our first media timeout tonight. It was 2 in the first, 5:57 for Toronto right off the top of the hockey game. The Panthers had a lot of traction going back half of the first period. Got one back as Barkov cut the Leafs lead back to 1, but now it's a 2-goal lead once again for Toronto. They cash in on the power play, and it's Tavares' second of the night. Another icing call against Toronto, so a face-off coming up far circle down to our right in Leafs territory.
And Marner's been able to make things happen on a couple of goals, one on the power play, one even strength, by just running up high and getting simple wrist shots through. And forward up there, he did it on the first goal, and
Off the face-off, a shot over the net from Reinhart. Panthers continue to press in the offensive end. Reinhart winds one around the boards out to the far point for Forsling. Played down behind the goal. That one's going to go all the way around. Near side tracked down by Ekblad. Rodriguez right circle his shot. Save Wall. It's loose in the blue paint. Wall spooling backward. A pile up in the goal crease. And it's immediately waved off by the referee, TJ Luxmore, who's right on top of things there. Wall, the netminder, shoved all the way back into the net.
It's a shot from Rodriguez in the slot, and it pins balls off the skate. Takes the initial shot. I'm not sure if it goes off Carlo. And but Carlo with a broken stick.
He played it with a broken stick.
That should be a 2-minute penalty. But that's, if you're on the Leaf side, that's a penalty worth taking because that puck's going into the net. Carlo broke his stick. It's in behind the wall, bouncing off bodies, and Carlo with a broken stick swept it off the goal line. No question, that's a 2-minute penalty. You cannot play with a broken stick, and you definitely cannot play the puck. And he ends up getting it off the goal line and keeping it out of the net. Also, the other aspect of this, you're going to have to make sure that the puck never did cross that red line.
Here's the call. So it looked like our referee delivered a message, but I don't believe his mic was on. Now they're taking a look at this.
Yeah, we'll have to get that overhead net view that we got on our replays up here to see if that puck ever crossed the goal line. And it wasn't the Panthers shoving. It was Morgan Riley that came in deep and pushed Wall into the net.
Well, you also wonder where the whistle took place as well.
And push it. That puck's over the goal line. That puck is over the goal line. It's over.
Yeah, it's over the line. So now it's a matter of when it went over the goal line.
And the whistle. So the diving effort in front, and the puck definitely crossed the goal line. Even after it got swept off, and was the whistle blown, or the intent of the whistle being blown?
Well, we will bring you the call from the official here as soon as it happens. They're still looking this thing over.
It's across the goal line. There's no question about that. Now the question becomes, when did the whistle blow? But it still looks all into that one sequence. It'll be continuous when the referee is starting to blow the whistle and the puck simultaneously going into the net.
Here's our verdict.
I think we might have a good goal. We'll see. There we go. We have a goal.
And the Panthers are back to within one. The Leafs lead is cut to 3-2 with 15:46 to play here in the second. So a quick answer for the Panthers.
What an effort. Never giving up on that play. But he's able to get that shot off, and Craig Berube looking for an explanation from our ref, Wes McCauley, but it was clear as day on that overhead view onto the net that you could see that puck cross the goal line, and Rodriguez was free, had some time to take that shot, and then the diving play, I believe, was it Reinhart? Who was the player in front? Ekblad came down from his point position to support it.
Well, wait and see who made the last contact. Reinhart dove in. Did he make contact with the puck? I'm not sure.
No, the stick, it was his stick. Because Brandon Carlos was broke, and there was only one black stick with black tape on it that pushed it over the goal line. Reinhart's going to get credit
he'll get it
with this goal.
So a big one there for the Panthers. They're back to within one. 15:47 to go here in the second period. And that's one the Panthers had to have. Over on the far side of the ice, it's given away by Tanev, and the Panthers work right back in. Far corner, it's Marchand. He's spun around. The Leafs come up with it. McCabe to Matthews. Long feed, Marner cruising in for Toronto. Drop pass, Seth Jones broke that up and shoveled the puck back out to center. However, it's immediately played in by Tanev down to our left. That sends Seth Jones behind the Panthers' net. Near side for Nico Mikkola. Mikkola out to center ice. He'll wrist it in. That goes around the end boards. Near side along the near wall. Whacked at by Benoit. Then Marner will shovel one high. It's off the glove of Pacioretty. Loose in over the Panthers' blue line. Sent back on by Forsling. Marchand out to Luostarinen. He cuts up the left side. He's shoved by Ekman Larson. Pacioretty back for the puck. He'll play it up the near side. Marner tipped along, and then Benoit plowing in against Matthew Tkachuk, and the puck winds up out beyond the line. Panthers right back in quickly. Here's Bennett Elaine. Right circle. Bennett back in front. He scores! It's Verhaeghe there to jam it home, and we're all tied up. 14:43 to go in the second. What a play! Bennett to Verhaeghe. It's 3-3.
The lineup combinations in the switch that Paul Maurice has made it has been able to pay dividends, and here they were able to win a board battle, get it into a 2-on-1 down low, and Bennett takes it to his backhand, gets it around Oliver Ekman-Larsson, and right on the stick of a waiting Verhaeghe. Wall went out with the poke check, he missed. Toronto, Craig Berube is going to call a timeout here, try and regather his troop as the momentum has flipped on its head there. Fabulous play at the line. A couple of players attacked Tkachuk. Tkachuk was able to just thread it through onto Bennett's stick, and Bennett had the patience to hang on around it, get around Oliver Ekman-Larsson's stick, and just lay it there on a platter. But it's the board wall that really happened here by Tkachuk. Maple Leafs trying to exit the zone, and Tkachuk was able to win that board battle, get it through. One of the Maple Leafs defensemen was rushing up high also to try and get that puck out of the play, and when that happened, the speed was going the other way. Actually, it wasn't a defenseman, it was Marner that was kind of hanging back. They had a defenseman up high engaged in that battle, Benoit with Tkachuk, and Marner was thinking offense and comes back to bite him. Panthers tied up, timeout's over.
So 14:35 to go, second period. We've got a whole new hockey game. Toronto brings it along. The decibel level has certainly increased here inside Emirates Bank Arena. Puck play down to our left inside the Panthers zone. It's Barkov in the corner. He's under some pressure here. Pacioretty on him. Now Forsling trying to poke it free, but Nylander comes up with the puck, gave it away, and Reinhart will work it along. A dust-up down to our left in the corner as Ekblad and Tavares have to be separated. Meanwhile, the puck worked down inside the Leaf zone. Toronto regathers control, and Tanev will send it along. It's Tavares back in offensively. Sends one down to the far corner. Nylander put it behind the net, taken away by Marchand. Over on the far boards now, Marchand works it along. He's pressured. The puck deflects away into the bench area for a stoppage. 13:53 to go in the second. 3-3 is the score, and we will step aside, but we've got a whole new game here at Emirates Bank Arena in Sunrise. Game 3 continues next on the Florida Panthers Radio Network, presented by Baptist Health.
We often welcome people as a standard greeting. It's become as common as greeting another with a hello. At Baptist Health, being welcome has far deeper meaning. So welcome to the warmer side of care, where we advance innovation and treatments through research while educating the next generation of experts all close to home. Here, the sun shines through each one of us as we stand by each one of you. Welcome to the warmer side of care. Welcome to Baptist Health.
Funky Buddha is back as the official craft brewery of your Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers. Funky Buddha brings the taproom fun to Amarant Bank Arena, where you can grab an ice-cold gloves-off IPA, brewed exclusively for the Florida Panthers and their fans. Party with them all year long at their brewery in Oakland Park, where you can catch all the Panthers action with their signature selection of innovative brews. Or stop by your closest retailer and bring Funky Buddha home with you. No matter where you're watching, they'll be right there with you. Cheers and go Cats! Funky Buddha Brewery, Oakland Park, Florida. Please drink responsibly.
Just like being on the ice, parenthood is full of thrills, spills, and even chills. But whether it's illness or injury, our pediatric experts at Broward Health are ready to assist with a broad range of specialty care for your child. As the official pediatric hospital of the Florida Panthers, we know keeping kids healthy and happy is a team effort, and we're always on your team. Broward Health, well into your future.
To go here in the second, 3-3, Panthers and the Leafs all knotted up. We've had quite a flurry of activity here early in the second period. In the first 5 minutes, 17 seconds of the frame, 3 goals. First, it was Tavares with his 5th of the playoffs, 2nd of the game, extending Toronto's lead to 3-1. But the Panthers came fighting back, and it was Reinhart's 3rd of the playoffs at 4:13. That one required video review. They determined it was a goal, so Reinhart got it back to 3-2 at 4:13. At 5:17, Verhaeghe's 3rd of the playoffs from Bennett and Tkachuk. That tied the game at 3. So down to our left, a face-off to Bobrovsky's left, and we've got ourselves a whole new game here as we cruise along in the second period of Game 3 presented by Baptist Health. In the far circle inside the Panthers zone, it's going to be Nosek taking the draw against Lawton. Nosek waved out. Greer steps in, and the Panthers will control as Kulikov banks it up the near boards. Jonah Gadjevich, he'll track this one down, works it deep into Leafs territory. Far corner, Brandon Carlo. Up the wall, Stephen Lawrence. Given on to Yarncroke, and he will play it deep into the Panthers' end. Kulikov in there against Stephen Lawrence. Kulikov comes away with the puck. Pass straight on. It's handed along by Greer, then Nosek back off to Greer near side, dumped in down to our right, rims around, far side, got by Carlo, and then a shove from Nosek along the far boards. That's gloved by Wall, and he will hang on to it. 13:22 left in the second. 3-3 the score. Doug Plagans, Billy Lindsay, Kevin Rogers with you tonight.
Maple Leafs defensemen maybe starting to hear some footsteps. Panthers had 24 hits in that period. This is a rim, and that's where the Panthers want to play. They want to make you play on the wall. Brandon Carlo trying to play that puck quickly, thinking that he's going to get banged. Gadjevich is right on him, and you'd expect that from the fourth line. He fans on that puck completely. The Panthers are able to throw it in front. But the Panthers very physical in this game, has not let up on the physical side. And partly big reason why they've been able to get back into this game is when that intensity is wrapped up and you can make sure you hit everything in sight, it starts to get in the back of the head of the other team.
Puck played up the near side by Benoit, then cleared down by Nyes. No icing here as it glanced off a Panthers stick. Mikkola and Matthews tie up. Marner has control of the puck. Far circle out to the line. One shot, Ekman Larson didn't get through. Hit a body out front. Panthers quickly back the other way. Marchand, a pass. It was knocked down. Second chance puts it cross ice on a bounce over to Seth Jones, who backpedals into his own end. Panthers left to right, Leafs right to left here in this middle frame. Mikkola golfs one up the near boards, cleared. And the Leafs try and transition back into the Panthers' end, but it's stolen away by Luostarinen and pass into the skates of Marchand. He's got it. Drop back Lundell. Marchand to the net, and it was poked away at the last second by Jake McCabe. Back behind the net then. Battle for a loose puck. Luostarinen here on the near side. It's Ekblad. Winds it all the way around. Bennett fresh off the bench. Bennett out to the line. Tkachuk, Forsling. One-timer. That hit McCabe out front. Tkachuk, a shot into traffic. A pants save made by Wall. Back behind the net then. McCabe to Benoit. Up the far side. Holmberg to Domi. And the Leafs out of their own end quickly. Domi to Holmberg. He's got a lane right side. Ekblad keeps him to the outside. A shot, and Bobrovsky has it. Wasn't too certain about it at first, but he's got it caught up in his gear, and he will hold it there. 12:14 left in the second. 3-3 is the score. And, Bill, you hit it on the head, but this Leafs team now, all of a sudden, they look a little disjointed as they have in the 3 games of the series, trying to get out of their own zone, and the Panthers' forecheck gets a lot of credit there.
Yes, and that's where the Panthers want to do it. They want to forecheck, and that also establishes their neutral zone play and takes away a lot of that speed for the Maple Leafs. But you ever heard that term, you can't make a bad pass to a good player? There's a perfect example. The pass is way behind Marchand. All in one motion, he's able to kick it from his back skate up to his stick between his legs and able to make an opportunity out of it. And watching Brad Marchand in person on our team, he is something special.
Yeah, you really get a further appreciation for the total skill set night to night. And a lot of the Panthers, and Paul Maurice has mentioned, especially in practice, when you see everything he can do and you see the hands that Brad Marchand possesses. Here's Evan Rodriguez to dump one down to our right, back behind the Leafs net. Wall out to handle it, and he plays it off the top of the dasher. Near side, Panthers hold it in. Ekblad on at the line. Down to the near circle. It jumped over the stick of Barkov. Loose side of the goal. Wall paddles it away. Reinhart kept it alive. Barkov near corner backhand. Centering feed intercepted by Tanev, who retreats behind his own net. Gives to Ekman Larson. He'll rocket one across the ice that bounces off the midsection of Nylander. He'll backpedal for control of the puck. Up the far side. Should be a too-many men penalty. We'll wait and see. Did they get it? No, there's going to be a whistle one way or another here, but the Leafs were in the middle of a change. They had some traffic going both directions over there. 11:37 to go in the second. 3-3 is the score. The fans wanted the too-many men call. Paul Maurice is asking for an explanation right now, but it doesn't look like there's going to be anything assessed here.
Looks like it's going to be waved off. But a lot of this, Doug, what's really happened is credit to Paul Maurice in changing the matchups. Getting one of your best lines out there against Matthews, who's done a pretty good job against Barkov. All of a sudden, you get Barkov out there against Nylander, and that line gets caught in their own zone, and they're not able to get out. That also, with Tkachuk going against it and Bennett going against the third line now, is what happens on a rotation, and that's a favorable matchup for you. So a lot hinges now, and becomes a big responsibility for this Marchand line going head-to-head with Matthews.
11:37 left in the second. 3-3 the score. Lundell waved out of the circle. Eetu Luostarinen's going to step in. Off the draw, the Leafs have control. Matthews. And then Carlo around for Riley. Into the neutral zone. It's tipped down by Marner. Back in the Panthers zone, far corner, Seth Jones. For Anton Lundell on the far boards. Panthers left to right across your radio. It's turned over in the neutral zone. Marner for Riley to center ice into the skates of Nyes. Booted down to our left, deep into the Panthers' end. Seth Jones behind the net. Shakes off a check. Banks one up the far side, Marchand. He'll give to Lundell. In over the offensive line. Pocket picked, and the Leafs will try to start back. It's Matthews. Cross to Riley, jumping in the rush. He'll cross center. Plays one in. Around the end boards. It's taken in the far corner by Niko Mikkola. Mikkola, far side. Couldn't clear it by Lawton. Down to the far corner, Marner. Looking out front. Pass deflects away. Here on the near side, Stephen Lawrence blew a tire. And then Seth Jones in there to try and jam the puck up the boards. Lawton pounds it around the other way. Far side of the ice, it's Kalle Jarkrook there for the Leafs. He's leaned on heavily there by Niko Mikkola. Stephen Lawrence in to grab control. He'll wind him around. Benoit back behind the net. Lawrence side of the net. Low shot and couldn't sneak it through. Still loose. Lawrence with it once again on his stick to the line. Benoit shot deflecting off Luo Storinen and out of play. 10:27 left in the second. 3-3 the score. Billy, hard to believe we aren't quite to the halfway point of tonight's game. Feels like we've had a lot happen here this season.
Two of the best defensive teams during the regular season. We've had a goal-scoring outbreak in this series. And the Panthers there, Lundell, Marchand, and Luo Storinen got caught out there for a couple of rotations out against Nylander, then the fourth line. They'd been out there for an extended period of time, and they were dead tired, and finally get the block up into the netting and get a line change.
Billy, we just saw a fan on the Jumbotron in a Bill Lindsay 11 jersey.
Really?
Yes.
They still exist.
There are some out there.
Still a thing. All right.
Now up front, a battle for a loose puck. You may be down to 9th on the Panthers' all-time playoff plus-minus list, but you're still number 1 to a lot of folks out there. Here's Oliver Ekman-Larsson putting it down to the near corner. Here's Kulikov looking to clear. He's into a tie-up with Domi and wrestled him down. There's a penalty coming against Kulikov. I think he stepped over the line down there against Domi, and puck played out front of the net. Panthers touch up. Kulikov's going to go off. He wrestled Domi down to the ice, and unfortunately, no question there. That one's going to be called.
And penalties are killing you. You're in a battle there with Domi. Let go. Disengage. Another trip to the penalty box. It's a 2-1 game. You take a penalty. It ends up being 3-1. You're coming from behind. You're putting so much pressure on your penalty killers. If you take 2-3 penalties a game, okay. But when you start taking this penalties against Maple Leaf power play that with those 5 forwards is extremely dangerous, and he just tied it up. The fans are going crazy. I know Domi's in there and can kind of rattle, but Kulikov, once you got him on the seat of the pants, skate away.
The Leafs are 1 for 3 on the power play. One of those was a short 14-second power play. They did score on their last chance. Marner across Matthews, back here for Nylander. Pass didn't connect. Bouncing puck near boards. Nylander to the line. Marner touch pass, center of the blue line. Handled there by Matthews. Across to Marner there. Marner into the near circle. Nylander back up top. Marner to the right circle. Matthews in front, looking for Nyes. That one was punched away. Looked like maybe by the goal stick of Bobrovsky, and that allows the Panthers to get a clear from Ekblad all the way down.
Goal stick of Bobrovsky and Forsling. Beautiful play in front.
Wall to Marner. And Marner will leave it for Matthews. Leafs right to left as they bring it along on the power play. They have another 1:22 to work with. Tavares, Matthews in front. Good stick check there. Again, it was Bobrovsky getting the paddle out there, and the Panthers get it out to the neutral zone.
Good alertness by Bobrovsky again. Recognize that puck's coming across. Act like a defenseman.
Nylander over the Panthers line along the left wing boards. Shuffles one back for Marner to the near circle to the high slot. Marner holds. Down to Matthews, right corner. Marner across. One-timer Nylander, and that one is blocked. Looked like Forsling got a piece of it. Luo Storinen up the boards, held in by Tavares. Straight on at the blue line, Marner. Over for Matthews. Has it right circle. Matthews, top of the right circle. Tavares, bottom of the circle. Looking for a lane. Up top, Marner has it. Marner straight on at the blue line again. Pass across. Nosek able to poke that away, and then he catches up to the loose puck and clears all the way down. A big play on the penalty kill for Tomas Nosek, playing his first game in these playoffs over the far side there. Anton Lundell holds one down deep.
Massive play there by Nosek as he's able to, the Leafs are controlling the play, working it around, zipping it, and finally he's able to get it all the way down with a wonderful breakup with his stick.
And now here's Marchand up the wing for the Panthers, shorthanded for another 11 seconds. Marchand far circle, cuts out front, backhand, and it was fought up. Morgan Riley, the defenseman in front, got a piece to knock that away. And Domi will bring it along. Power play for Toronto winding down. Domi cross ice, Pacioretty on the wing, catches up to it. Pacioretty down behind the net. Got by Bobby McMahon here on the near side. Marchand up the wing. Here's Sam Bennett. Bennett to the offensive line. Had it clubbed away. And it's going to be an offside call here against the Panthers. 7:53 left in the second. 3-3 the score here at Amerant Bank Arena in Sunrise. Game 3 presented by Baptist Health. Panthers trying to get back on the winning side here this evening. They've tied this game. More second period action next on the Florida Panthers Radio Network presented by Baptist Health.
Hey Panthers fans, get ready to score big with Jiffy Lube, the official oil change of your Florida Panthers. Just like our team on the ice, we're faster than ever. Skate by for an oil change or any other vehicle maintenance service you may need. You never need an appointment. Keep your ride as strong as our Panthers. We're here to keep you moving. For coupons and locations, go to JiffyLubeSpecials.com. Jiffy Lube, the official oil change of the Florida Panthers. Have you heard about El Car Wash? The official car wash of the Florida Panthers. For less than the price of a tank of gas, you can enjoy unlimited express car washes at all 40-plus locations from Miami to Palm Beach to Naples and Orlando. If you are on your way to work, having a night on the town, or just need the refreshing feeling of a sparkly clean car, come through one of our eco-friendly and state-of-the-art locations for a high-quality, fast, and fun wash. Visit lcarwash.com to find the location nearest you. Join, wash, save. El Car Wash. Feel good, drive clean. Cheers to champions. Manos Wine has teamed up with the Florida Panthers to celebrate the 2024 Stanley Cup champions. Introducing our exclusive collection of deep-edged, hand-painted wines and sparkling metallic red bubbly, each featuring unique championship designs. Whether you're toasting to victory at home or celebrating with friends, these limited edition bottles are a must-have for every Panthers fan. Shop now at manoswine.com or find us at your local liquor store. Raise your glass to the champions, because every victory deserves a great wine.
Official sports medicine provider of the Florida Panthers. We're tied at 3 with 7:53 left in the second. Doug Plagans, Billy Lindsay, Kevin Rogers with you. And it's been an eventful second period. It's been an eventful night so far, and we're just getting past the halfway point.
Feels like we've played a couple of hockey games at this moment, everything that we've seen this evening, and the entertainment level off the charts.
Now the puck dumped in by Stephen Lawrence down to our left inside the Panthers zone. Bobrovsky leaving it behind the net. Sam Bennett there. Bennett over here to the near corner. It's Nate Schmidt. Rattled up the near side. Tkachuk into the offensive end. Threads one down low. Joe Wall bats it to the near boards. And here on the near side, Kulikov pounds it down and around the end wall. Far corner, McCabe around for Benoit. And the elite defenseman will clear beyond the line. Kulikov hands to Tkachuk. Back for Nate Schmidt. Up the far side. This one deflects off a stick and goes up and into the seats with 7:16 left here in the second period of action. We are tied at 3.
We were talking about Marchand earlier, and then the chance that he had shorthanded. He danced around Riley. He is slick as snot on the door handle sometimes is when he's walking around there to make some plays and pick up. It's just effortless with him. And
got to wash your hands after touching that door handle.
Yes, you do. It's slick. You know, those cold winter days back where I grew up. You grew up back in Michigan, and you have a few instances.
Puck play down to our left inside the Panthers zone. Bobrovsky for Mikla, shouldered there by Marner. Puck came free, but Seth Jones to the rescue. He'll keep things moving along. On for Luostarinen to Jones, crosses center, it's played in. Puck rims around the end boards. Here on the near side, Ekman Larson. Tanev around then for Marner. Tapped on for Matthews, who fails to clear. Gave it right to Lundell. A shot, and that one's wide.
Hearing footsteps. Marner and Matthews again.
Yep. Far boards now. Lundell has one roll by. Marner for Matthews. Cross ice to Ekman Larson. And he will play it down to our left. Forsling into the corner. Forsling keeps it away from Nyes. Gives to Lundell. Long outlet over the stick of Reinhart. All the way down. Wall, the goaltender, ships one to the near corner. And it rims up the boards. It's taken by Tavares. Played out beyond the line. And Ekblad will play it right back in for the Panthers. Down to our right. Carlo around the end boards. Riley up the near side. Pacioretty angles it all the way down, and this is going to be an icing call against the Leafs with 6:12 to go here in the second. A game tied at 3.
Shots here in the second period, 7-2. After the way the Maple Leafs came out, and again, Matthews on the wall. He's got all kinds of time there on his backhand. He just gets it, throws it away. And like that Carlo play, in large part, you start to feel that the Maple Leafs are starting to hear some footsteps in the back of their mind, especially when a player like Matthews is normally really, really patient with the puck. When he flips it in the middle and turns it over like that.
Yeah, there was no reason for Matthews to just give that puck away like he did. You talked about it too, Billy, is one of the things that, well, maybe one of the first things you notice playing in the Stanley Cup playoffs is you don't have a lot of time, but sometimes you have more time than you realize.
Yes. You don't have as much time as you like, but you have more time than you think. And that's a true statement, and that's what you have to realize. But when some of the star players, like Matthews, start to rush the puck, they're starting to feel a little uncomfortable.
Here's McCabe to Nylander, and then Pacioretty will punch one down to our left into the Panthers zone. Markov around for Ekblad. Ekblad fires it rink wide. This one goes down to our right inside the Toronto zone, handled there by McCabe, rattled back out to center. And Gus Forsling backpedaling into his own zone, straight on for Reinhart then. Over the Leaf line, far side, they work it around. It's a feed from Nosek to Rodriguez that jumped away. Nylander leads it on for Pacioretty. He led him too far. And now the Panthers back in their own zone. Nate Schmidt gives to Dmitry Kulikov. Cruises out to center, it's dumped in. The puck rims around the end boards. Far side put to the net by Nosek, kicked away by Wall. Here's Greer right circle. His shot deflects away. And the Leafs have it. It's Marner for Benoit. Benoit across the center line, in over the Panthers' blue line. He'll dump one down and around the end boards. Greer hands it back. Schmidt up the far side. Panthers on the move. Up the wing into the offensive end. Nosek puts one toward the net. He scores! And the Panthers have taken the lead. It's 4-3. Nosek crossed in. He put it to the net, and he fooled Joe Wall. The Panthers are in front.
Shoot the puck. Good things happen. You never know. And a big-time blooper here. Joseph Wall just missed it. Goes off the inside of his blocker and in. And the fourth line for the Panthers, the newly constructed fourth line for the Panthers. Nosek able to get into the middle of the ice, and the Panthers able to extend the lead by a goal. Gadjevich driving hard to the net, taking his man with him. That opened up a little time for Nosek to get that shot off, and he curls around the blue line. But that's all that middle lane drive going through by Gadjevich that opens that up, and that is one definitely Joseph Wall would like to have back. First real blunder that we've seen on the goaltending side from the Maple Leafs in this series.
4:53 to go here in the second. A 4-3 Panthers lead. They've come all the way back. They were down 2-0 at one point. They were down 3-1 here in the second period. Now the Panthers have the lead, and we'll step to our final media timeout here in the middle frame. 4-3 Panthers leading here in Game 3. More on the other side. It's the Florida Panthers Radio Network presented by Baptist Health.
Let's talk goals. You don't have to be a professional athlete to achieve them. You just need the right partner for the assist. And when it comes to your facility's landscape, there's no one better than Brightview, the official lawn care partner of the Florida Panthers. Go to brightview.com to see how our commercial landscape services can help you achieve your goals. Or call 844-235-7778 to set up your free consultation. That's 844-235-7778 or brightview.com.
I love the ocean.
Me? I love a slow winding river. I love the lake. Slick as glass.
But nothing compares to what you love inside the boat.
My family.
My child.
My best friend from 3rd grade.
If you're behind the wheel of a boat, pay attention. That way your favorite water will always be safe water. Learn more about boating safety at myfwc.com. Brought to you by the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission.
Make pet care stress-free with Pet Meds, official partner of the Florida Panthers and trusted platform for pet health. From puppies and kittens to seniors, Pet Meds offers top brands for healthy foods, flea and tick prevention, medications, and more. Every order comes with a surprise for your furry family. Don't miss Dr. Cuddle's Ready Rescue, a must-have detoxifier for emergencies. Visit petmeds.com and use promo code Panthers for 20% off site-wide. Pet Meds, care you trust to keep pets happy and healthy throughout their lives.
4:49 to go in the second. 4-3. The Panthers over the Toronto Maple Leafs. Honored to have World War II veteran Daniel Sproul here with us this evening. And a special and a thank you to all the servicemen and women we have tuned in as we have a standing ovation for Daniel Sproul, our City Furniture hero among us here tonight at Amerant Bank Arena. 4-3, it's the Panthers in front. 4:49 to go in the second. And Tomas Nosek, in his first game of these playoffs, has the Panthers up 1 here in the second.
Wait a second, it might go to Gadjevich. We're just getting a replay here. Might have went off the inside skate of Gadjevich. As he was driving hard to the net. We'll have to wait for the official scoring on the play, but we just got a review that it might have went off Gadjevich's skate.
Well, they're making the announcement overhead. And right now it's being credited to Tomas Nosek.
If it is, it's his first goal in 57 games.
He scored in his third game as a Panther, back in November. As it's played on by Tanev. Now it'll be interesting to see how this Leafs team responds, down for the first time tonight.
And doing nothing, absolutely nothing here in this second period. Panthers have controlled everything.
Puck played in by Kulikov, down and around the end boards, far side, got by Tanev. Pacioretty is there and gave it away at the line, but as Bennett tries to cruise back in, had to let the puck go, would have been offside. So now Holmberg will carry it on for Toronto. Over the Panthers line, up the near side, Pontus Holmberg to the corner, left the puck down in the near corner. The Leafs managed to keep control, but O'Reilly pass cross ice, missed the mark, and Carlo will leave it for Nylander. Nylander at his own blue line as he backpedals a bit, looks straight on the money to Pacioretty. Pacioretty to the far circle, backhand in front, it's off the skate of Tavares. And here in the near corner, picked up by Reinhart. He's blasted by Pacioretty. Puck sent across to Jones, who leads one deep inside the Leafs end. On the near side, Evan Rodriguez. Back out to the line, Ekblad. Across Forsling, tees it up, fakes it, puts it to the front of the goal, looking for a tip from Barkov. That deflects away. Forsling again, winds, fakes, Rodriguez right circle, a shot, it's wide. The roof would have blown off this place had that gone in. Now behind the net, the Panthers with control. Barkov, he had it clubbed away by Morgan Riley. Up the near side, Pacioretty to center ice, Nylander. Can't get the puck deep, and the Panthers start back in. Rodriguez dumps it down.
Again, the Panthers just being forceful with the issue.
Outlet from Riley to Pacioretty, angled deep into the Panthers zone. Bobrovsky gets it moving for Luostarinen. Put out through the neutral zone. Here's Benoit. Can't make contact with one as he tries to clear, but the Panthers go in offside. 2:43 left in the second. 4-3 Panthers here in Game 3.
First 10 minutes of the game seemed like Toronto had the puck on their stick for every second of it. Here in the second period, they're not touching it. And give credit, just going in, and the line matchups that Paul Maurice has decided to go to, they are now winning almost every time that they come onto the ice. So little tweaks, little changes, and you totally change your fourth line and get a goal from them, and that's unexpected. Get fresh players on there, and that's why the ability of Bill Zito going out, getting extra players, depth players to bring in, has that flexibility for Paul Maurice to roll players in and out of the lineup.
Down to our right inside the Leaf zone, McCabe sidesteps Luostarinen, and he's able to flutter one into the neutral zone. Matthews over on the far boards, bumped there by Seth Jones. Turned back into center ice by Nico Mikkola. Stolen back by Benoit. Given on, then denies, and he'll send it up the far boards into the Panthers zone. Jones again clears in a hurry. Through the neutral zone goes Lundell. Cruises in, Anton Lundell here on the near side. He'll play it down behind the Toronto net. Back behind the goal, it's Matthews. Auston Matthews lobs one out to center, clearing, and Kulikov stops it up right in the center circle, plays it right back in. Around the end boards, Benoit. He gave it away, Tkachuk in front for Hagee. Makes a move, puck rolled away, far circle, tie up down to the far corner. Bennett out front, here's a shot, Schmidt ranging up the pipe, and that one goes up and into the mesh with 96 seconds to go here in the second period. 4-3, it's the Panthers in front, nearly taking a 2-goal lead.
What happens again? There's Bennett just running down Benoit, and he coughs it up, he burps up the puck. He knows the big hit's coming, able to keep it in and throw it into the middle of the ice. Win battles behind the net, get it back to the point and pinching all the way down, getting below the tops of the face-off circle is Nate Schmidt, and he had a clean look. That top side, and it goes off the skinny part of the goal stick of Joseph Wall. it was labeled for that top left half of the net. And about an inch or two wide of that goal stick was able to prevent that shot by Schmidt going in. But again, Bennett hitting, physically getting in there, and the Leafs, this is where you wanted to test their mettle physically to see if they could handle it.
Kulikov puts it down behind the Toronto net. Tanev for Yarncroke. He'll clear. Stephen Lawrence up the right side with a man joining him. That's Lawton. Lawrence right circle shot. And a save made by Bobrovsky. Lawrence tries to tuck it at the far post. Diving back to make a play defensively was Nosek. And Nelson shoving over in the far circle as Gadjevich and Yarncroke. Then Tanev was just dumped over. And we've got a big crowd drawn over there
and
now.
And Nosek's hurt. Nosek's hurt in all this. So the Leafs have 5 against 4 Panthers down deep in the corner.
And Ekman Larson wants it. Gadjevich.
Yeah, bark up that tree all you want.
Yeah, I don't know. Oliver Ekman Larson has some bite to his game, but I don't know if I'd go down that road if I were him. Now, meanwhile,
we got the sequence on this play too, though, is that puck was dangerously close of going into the net. Once we get a full look at our replays after this scuffle breaks up, Panthers got the right players on the ice for the scuffle. Got the shot off. Did Lawrence tried to bank it off the goaltender. Bobrovsky from behind the net. And, it didn't cross the goal line. It was across the goal line because of an extra push there at the. And it was Yarncroke that came in late, pushed it over the goal line. It never did cross the goal line before Yarncroke came in and shoved it across the goal line. That's where Lawrence acted to, and it was out of the net, firmly out of it.
And Nosek is going down the tunnel.
And that, dangerous collision as Nosek put his head down all the way to get back against Lawton and just not even recognizing where the net is. And it was a 2-on-1 coming up, and Nosek was able to really force that shot off the wing because that pass was not available because of that hustle by Nosek. And he goes tumbling hard, face first into the post and into the net.
Well, Tomáš Nosek still being credited with that fourth Panthers goal. He's got the go-ahead tally. He's gone down the tunnel, though, for now, and it looks like he's on his way back to the bench.
I'm just saying the one replay that I looked at, that there was a chance that it went off Gadjevic's skate. I don't care who they give it to personally, but whatever. I just know that we have a 4-3 lead and trying to take that lead into the locker room after 2 periods.
And the good news, too, as I mentioned, Nosek is back on the Panthers bench after a brief trip down the tunnel. Icing call against the Panthers here, so a face-off coming up down to our left. 1:12 to go in the second. 4-3, it's the Panthers in front, and really illustrates how this period's gone, because right now a defensive end draw for the Panthers feels like a rare occurrence the way things have unfolded.
Rare icing, but you've dragged it into an alley fight. The speed is not there for the Maple Leafs. You got into your game, you got into your DNA, your identity. Down deep in the corners, board battles, fight. And you've been able to, we haven't seen 3-on-2s. We haven't even seen the Leafs hardly touch the puck here in the second period.
Carlo dumps it in down to our left after a Panthers clear. Marchand behind the net. Over on the far side, Luostarinen. Out of the zone, Seth Jones. He'll send one deep into the Leafs end. Rims around, near side. Marchand and Morgan Rielly. Marchand lost his footing. Morgan Rielly out of the zone. Nylander up the left wing side. Rattles one along. Offside call against Toronto as he tried to play it ahead. Rielly was anticipating it, but it was stopped up briefly at the line, and that forced the Leafs offside. So 44.7 seconds left in the second. 4-3 Panthers.
Time and space is gone. You hear that term a lot, but it's been taken away here in the second period. Nylander likes to make plays at the blue line. He's got nowhere to go.
Yep, the Panthers in this period is, you hit it on the head, Billy. They haven't allowed the Leafs to really possess the puck. And that's no easy task. But the Panthers have really taken that away from Toronto here in the second period. Puck played out through the neutral zone by Tanev, stopped up and whipped right back in by Barkov. Joe Wall to Jake McCabe. And on for Holmberg as the Leafs bolt out. Holmberg flips one deep into the Panthers in. Far corner, it's Forsling. Along the far boards, Holmberg. He'll hold it down low, keeping it down deep, gave it away. Barkov, 12 seconds in the period to Reinhart on the far side. Reinhart plays it along the boards. Tanev keeps it to the outside for Toronto before he winds one around. A race for it here on the near side of the ice. And we've got ourselves a dust-up. Ekblad just came in and blasted a leaf here on the near side. That was McCabe, who was trying to eat the puck for the rest of the period. And now we've got a pile up along the boards. Tavares just got blasted by Ekblad with a glove upstairs, and that's going to start something here.
Yeah, we're seeing Panthers hockey now. And as much as Craig Berube wants his guys to walk away from this kind of stuff, it's almost impossible if you're getting hit all the time and you're spending the majority of the game in your own end. There's going to be some frustration on the Leaf side. What a period by the Panthers. Give up a goal early on the power play. It is 3-1 and doesn't look well. All of a sudden, you're able to score a couple of goals. First one, Rodriguez gets to the net from the seat of his pants. Reinhart is barely able to tuck it over the goal line, and things got a little bit better from there. You're able to tie it up 3-3, and then that newly put together fourth line by the Panthers, Thomas Nosek, who got hurt later in the period, but takes a wrist shot, and Gadjevich, you got to give him credit, middle lane drive. You're always taught middle lane drive, get to the net. He backs everyone off with that lane. Nosek is able to take it to the middle of the ice, get into a better shooting angle, beat Joseph Woll, and that is the go-ahead goal. The Maple Leafs only end up, Doug, with 4 shots in that second period, and the lineup matches that you went to, it changed. You got Barkov out there, and Mikkola and Jones have been really good, and they're out there against Matthews' line, and you've been able to match up a line that has really, really, really been good offensively, but they are just as good equally defensively. Paul Maurice, no qualms about putting Marchand, Lundell, and Luostarinen against the Matthews line. As soon as they did that and flipped that up, that also gets into the matchup, into that third line, the Tkachuk-Bennett line with Verhaeghe. I prefer them to have that third line matchup of whoever it is, McCann, or even the fourth line, Domi and those guys out there. If you get, and you could see it, all of a sudden materialize that Bennett became more effective, and Verhaeghe, and you get that pretty play by Bennett to Verhaeghe that is able to tie the game up. Striking difference from what we saw, and that is the first time in this whole real series that we've been able to shut down the Leafs' speed. And if you can do that, make them battle, get on into the walls. You got to do it for one more period, as this Leaf team is a little bit different in the past. But you push them around there in that second period, and they were hearing some footsteps and turning over some pucks that maybe normally we did not see in the first couple of games.
And the Panthers a 4-3 lead through 2 as they're trying to get back on the winning side tonight and get back to within a game in the series. They lead the game by a goal, and coming up in just a moment, Jameson Olive from FloridaPanthers.com and the Territory Talk podcast is going to stop by to join Kevin Rogers. They will break down the first 2 periods in After 40. Full stats and highlights and analysis. That is all next. The JetBlue Out-of-Town Scoreboard after that, and then that'll be followed by your tweets, the world-famous former Twitter segment. You can tweet the broadcast at Doug Plagans, at Lindsay B. Hockey. Looking forward to hearing from you. 4-3 Panthers over the Leafs through 2 here in Game 3. Game 3 is presented by Baptist Health. The Panthers Radio Network is presented by Baptist Health.
We often welcome people as a standard greeting. It's become as common as greeting another with a hello. At Baptist Health, being welcome has far deeper meaning. So welcome to the warmer side of care, where we advance innovation and treatments through research while educating the next generation of experts all close to home. Here, the sun shines through each one of us as we stand by each one of you. Welcome to the warmer side of care. Welcome to Baptist Health.
Hey Panthers fans, get ready to score big with Jiffy Lube, the official oil change of your Florida Panthers. Just like our team on the ice, we're faster than ever. Skate by for an oil change or any other vehicle maintenance service you may need. You never need an appointment. Keep your ride as strong as our Panthers. We're here to keep you moving. For coupons and locations, go to JiffyLubeSpecials.com. Jiffy Lube, the official oil change of the Florida Panthers.
Panthers fans, score big on game day at Stoner's Pizza. Every game day, buy a large cheese or pepperoni pizza and get one of the same variety free With fresh ingredients and daily handmade dough, Stoner's Pizza is the perfect pairing for puck drop. Order in-store or online at stonerspizzajoint.com and use code GOCATS. Stoner's Pizza, the official pizza of the Florida Panthers. Price participation may vary. Limited time offer.
Metro Group Miami, corporate partner of the Florida Panthers. The home of Metro Signs and Metro Wraps has been South Florida's business choice for quality signs and graphics for over 34 years. No sign is too big or too small for the experts at Metro. They bring brands to life. Call them today, 954-983-6662, 954-983-6662. Visit MetroGroupMiami.com to learn what they can do for you. Metro Group Miami, your everything team.
This is the Florida Panthers' second intermission report on the Florida Panthers Radio Network.
Presented by Baptist Health.
Second intermission underway, and the Panthers in front 4-3 over the Maple Leafs, trying to get back in the series, trailing 2-0. Kevin Rogers and Jameson All with FloridaPanthers.com. We'll talk to you in just a second. First, let's pause for station identification right here on the Florida Panthers Radio Network, presented by Baptist Health.
The biggest games in the world.
Ovechkin fires! He scores!
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio. KIS HD2 Boca Raton.
There's so much to talk about that we won't get every take we want from Jameson All with FloridaPanthers.com. We'll do the best we can with him. Toronto took an early 2-0 lead. Matthew Knies and John Tavares with goals in the first 6 minutes of the first period. Alexander Barkov answered back, a deflection off the Maple Leafs. Credit to Barkov, made it 2-1 Toronto after one. We go to the second period, and on the flip side, a tip-in on the Panthers side. John Tavares gets credited with a power play goal, his fifth at the 2:52 mark of the second. Mitch Marner, William Nylander assisting, giving the Maple Leafs a 3-1 lead. Then a little over a minute later, it got wild as right in front of the net, the Panthers would make it 3-2.
Reinhardt winds one around the boards out to the far point for Forsling. Played down behind the goal. That one's going to go all the way around. Near side tracked down by Ekblad. Rodriguez right circling shot. Save Wall. It's loose in the blue paint. Wall spooling backward. A pile up in the goal crease. And it's immediately waved off by the referee, TJ Luxmore, who's right on top of things there. Wall, the netminder, shoved all the way back into the net.
It's the shot from Rodriguez in the slot. And it pins balls off the skate. Takes the initial shot. I'm not sure if it goes off Carlo. And but Carlo with a broken stick.
He played it with a broken stick.
That should be a 2-minute penalty. But that's, if you're on the Leafs side, that's a penalty worth taking because that puck's going into the net. Carlo broke his stick. It's in behind Wall, bouncing off bodies, and Carlo with a broken stick swept it off the goal line. No question, that's a 2-minute penalty. You cannot play with a broken stick, and you definitely cannot play the puck, and he ends up getting it off the goal line and keeping it out of the net. Also, the other aspect of this, you're going to have to make sure that the puck never did cross that red line.
Here's the call.
There we go, we have a goal.
And the Panthers are back to within one. The Leafs lead is cut to 3-2 with 15:46 to play here in the second. So a quick answer for the Panthers.
And that goal for Sam Reinhart, his third, assist by Evan Rodriguez and Aaron Ekblad. 4:13 into the second, made it 3-2 Toronto. Let's bring on Jameson Olive now. He's been sitting for so long after all of that. Jameson, that's 3 straight goals that were scored by the Panthers and Maple Leafs that were deflected in by the other team. I mean, just very odd game so far tonight.
That's playoff hockey. It's dirty. It's filthy. Makes you go crazy, but that's how a lot of goals are scored here, in May and June. So you'll take them how you get them. For the most part, it feels like in the series, those goals have been more against the Panthers than for the Panthers. So for the Panthers to finally get one to go their way, just absolutely massive. And, on that goal there, God bless technology and all the cameras we have these days, because if this was the past, that's probably not a goal. But thankfully, we got the camera, we got the view, we saw the puck across the goal line, and that was just a complete turning point for the Panthers, where you felt like finally things might go their way. Finally, the hockey gods might smile on them a little bit. And ever since then, it seems like the Panthers have been playing a really strong game of hockey.
So that got the Panthers within one, and then a little bit of a prettier goal, a little more aesthetically pleasing goal. Carter Verhaeghe, a minute later, tied things up at 3.
Marner tipped along, and then Benoit plowing in against Matthew Tkachuk, and the puck winds up out beyond the line. Panthers right back in quickly. Here's Bennett Elaine. Right circle, Bennett back in front. He scores! It's Verhaeghe there to jam it home, and we're all tied up. 14:43 to go in the second. What a play. Bennett to Verhaeghe. It's 3-3.
What a pass there by Sam Bennett. Good job by Matthew Tkachuk keeping the play alive. Verhaeghe's third, Bennett and Tkachuk assisting 5:17 into the second, tying things up at 3. So in spite of everything that happened, Toronto up 2-0, up 3-1. The Panthers even things up at 3 there, Jameson.
Just absolutely massive, completely changed the complexion of the game. You mentioned it, being down 2-0 that early in the game. Building was quiet. You could tell the fans were stressed, but the Panthers were not. So for them to fight back, and pretty much a must-win game here, and tie things up after being down 2-0 is absolutely huge. And, like I said, to have the big dogs get it done, Sam Reinhart, credit for the other goal, and now you have Sam Bennett setting up Carter Verhaeghe, Mr. Big Goal. Just absolutely huge. And that line's been playing well tonight. The matchups are a little different here. The Panthers have last changed. They're seeing a lot of that third line, that Max Domi line. It's letting them, attack a bit more. They don't have to worry about defense as much as if they were going up against the Tavares or the Matthews line. I think it's freed them up, gave them a little bit more confidence, and they're wheeling and dealing out there a little bit more.
So 3-3 at that point, and then 10 minutes later, of course, Tomas Nosek would give the Panthers a 4-3 lead.
Greer hands it back. Schmidt up the far side. Panthers on the move. Up the wing into the offensive end. Nosek puts one toward the net. He scores! And the Panthers have taken the lead. It's 4-3. Nosek crossed in. He put it to the net, and he fooled Joe Wall. The Panthers are in front.
Tomas Nosek is first of the postseason. Nate Schmidt and A.J. Greer assisting. 15:07 to the second, made it 4-3 Panthers. Jameson, we're going to cut it off right there, and then we're going to continue with you on Sunday night, and hopefully the Panthers will trail 2-1 at that point. We appreciate it. Jameson Hall, FloridaPanthers.com.
I need 10 minutes to talk about Tomas Nosek, so yes, we'll push that to next week.
I know. Unfortunately, more goals, less Jameson. You know the rules.
I'll take it. Can't complain. Thanks, Garage.
All right, Jameson Hall, FloridaPanthers.com right there. Sergei Bobrovsky, 13 saves on 16 Toronto shots. Joseph Wall, 15 saves on 19 shots. Panthers a 4-3 lead over the Leafs. Second intermission coming up. JetBlue out-of-town scoreboard next right here on the Florida Panthers Radio Network, presented by Baptist Health.
The moves the Panthers make on the ice count. American Van Lines knows the moves you make count the most. As the official mover of the Florida Panthers, we always want to win by providing you with the most hassle-free move of your life. I'm Anthony DeSorbo, owner of American Van Lines. When it's time to move, give us a call because we'll give you a solid upfront quote that you can count on. When the time is short and you need to make a move, depend on our pros at American Van Lines. Go Panthers and move with the champs, American Van Lines.
We often welcome people as a standard greeting. It's become as common as greeting another with a hello. At Baptist Health, being welcome has far deeper meaning. So welcome to the warmer side of care, where we advance innovation and treatments through research while educating the next generation of experts all close to home. Here, the sun shines through each one of us as we stand by each one of you. Welcome to the warmer side of care. Welcome to Baptist Health.
Let's talk goals. You don't have to be a professional athlete to achieve them. You just need the right partner for the assist. And when it comes to your facility's landscape, there's no one better than Brightview, the official lawn care partner of the Florida Panthers. Go to brightview.com to see how our commercial landscape services can help you achieve your goals. Or call 844-235-7778 to set up your free consultation. That's 844-235-7778 or brightview.com.
Funky Buddha is back as the official craft brewery of your Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers. Funky Buddha brings the taproom fun to Amerant Bank Arena, where you can grab an ice-cold gloves-off IPA, brewed exclusively for the Florida Panthers and their fans. Party with them all year long at their brewery in Oakland Park, where you can catch all the Panthers action with their signature selection of innovative brews. Or stop by your closest retailer and bring Funky Buddha home with you. No matter where you're watching, they'll be right there with you. Cheers and go Cats! Funky Buddha Brewery, Oakland Park, Florida. Please drink responsibly.
Second intermission continues. Amerant Bank Arena. Panthers 4, the Maple Leafs 3. Kevin Rogers with you. Panthers with 3 in the second to take the lead. They trail in the series 2-0. Quick look at the JetBlue out-of-town scoreboard. JetBlue, you above all. The second game tonight in the Stanley Cup Playoffs coming up close to 10 o'clock in Winnipeg as the Jets hosting the Stars. Game 2 of that series. Dallas leads at 1-0 after winning on Wednesday night 3-2. Coming up, we have the World-famous former Twitter segment. Get your tweets and X's in for Doug. He'll read them before the third period. A wild game so far. Panthers trailed 2-0. They trailed 3-1. They're up 4-3 now after 2 periods of play. Game 3 of the second-round series as we continue right here on the Florida Panthers Radio Network presented by Baptist Health.
Hey, all. This is Alonzo Mourning. I want to talk to you man to man. When it comes to your health, we don't have to be just strong or be tough. We have to be smart, too. We need to take the time and get a health screening, and it can save your life. It saved mine.
Join Alonzo Mourning at the Miami Heat Men's Health Summit this June 14th. Learn more at baptisthealth.net/Zotime.
Have you heard about El Car Wash, the official car wash of the Florida Panthers? For less than the price of a tank of gas, you can enjoy unlimited express car washes at all 40-plus locations from Miami to Palm Beach to Naples and Orlando. If you are on your way to work, having a night on the town, or just need the refreshing feeling of a sparkly clean car, come through one of our eco-friendly and state-of-the-art locations for a high-quality, fast, and fun wash. Visit lcarwash.com to find the location nearest you. Join, wash, save. El Car Wash. Feel good, drive clean. Tabañero Hot Sauce is bringing the heat to the rink this game day, folks. As the official hot sauce of the Florida Panthers, enjoy Tabañero today at any concession stand at the Emirates Bank Arena. We've got it in every flavor. Original, sweet and spicy, curry habanero, and extra hot. Their premium sauce blends are crafted right here in South Florida from all natural, locally sourced ingredients. And the party doesn't have to stop after the stadium. Take Tabañero home with you by visiting your local Florida retail stores. Savor the flavor of Tabañero.
Cheers to champions. Manos Wine has teamed up with the Florida Panthers to celebrate the 2024 Stanley Cup champions. Introducing our exclusive collection of deep-etched, hand-painted wines and sparkling metallic red bubbly, each featuring unique championship designs. Whether you're toasting to victory at home or celebrating with friends, these limited edition bottles are a must-have for every Panthers fan. Shop now at manoswine.com or find us at your local liquor store. Raise your glass to the champions, because every victory deserves a great wine.
Back here at Amaret Bank Arena in Sunrise, Panthers 4 and the Leafs 3 as we get set for the third period of Game 3 presented by Baptist Health. Panthers trying to get back to within a game in the series. Time for the world-famous former Twitter segment. Jimmy tuned in tonight. Also, Roy in Scotland. We've got Scott the Cop/Marine tuned in tonight. Special on to thank you to all the police, fire, medical personnel, military we have tuned in. Thanks for what you do. Thanks for making Panthers hockey a part of your night. We've got Michael in Greenville, South Carolina. We've got another Michael tuned in. Rob in Massachusetts tuned in tonight. Jeff is listening. Dr. Greg tuned in. We've got Matt and Chanel, your cousins, Billy,
yes.
If I recall,
Hello.
from Vancouver tuned in tonight.
Great
Carl, Northwest
people.
Indiana. We've got Joel in San Jose, Terry in Louisiana tuned in tonight, Nisi in Tennessee on the Panthers app, Jason in New York on Sirius XM, Judy in Australia. We have Loriana tuned in at work. We've got also Ryan, Thief River Falls, Minnesota, Gil in Houston on Panthers app, Sean the Hawk in the arena, Duty tuned in Marietta, Georgia, Bruce in Fontainebleau tuned in, Decker, Eastvale, California, Kevin tuned in tonight, Miami fan for life in Phoenix, Arizona, Bill in the arena, Stevie Joe and the Dogs, Hank and Chicken Wing in Ormond Beach on Sirius XM. We'll be back with the third period next. Panthers 4 and the Leafs 3 on the Florida Panthers Radio Network presented by Baptist Health.
The moves the Panthers make on the ice count. American Van Lines knows the moves you make count the most. As the official mover of the Florida Panthers, we always want to win by providing you with the most hassle-free move of your life. I'm Anthony DeSorbo, owner of American Van Lines. When it's time to move, give us a call because we'll give you a solid upfront quote that you can count on. When the time is short and you need to make a move, depend on our pros at American Van Lines. Go Panthers and move with the champs, American Van Lines.
Panthers fans, score big on game day at Stoner's Pizza. Every game day, buy a large cheese or pepperoni pizza and get one of the same variety free. With fresh ingredients and daily handmade dough, Stoner's Pizza is the perfect pairing for puck drop. Order in-store or online at stonerspizzajoint.com and use code GOCATS. Stoner's Pizza, the official pizza of the Florida Panthers. Price participation may vary. Limited time offer.
are underway in the third period. It's the Panthers 4 and the Leafs 3 here in Game 3, presented by Baptist Health. Nico Mikkola up the near side of the ice. Panthers out of their own end. Luostarinen across for Seth Jones, played up to the Leaf line, stopped up by McCabe. A pass to Matthews didn't connect. Marchand hands it back inside the Panthers zone for Seth Jones. 4-3 Panthers. The Panthers with the last 3 goals scored in this game. Puck played into the neutral zone. Here's Nico Mikkola. He'll drive one down to our left. Wall mishandles inside of the goal. Lundell in, and he got a piece of it, but it goes wide. Wall may have recovered and gotten a piece of his goal stick on that. And the Panthers' lead remains 1.
Whoops. He mishandled it. Lundell crashing down, and Wall did get a piece of it with his stick.
Aaron Ekblad, far corner inside the Panthers zone, doesn't clear. Yarncroke for Stephen Lawrence behind the net. He's bumped into there by Ekblad. Now back behind the net inside the Panthers zone. Lawton to the near side. Rodriguez the takeaway. Reinhardt up the near boards. He's tied up and taken down by Morgan Riley. Fans wanted to call, not going to get it. Lawrence off to the far side for Lawton, who flips one deep into the Panthers zone. 1:15 gone by here in the third. 4-3 Panthers. Doug Plagans, Billy Lindsay, Kevin Rogers with the Manny Chang, our on-site engineer Trevor Harris in the studio. Up the far side, Nate Schmidt in offensively into the zone. A backhand out front, and that goes across the top of the goal crease, off the near boards, punched to the neutral zone by Nylander. Kulikov couldn't work it in. Now here on the near side, it's Nylander. Powers it over the Panthers line. Not much further than that. Leafs try again from center. It's lobbed down by Pacioretty. A bouncer in front, and Bobrovsky able to make the save. That may have gone off Tavares and Kulikov. And now the Panthers work into the neutral zone. Bennett up to the offensive line. Panthers go in just a hair out of sync. Offside called. 18-11 left in the third. 4-3 the Panthers in front.
46 hits through 2 periods compared to 22 for Toronto. And on that last sequence, Nylander gets to the blue line again. He gets blasted by Tkachuk, and then all of a sudden followed up again immediately after with another hit. That's how you take away speed, and that's how you take away talent. Nylander got it at the blue line, didn't have to take and absorb 1 hit, but 2.
A.J. Greer will take the draw against Max Domi. And Greer pulls it back, dumped in by Mikkola. Around on a carom, it's off. McCabe, Tanev keeps it to the outside. Seth Jones pinching in. He'll take it down behind the net. Jones out to the near point. Mikkola backs up, lobs one down far corner, keeping it into the Leafs territory. Far boards, it's Tanev up the wall. Couldn't get the clear. Second chance for Tanev. He's got Gadjevich all over him. Behind the net for McCabe. Gave it away to Nosek. Here's Nosek. He'll wind one around. Far side, Seth Jones. Down behind the net. This one's going to be played by McCabe. Fumbled it away. Out front of the Leafs net. Holmberg to the rescue for Toronto. And he'll hand this one on for Bobby McMahon. Carried up the near side, dumped in, down to our right on the end boards. McMahon, Mikkola, they crash into one another. Neither one came up the puck. Luostarinen didn't clear. Morgan Riley, long shot. That hit a skate out front, didn't get through. Anton Lundell in front of the Panthers net, gives to Seth Jones. He'll flip one out to center. Morgan Riley across to Brandon Carlo, and the puck played into the Panthers end. Panthers in red, right to left. Leafs in white, left to right. Turned over at center. Carlo dumps it back into the Panthers zone, down to our right. And Bobrovsky settles it for Nate Schmidt. Far side, Tkachuk handed off for Lundell. Anton Lundell dumps one deep into the Leafs end. Off the end boards, picked up by Morgan Riley. Handed off for Carlo. Chipped on then for Stephen Lawrence, who clears. And now the Panthers will try and work it back in. Second shift of the period for the Stephen Lawrence, Calle Yarncroke, Scott Lawton line. Maybe
he's
trying to work his top line away from the Barkov line. Far side, here's Tkachuk. He'll leave it out at the line. Ekblad a drive, a save. Wall, the rebound for Hagee. Has it in tight. Sharp angle. And a save made by Wall on the follow-up, and he's got it. 16:29 left in the third period. 4-3 the score. Some shoving afterward. The Panthers leading game 3 by a goal here early in the third, and it does seem like Craig Berube is trying to shuffle the deck a little bit to get some matchups that he likes.
Yes, but all of a sudden it comes back, and you got that Bennett line out there against their fourth line, and they get the point shot through. It's pinballing around. Comes close on the side of the net for Verhaeghe. Verhaeghe looking for his second. Now the face-off, and you got the Matthews line out there. We'll see if they come back with Luostarinen and then Lundell and Marchand and get the matchup again like they want. And that looks exactly to be the case.
16:29 to go, third period, 4-3 Panthers. Papa Bear, a late entry to the Twitter segment, tuned in from Pittsburgh. Thanks for being on board tonight. Hello to everybody tuned in across North America on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
Yep, thank you.
If you're new to the program, welcome aboard. Eetu Luostarinen will lean in against Auston Matthews. And off the draw, the Leafs manage to wrangle control of the puck. It's sent out by Mitch Marner. Down to our right, Ekblad. Backhands to center. Ekman-Larsson, cross ice. Auston Matthews saw pressure coming from Marchand, and he turned the puck over at the offensive line for Toronto. Panthers down to our left. It's Eetu Luostarinen. Dodged a check from Benoit. Loose puck on the end boards. Matthews with it again. Gives to Marner. Mitch Marner swerves off to the far corner to buy some time and space, which there hasn't been much of for the Leafs since the start of the second period. Marner will walk this one along. Gives a pass across to Benoit. Now it's handed back for Ekman-Larsson. We played over 4 minutes here in this third period. 4-3, the Panthers leading in Game 3. Far side of the ice, Benoit. Giving back then to Ekman-Larsson to Bobby McMahon here on the near side. Rink-wide feed, Benoit up to the center red line. He'll flip one high. Drops into the Panthers' end. Rodriguez quickly to Barkov. He's bumped over on the far boards by McMahon. Puck played through the neutral zone. Back at the Leaf line, they'll transition. It's Brandon Carlo up the near side. He'll swing it into Panthers territory. Nosek will chip one along. And a foot race down to our left. Gadjevich a step on Carlo. And then Carlo able to poke the puck away. Loose to the far corner, Jake McCabe. A pass straight on Nylander. Saucers one off for Carlo. Brandon Carlo up the near wing. He'll absorb a check from Greer. Dumped it down. Bobrovsky behind the net. Gives to Jones. Up the far side. He's able to rattle one to neutral ice. Clearing for the Panthers. Ekman-Larsson drills it right back in. The Leafs get on side. And Nico Mikkola takes over behind his net.
Nice to see Nosek back in the action for the Panthers after that tough collision into the net.
Puck dumped in down to our left. Going to be an icing call against the Panthers here. 14:45 left in the third. 4-3. It's the Panthers in front of the Toronto Maple Leafs, and a face-off coming up down to our right. Inside the Panthers zone to the right of Sergei Bobrovsky.
Thomas Nosek with the goal on the board that still stands. That's his first playoff goal since back in 2020 against the Vegas Golden Knights. Making his playoff debut for the Panthers, and that fourth line has been effective.
First game of this playoff year for Nosek. First Stanley Cup playoff action of any kind for Jonah Gadjevich. Over on the far boards, Jones looks to clear. Ekman-Larsson the hold. Play down to the near corner. Matthews in front. Marner can't get a shot away. Panthers able to work it ahead, and Tkachuk will toss a backhand into the neutral zone. Morgan O'Reilly up the far side. It's Matthew Knies. Knies just inside the line. Rims it down behind the net. Matthews out to the near point. Nobody home for Toronto. That's going to send Ekman-Larsson all the way back into his own zone. Joe Wall waits for it to come his way. Bennett got in there first, and then the Panthers had more pressure arrive. However, the Leafs managed to get through that situation. They work it ahead quickly, and here's Knies. Now behind the Panthers net as he takes it down to our right. Knies behind the net for Lawton, and then Lawton rims it out to the near point. Jake McCabe, right point, down behind the net. Lawton overskates it, jumped over his stick. Ekblad far boards. He's got Tkachuk there.
And now we got wrestling match.
Ekblad and Jarnkrok are...
How many shows? Jarnkrok took a few extra there.
They're locked together down there, and now the Leafs are going to head in, and Jarnkrok is still in the zone. It's lobbed in from a long distance by Lawton. Offside called. 13:33 left in the third. 4-3 is the score.
This faceoff should come back way back in the Toronto end. We'll see. We got a TV timeout coming out.
Well, we'll tell you all about what transpired there when we come back in a moment. 13:33 left in the third. Game 3 presented by Baptist Health. It's the Panthers a 4-3 lead. We'll be back in a moment. This is the Florida Panthers Radio Network presented by Baptist Health.
Hey Panthers fans, looking for an unforgettable group experience? Team up and score more with Florida Panthers group tickets. Whether it's for corporate outings, school trips, or a fun night out with friends, nothing beats the excitement of live hockey at Amerant Bank Arena. Get exclusive benefits like ticket savings, priority seating, and access to VIP experiences. Don't miss out on the action. Secure your group spot today. Visit FloridaPanthers.com or call 954-835-PUCK to learn more.
Steel deals are happening now. From instant savings on select tools to free battery offers on some of our most popular battery tool sets. You can enjoy great deals and do it all with Steel. Shop online or in store at your local Steel dealer. Offer valid for a limited time only at participating dealers while supplies last.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
13:33 to go, third period, 4-3 Panthers here. And the Panthers out shooting the Leafs 20-18. Our Game 3 coverage tonight presented by our friends at Baptist Health, the official sports medicine provider of the Florida Panthers. And a face-off coming just outside the Panthers line, far side of the ice to our right of center. And Barkov will center Reinhart and Rodriguez. Ekblad and Forsling on defensively. And Barkov wins the draw. Panthers have control of the puck. Forsling sends it straight on into Leafs territory. And this is going to be an icing call against the Panthers. Now 13:24 left in the third. A 4-3 Panthers lead over Toronto.
One area you got to be careful with is that the Leafs have, last couple of games, been dominant in the faceoff circle, 61% again through 2 periods for the Leafs. So you get these icing calls and you get one of the best in the business. Tavares taking draws. Those are little things that add up. Got to try and win it.
Face-off win for Toronto. Back to Riley. He'll put it to the net from a tight angle, and Bobrovsky able to seal it off. He's got it held up in the pads, and that'll bring up another stoppage in play and another face-off inside the Panthers zone with 13:19 left here in the third period. Panthers leading Game 3, 4-3.
And there's the play. You win the face-off. Riley able to jump down from his point position. Sharp angle shot, but still generating a chance towards your goaltender.
Draw coming up far circle down to our right inside the Panthers zone. Reinhart's going to take the draw over on his strong side.
Tavares got kicked out.
Nylander takes his place. And Nylander able to pull it back. Tavares to Riley across Carlo. Right point, a shot blocked. And here goes Rodriguez. Rodriguez up the left wing side of the circle. And Riley poked it away. Rodriguez peels off, recovers, whips it to the net. And a save made by Wall. 13:05 left in the third, 4-3. It's the Panthers in front, and a great individual play by Rodriguez. And Barkov turned on the Jets and got down the ice hurry, which certainly helped the cause as well.
Got out quick to block that shot by Carlos, did Rodriguez, and gets by him. And Carlo doesn't have a stick coming back and still able to get back. Rodriguez turns that play up, and eventually a shot from the blue line. Starting to go all Spanish on you.
13:05 left in the third period here. 4-3, it's the Panthers over Toronto. And the puck pulled back, and looks like we're going to do it all over again. So it's the Bennett, Tkachuk, Verhaeghe line, and this line has had a lot of success together in the past, kind of reunited here tonight.
I like the look of it. Everything that the Panthers are on, there's a trip off.
It's going to be tough to get a penalty here in the third period, I feel like, based on what we've seen. Down to our right, it's Nate Schmidt for the Panthers. Over to the far corner, Holmberg, the takeaway. Holmberg, far circle, hands it off. Domi to the front of the net, a shot. It's off the side of the goal. They still whack away. It's still alive behind the net. Domi out front to the line, and it splits the point men and backs Ekman Larsson out to center. Panthers dodge the bullet there.
First little pressure that we've seen from the Leafs in a while.
Now Morgan Riley straight on. Here's Pacioretty to Domi near side, and Bennett took it away. Verhaeghe took a shot from McCabe, muscled it out beyond his own blue line. Now the Leafs try and start back in. Holmberg over on the far boards. Pontus Holmberg there, and he's wrestled down by Bennett. The Panthers able to settle control of the puck. Schmidt for Lundell. Handed back for Nate Schmidt. 12:09 left here in the third. A 4-3 Panthers lead. Puck played long down to our left. Icing call against the Panthers here.
Los Arena got a piece of that on the boards. It looked like when they dumped it in, they're going to go with the icing call anyway.
12:04 to go, third period. A 4-3 Panthers lead. Game 3 presented by Baptist Health.
And the game within the game, and the chess matches that go in, the coaching moves, all the little subtleties we've seen play out. Paul Maurice making the adjustments with the last change here on home ice.
And you see between these two coaches, too, you can see certain things they're trying to do, and that's why coaching experience in the playoffs matters so much as well. Two guys who've done it all head-to-head in this matchup between Paul Maurice and Craig Berube. Puck played down and around the end boards. And back in the Panthers zone, Schmidt crunched there by Matthews. He was able to hand one off for Anton Lundell. Shuffled back for Schmidt in the near corner. Up the boards, Luostarinen did get it out. Ekman Larsson lost it to Marchand. Then he knocks him over. Fans want a call. Not going to get it there. And Marner up the left side has Riley. Riley looks across to Matthews. That pass didn't connect, and the Panthers start out quickly. Through center goes Luostarinen. Up the left side, Nyes caught up to him. And then Luostarinen finished off by Ekman Larsson here on the near boards, and the puck picked up back behind the Leafs net by Morgan Riley. He'll walk this one ahead. Morgan Riley, a backhand flutter down to our right. That's going to be an icing call against Toronto as Riley wasn't to center. 11-17 left in the third period. 4-3 is the Panthers' lead over Toronto.
After those first opening goals, the crowd got taken out of the game. It's kind of quiet, but in that second period, it got lively, and the juice is back in the building, and you can feed off that as a player. When I'm sitting on the bench, you know that. You can feel that. That crowd behind you, that energy kind of reverberates through your bones.
Reinhardt off the Panthers face-off win. Panthers in the offensive end to Forsling down behind the net, then to Barkov. 2-on-2 scrum on the end wall. Tavares has the puck held up on the boards. It's ripped away by Rodriguez. Whipped down low wide. That rims around the end boards. Far side McMahon with Ekblad on him. 2-on-2 battle over along the far boards, and Bobby McMahon leaves it back behind the net for Tanev. Far side for Morgan Riley. Riley in the far circle of the Leafs end. He'll hand one straight on. William Nylander heads in over the Panthers line. Nylander to the right. Circle a shot. He put it off the side of the net. And that was one of the first times tonight we've seen Nylander really start to be able to
that was because
work into the zone.
The Barkov line went for a change.
Yep.
And that allowed some time for him to regather and come up the ice.
And we haven't seen him get much separation tonight relative to the first two games of the series. Here's Mikkola up the right side. He'll dump it in. Down to our left, Jonah Gadjevich on the loose puck. Tried to rim it around the end boards. Couldn't get much on it. Now Gadjevich over along the far side. Tried to hand a pass out to the line. He was tied up. The puck played back into the neutral zone. The Panthers will reload, but it's fumbled away. Lawton far circle settles one down. That was a puck that was just bouncing all over the place, and Scott Lawton takes it deep into the Panthers zone before he's tied up by Mikkola. It's sent around the end boards. A.J. Greer pressured by Carlo. Now Jones has it. Around for Mikkola, far side of the ice. Off the glass. Got it out. That backs Benoit to center ice. He'll scoot in. Long shot, and Bobrovsky snares that one. And Benoit was racing in there looking for a rebound that never came out. Bennett and Benoit having a conversation back behind the net. 9:44 left in the third. 4-3 Panthers in front of the Leafs. And everything is settled for now. And as soon as the crowd is separated, we'll be taking a media timeout, I believe, here. So, the red light's on, and we will step aside. 9:44 left in the third period of Game 3. Panthers lead 4-3 here this evening. More third period action straight ahead on the Florida Panthers Radio Network, presented by Baptist Health.
Let's talk goals. You don't have to be a professional athlete to achieve them. You just need the right partner for the assist. And when it comes to your facility's landscape, there's no one better than Brightview, the official lawn care partner of the Florida Panthers. Go to brightview.com to see how our commercial landscape services can help you achieve your goals. Or call 844-235-7778 to set up your free consultation. That's 844-235-7778 or brightview.com.
Have you heard about El Car Wash? The official car wash of the Florida Panthers. For less than the price of a tank of gas, you can enjoy unlimited express car washes at all 40-plus locations from Miami to Palm Beach to Naples and Orlando. If you are on your way to work, having a night on the town, or just need the refreshing feeling of a sparkly clean car, come through one of our eco-friendly and state-of-the-art locations for a high-quality, fast, and fun wash. Visit lcarwash.com to find the location nearest you. Join, wash, save. El Car Wash. Feel good. Drive clean.
Your fishing gear's loaded, lunch is packed, the boat's gassed up, everything you need for an awesome day on the water. Well, not everything. You should also bring along your boating safety education. So be sure to take a Florida boating safety course. Know before you go. Do it for yourself. Do it for your family. You'll have more fun out on the water. You can take a course in a classroom or online. To learn more, visit Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission at myfwc.com.
Welcome back inside Amaranth Bank Arena here in Sunrise. Doug Plagans, Billy Lindsay, Kevin Rogers with you. Manny Chang is our on-site engineer. Trevor Harrison, studio control. Panthers a 4-3 lead here in Game 3. Into the back half of the third period we go here. The Panthers have the last 3 goals in this game. They trailed 3-1 at one point early in the second period. Came roaring back, and now they're in position to try and chip away at the series deficit. Toronto leads 2-0 as they took both in Toronto Monday and Wednesday. Panthers trying to get back on the winning side here as we have a puck out of play. 9:38 left in the third period. 4-3. It's the Panthers in front. A face-off coming up. It's going to be in the neutral zone right in front of the Panthers bench. Far side of the ice from our vantage point, just to our right of center ice.
Panthers can play back into their systems. That's okay. But you still got to remember to press here a little bit if you get the chance. They want to hem the Leafs in their own zone as much as possible. And a big part of that, you've been able to wear the Leafs down with that zone time in that second period, especially some of their defensemen.
Off the face-off in the neutral zone, the Leafs have it. Ekman Larson across for Morgan Riley. Up the boards, Nice. Flutters one down low. Morgan Riley's going to go and get it. He's pressured, though, and now Matthews has it. To Marner, a drive, didn't get it through as Riley was cruising across the front of the net trying to deflect it. Ekman Larson behind the net, Nice. Nice in the trapezoid for Toronto, trying to send a pass Marner's way, couldn't get it through. Nice fights to get it back, hands to Matthews, pass in front, nobody home. Here's Riley cutting in, a shot into traffic, pinballing in front, and they score. Morgan Riley put it to the net. It looked like it may have gone off Bobrovsky, off a Panther, and in. And this game is tied at 4 with 9:04 left in the third period. Morgan Riley is going to get that one. And you remember back in the first period, Morgan Riley had one go off him and into his own net.
Yep.
And now he puts one to the net that goes off the goaltender and off a Panther.
And we've seen a little bit more pressure from the Leafs the last couple of times, and Matthew Nyes deserves a lot of credit on this play. Marchand had it on his stick trying to get out of the zone.
He had a big shift.
Matthew Nyes is able to get back, rip it off the stick of Marchand, and that's what started that offensive play. It's the hustle by Nyes, and it goes off the blocker, does the shot of Morgan Riley, and then off Seth Jones in behind Sergei Bobrovsky, but that play does not happen without that back check of Matthew Nyes against Marchand, because it looked like Marchand was going to get the puck out of the zone. Matthew Nyes was able to rob him of it, and we're tied at 4.
Yeah, tenacious play by Nyes, and bad luck from the Panthers' perspective. And now down to our left along the end boards. It's going to be handled by Reinhart. We've seen both teams get a little bit of luck in this one at times. Here's Ekblad, long shot, tipped, and a save made by Wall. 8:34 left in the third. 4-4 the score. Joseph Wall on a shot that came in from the right point. Ekblad let it go. It took a change in direction out front. It was actually a picture-perfect deflection.
Evan Rodriguez
by
on
Evan Rodriguez right out in front. But for Joseph Wall, considering the circumstances, that is a massive save.
That is a massive save. And those redirections out high are the toughest for goaltenders, because it can bounce anywhere and in any kind of direction. It bounced before it got to him. He was able to stick with it and get it underneath the arm and the blocker on the right side.
Now the Leafs try and clear. They can't get it by Kulikov. Tkachuk down behind the net. Ekman Larson back in on the near side. Held in Nate Schmidt. Along the near boards down to the corner. Matthew Tkachuk there. Tkachuk in the corner, leaned on heavily by Benoit. Benoit tried to clear, couldn't. Lawton with it for Toronto. Hands back to Benoit up the far side, and it's muscled along by Stephen Lawrence. Far side, Yarncroke after it. Puck takes a high bounce as defensive pressure from the Panthers came in at the same time. Puck goes out of play. 8:07 left in the third. 4-4. It's the Panthers and the Toronto Maple Leafs. So once again, a whole new hockey game, and you can officially start to classify this, Billy, as kind of a seesaw battle here this evening.
Yeah, and the Maple Leafs, their defensive core has been good, but they've also gotten 8 goals from their defensemen, and 4 of them coming from Morgan Riley. Morgan Riley, which had, by his standards, an average regular season, now ended up, that's his 4th goal here of this whole season, 7th point. They've gotten a lot of production from their defensemen.
Nate Schmidt up the near side, puck dumped in down to our left, into the corner, sent around, Carlo, far side, Domi after it for Toronto, doesn't clear it by Greer. And A.J. Greer put it back behind the Leafs net. Brandon Carlo this time, near side for Holmberg. Tipped into the neutral zone, and Greer rips it right back in. Down to our left, Joseph Wall gives to Carlo. And then far corner, Morgan Riley shoved there by Greer. Got it back around for Carlo. Long outlet, Marner up the far wing. Led Matthews a little too far. Nyes a little slow back to his feet. Meanwhile, Carlo, after a Panthers clear, flips it along. Ekblad stops it up. He's knocked down by Matthews, but as he's falling, Ekblad gets the puck deep. Joe Wall, the goaltender, into the corner. Tanev blew a tire. Maintains control of the puck. Chris Tanev back behind the net for the Leafs. Tanev off the boards near side, tipped along by Marner. Matthews can't settle down control. Marchand rolls one inside the Leaf zone. Tanev back to handle this one. 4-4 is the score. And Chris Tanev with control of the puck. He'll send it across the ice. And McCabe will give it to Nylander. Toronto left to right. Nylander carries the puck ahead. Left to right across your radio. Nylander in over the Panthers line, down to the near corner. And here on the near side, a tie-up down low. Mikkola and Nylander. Loose puck along the near side, out to the line. Ekman Larsson didn't hold it in. Reinhardt up to the offensive line for the Panthers. He'll play one deep. Barkov knocked over by Tavares. No call. Benoit left it back behind the net, covered by Wall at the side of the net. Then he decides to play it to Ekman Larsson. Chipped out to center, redirected down by Bobby McMahon. And Nico Mikkola after this one. Mikkola into the far corner. He'll play one up the far boards. Didn't connect with Rodriguez. And back in go the Leafs. It's sent in by Morgan Riley. That deflects, and it's out of play. 6:12 left in the third. 4-4 the score. Billy, you might be able to elaborate on this, but if you're looking at it, if you are Morgan Riley in this situation, how much relief are you feeling now that you got one for your team after the way that first Panthers goal was scored?
Well, you're trying to do your best in all situations. You understand.
But you know the player, especially a guy like him, takes ownership of something like that.
Yes, you do. And he was caught out of position on that goal, trying to get back, and they put it into his own net. It's got to feel good anytime that you're
not good for the Panthers, of course.
No, but it does feel good on his end. You make a mistake like that, it kind of haunts you, sits back in your mind, and able to get one back. And much like his goal, it was just a lucky bounce.
Here's Ekblad up the right side for Lundell.
Seen a few of those in these games.
Brandon Carlo, as the puck was played into the Leaf zone, up the boards. Couldn't find Nyes. Whipped to the net by Marchand, and Anton Lundell a little slow to get up in that far corner as he absorbed a hit down there. 5:59 left in the third. 4-4 is the score. Lundell back to his feet. Looks like he's going to be good to go, and we will step to our final media timeout. 4-4, Panthers and the Leafs. Game 3 winding down, and this one is up for grabs here at Amerant Bank Arena in Sunrise. It's the Florida Panthers Radio Network, presented by Baptist Health.
We often welcome people as a standard greeting. It's become as common as greeting another with a hello. At Baptist Health, being welcome has far deeper meaning. So welcome to the warmer side of care, where we advance innovation and treatments through research while educating the next generation of experts, all close to home. Here, the sun shines through each one of us as we stand by each one of you. Welcome to the warmer side of care. Welcome to Baptist Health.
Every Stanley Cup champion started somewhere. Begin your championship journey with the Florida Panthers Learn to Play. Learn to Play is designed to introduce the game of ice hockey to boys and girls ages 5 to 9. For only $250, each participant will receive 6 weeks of on-ice training from Florida Panthers alumni and USA Hockey certified coaches, as well as a custom-fitted free set of ice hockey equipment that they can keep at the program's conclusion. For sign-up, location, and scheduling information, visit floridapanthers.com/learn-to-play. Funky Buddha is back as the official craft brewery of your Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers. Funky Buddha brings the taproom fun to Amerant Bank Arena, where you can grab an ice-cold gloves-off IPA, brewed exclusively for the Florida Panthers and their fans. Party with them all year long at their brewery in Oakland Park, where you can catch all the Panthers action with their signature selection of innovative brews. Or stop by your closest retailer and bring Funky Buddha home with you. No matter where you're watching, they'll be right there with you. Cheers and go Cats! Funky Buddha Brewery, Oakland Park, Florida. Please drink responsibly.
5:59 to go, third period. 4-4 between the Panthers and the Leafs as we are getting deeper and deeper into Game 3, presented by Baptist Health. And Billy, Paul Maurice is getting an explanation right now from our officials. Explain what's going on here.
It happened down deep in the corner, and the refs said the high stick was not valid because it was
on Anton Lundell.
On Anton Lundell, because it was a follow-through on a shot. But it wasn't. He was knocking the puck out of midair and just swinging at it, and caught Lundell up in the face. And Paul Maurice was having a hefty argument, still not happy about the call, wanted to review something to take care of it, and I don't blame him because Morgan Riley swung at this puck and just caught Lundell right in the chiclets. Looked like an obvious high stick. That was not a follow-through on an attempted pass or shot. That should have been a high stick. Wasn't called. Play on.
And the Leafs, after the face-off inside their zone, control the puck. 5:48 left in the third. Game 3 tied at 4. The end of the late stages here as McCabe dumps it down. We haven't had a penalty called here in this third period as the puck takes a bounce off the corner boards out front of the net, and Bobrovsky gives to Jones. Anton Lundell, far corner, no worse for the wear. He's out there for the Panthers here. Takes it back behind the net. Here on the near side of the ice, and it'll be shoveled out of the zone by Eetu Luostarinen. So down to our left, Jake McCabe after this one for Toronto. McCabe back behind the net. Has it in the trapezoid. Panthers haven't given the Leafs much, really, since the start of the second period. Toronto had the power play goal from Tavares, if you remember. And here in the third, they get a goal off a couple of bounces out front from Morgan Riley. It went off Bobrovsky, off Seth Jones, and in. That's how the game was tied up. Now it's Tavares up the far side. He does have 2 for Toronto. His stick was just knocked out of his hands. And
broken half.
Yeah, the Leafs maintain control as Holmberg drops it back to the... Here's Ekman Larsson, shovels it along near side. Panthers in red, right to left. Leafs in white, left to right. It's sent in by Ekman Larsson, but cut off by Forsling, who immediately outlets to Bennett. Bennett in the neutral zone with him. Bennett backpedals over the center red line. Cross ice feed. A race for it. Benoit there ahead of Rodriguez. Used his reach. Up the near side. It's Benoit to Pacioretty, and then Bobby McMahon in for Toronto. McMahon right circle. Slams on the brakes. Looks out front. Great defensive read. Barkov. And he will play one out to the neutral zone for Reinhart after the intercepted pass. Now in go the Panthers. Rodriguez right circle shot. Save made by Wall. That one handcuffed him a bit, but he was able to get in the way and knock it away. And the Leafs charge out in a hurry. Domi left side a shot. And it's off the crossbar from Morgan Riley, looking for his second straight goal in this one. Now down behind the net, Domi to the far corner, Stephen Lawrence. Shuffled down and around the end boards. Here in the near corner, it's Barkov. We've seen both teams hit iron in this one as well.
Morgan Riley jumped up and realized he could beat his man up on the play, make it a 3-on-2.
Now in go the Leafs. Lawton to Lawrence. Down to the corner, Lawton again. Lines it back behind the Panthers net. Stephen Lawrence over in the far corner with it. Out to the line, McCabe. Long shot, tip, save Bobrovsky. It's loose. And he's able to whack it away from the front of the net with the goal stick. Tkačuk over center ice. He'll play it down. Into the far corner, down to our left. A collision, a couple of collisions now. As the Panthers keep it in, Greer sweeps it down and around the end boards. Here in the near corner, the puck handled by Tanev. We're back and forth with McCabe. Tanev up the near side. Lawton tips it deep into the Panthers zone. On the end wall, handled by Nico Mikkola. 3 minutes to go here in regulation. Game 3 is tied at 4.
30 seconds, get off the ice on both sides. The shifts are becoming really short.
Down to our left behind the net, Joseph Wall, the goaltender, off the high glass. It stays in play. The Leafs are going to settle down control. Marner swoops back deeper into his own zone. Now he drifts ahead. Pass straight on. It's off a Panthers stick and out of play. 2:38 left in the third. 4-4 the score here in Game 3. The first 2 games of this series were decided by a goal, and the likelihood of this one being decided by a goal starting to increase here, Billy.
And Cape Coast on that 3-on-2 as they come up the ice. Max Domi able to weave his way through traffic. And Morgan Riley beats Kulikov all the way. You can see Morgan Riley come from the back end, and he chimes it off, a little paint chipper off the crossbar, and then another challenging save by Sergei Bobrovsky on a redirection in front. And the Maple Leafs have had some chances here as we've gotten to the tail end of this third period.
Shots in the game, 23-21 for the Panthers as it's sent down and around the end boards. Here's Barkov on the offensive end. Rodriguez left corner. Sharp angle try. It's kicked away by the left pad of Wall and cleared by Nylander. Forsling up into his own zone for the Panthers. Pass near side, Rodriguez. Across the ice, Ekblad. He'll take it up the right wing, hands this one off, and then a puck lob to the goal by Reinhart. That's knocked away routinely by Wall. Handled here by Tavares as he walks it up the near boards. John Tavares rolls it up the near side. Forsling immediately flings it out of the zone, and Tanev back at the Leaf line has it. Panthers get a change. Tanev rifles one in. It's straight into Bobrovsky. He'll keep it alive by handing it to Seth Jones.
Penalty coming up.
Penalty coming against Toronto. Pacioretty reached in against Seth Jones.
Took his feet from underneath him. Offensive zone penalty. Seth Jones moving his feet, and Pacioretty fishing and wishing for the puck. Got all skates. This time the arm does go up. Now we got some pushing and shoving. This is time to skate away.
Yep. If there ever was a time, this is it. So 1:47 left in the third. 4-4 the score, and the Panthers go to a Publix power play here in the late stages. Here's our call from downstairs.
Well, there's a couple of things to go through here. Is one, Sergei Bobrovsky could have maybe just covered that puck, held it for a face-off. He decides to drop it for Jones, and when he dropped it for Jones, he ran a little pick interference, and that allowed Pacioretty to be a step behind Seth Jones. And once he reached out, there was a smart little play by Bobrovsky just to get a little piece of Pacioretty and force him into that position to take that tripping call.
Puck pulled back by Barkov, and it's Reinhart now to Jones. Verhaeghe near side along the boards. Barkov side of the net. Reinhart had it poked away. Marner bolts ahead for the Leafs. Marner in offensively, long shot wide. It's loose back behind the net. And here's Tkachuk into the near corner. Tkachuk cross ice. Barkov in over the offensive line. Looks far side. Reinhart, he'll drill it around the end boards. Near side Verhaeghe. Behind the net Barkov. Pressured by McCabe. Puck taken by Tanev. And he'll flutter one along. Marner hangs onto it for a while. Eventually does get it out. Tkachuk bat that out of the air to keep it alive around center ice instead of having to track all the way back into his own end. Tkachuk plays it deep. 1:05 to go here in regulation time. Now behind the net, off to the far corner. Tkachuk with control. Jones at the right point. Jones across to an open Barkov left circle. Barkov fires, and that one is high, stays in play. Rims around to Reinhart. Reinhart, long shot wide. Around the end boards, Barkov near side. Barkov to the end boards, Tkachuk. Barkov here on the near side. Tkachuk behind the net. Matthew Tkachuk, right circle. One-timer! And the shot from Reinhart steered away by Wall. Here's Barkov out to the line. Jones. Jones to Barkov, left circle. A shot blocked by Tanev. Now Barkov again with it here on the near side. A shot into traffic, and it pinballs wide to the far corner. Reinhart whips it around. Barkov, 24 seconds in this third period. Jones straight on. Right side Reinhart. Pass across a diving Matthews. Got it out. 17 seconds left in the third. 4-4 the score. Jones back for this one. Panthers on a Publix power play. Barkov in, near side, challenged at the line by Yarncroke. The Panthers aren't able to enter the zone. That'll back the Panthers into their own end. 4-4 the score, and the horn sounds. 3 periods in the books for the first time in these Stanley Cup playoffs. The Panthers are headed to overtime.
First time. Panthers trying to hang on to that lead, and it would take a bounce of some sort, and they get it from Morgan Rielly, pinching down from his point position. Matthew Nye a really good back check to take the puck away from Marchand, and Matthews swept it across that far point to Morgan Rielly, and he just threw it in front. It goes off the blocker of Bobrovsky, off Seth Jones, ties the game up at 4. Maple Leafs a couple other good chances. Sergei Bobrovsky tested there in the third, and really tight game. It came into a chess match more in that third period. We basically saw 3 games in 3 periods.
Yep.
One, the Leafs came out blazing, controlling, and the Panthers got back into it. The Panthers controlled that second period, and a lot of neutral zone play there in that third period as both teams trying to prevent anything, especially after that game got tied up at 4 on that Morgan Rielly goal. But we're going to overtime, as you said, for the first time in a wildly entertaining game, and the Panthers looking for a hero.
And I've got to ask you, Billy, as well, because you experienced the Stanley Cup playoffs firsthand. So I've got 2 for you that maybe you can take us into the minds of a player, take us into a dressing room. If you're the Panthers right now, no way to sugarcoat it. The situation's the situation. You either win this game and you make it a 2-1 series and you hold serve on home ice, or if Toronto scores the next goal in this game, you go down 3-0 in the series, and the math is dramatically against you. If you're the Panthers, what's on your mind right now in the room?
So you're trying to protect that lead in the third period. It goes by the wayside. I would say just go back into that what we saw in the second period. Go for it. Don't be afraid to make any mistakes. And we've seen the Panthers come out really good overtime record in the playoffs because they got a lot of players in there. And what you're saying on both sides is every time that you touch the ice, fourth line guy, third line guy, you have to believe you're going to be the hero. You're going to play within your limits, do what you want. But you have to go out there with no fear. You have to absolutely believe when that puck gets on my stick, I am going to make a play. I am going to be the person that ends this. Ultimately, it's only going to be one player and maybe some other one that sets up a beautiful play or an assist. But we've seen a lot of plays in this game. You're also seeing in that room, everything to the net. Everything. Because of what we saw in this game. You get into that blue paint, funny things happen. It's just the nature of the business, and you cannot pass up any shot in overtime. And that's the mantra going into that locker room. Let's get back into that second period game. Heavy forechecking, take away time and space, short shifts, 30 seconds, get off the ice. It's like the second period, you have the long line change at the start of overtime, which tends to end things a little bit quicker when you have that long line change. You're yelling in there, 30 seconds off the ice. Do not ever overextend a shift.
And this one, you could probably maybe a little bit lighter note, considering it's a situation the Leafs are in right now. From your perspective, though, Billy, they've gone through 147 of it, but does each second feel like 5 seconds to Max Pacioretty serving a penalty at this juncture of the game? How long do those 2 minutes feel?
Yeah, I've been in that situation. It's about as hopeless a feeling. You're begging for your penalty killers, like, just get me through this somehow, some way.
You don't want to be the guy sitting over there.
I don't want to be the goat. Yeah, and that is the walk of shame. If they score in the penalty box and they open up the doors, you do not want to go back to that bench for whatever reason. You're looking for a corner or a tunnel anywhere that you can
go out the Zamboni door or something, take a different way.
Yeah, get the Zamboni door. So there is 13 seconds left. It looks like the Maple Leafs will probably get through this penalty kill and will land up back on 5-on-5 hockey. And 4-4, and game you got to have it.
And we are going commercial-free rock and roll the rest of the way, folks, what with it being continuous overtime here. So we are going to hand it back to Kevin Rogers in our network studios, and we will drop the puck to start overtime with Game 3 presented by Baptist Health, tied at 4. The Leafs lead the series 2-0. To say this situation is pivotal, critical, whatever adjective you want to throw out there, it absolutely is. Times several times over. So it's a 4-4 game heading to overtime. We'll drop the puck in about 10 minutes. Until then, let's hand it back to Kevin Rogers. He will keep you all entertained until we get ready to start overtime. He'll walk you through what's going on here and elsewhere. Kevin Rogers back in the studio. Take it away.
Doug, Billy, thank you very much. And for the first time this postseason, the Panthers are headed to overtime as they're tied up with the Maple Leafs at 4 apiece. And before we review the goals, let's pause for station identification right here on the Florida Panthers Radio Network, presented by Baptist Health.
Centers. Hockey comes alive. Sirius XM NHL Network Radio. KIS HD2 Boca Raton.
Game 3 of this second-round series. Toronto leads it 2-0, but the Panthers and Maple Leafs all tied up at 4. And you heard Doug mention it before he handed it off that Maple Leafs win, they're in full control of 3-0. If the Panthers can win, all of a sudden now it's a 2-1 series headed to Sunday's Game 4 at 7:30 at Amerant Bank Arena. The Panthers with an opportunity to tie things up at 2 apiece. So obviously the next goal is going to change the trajectory of this series. So let's look back at what's unfolded tonight. A lot to get to with 8 goals so far. Sergei Bobrovsky starting in net for the Panthers. Joseph Woll in for the Maple Leafs. And for Toronto, it didn't take very long. Took them, in fact, less than 30 seconds to get on the board in the first period.
Nice. Played down to a right. Matthews, first one there. Looks to wrap it around in front for Nice. Bouncing puck in the blue paint. And it's cleared to the line by Forsling, not out of the zone. Tanev, of course, for McCabe. Gives to Marner. Marner, right point, long shot. Tipped off the iron, and they score. And it's Matthew Nice, 23 seconds into the game. 1-0 Toronto. The Leafs take an early lead in Game 3.
The Maple Leafs attacking the net just 23 seconds into the first period. Matthew Nice able to beat Sergei Bobrovsky, his 5th goal of the postseason. Auston Matthews and Mitch Marner assisting 23 seconds into the first. Maple Leafs out of the chute, up 1-0. Then a little more than 5.5 minutes later, it was John Tavares right out in front, and he would give Toronto the 2-0 lead.
Tanev takes a hard hit back behind the net. Carter Verhaeghe got a hold of him, but the Leafs break it out quickly. Up the left side, Nylander, then Pacioretty in front of the goal. Tavares, can he wrap it around? He does. He scores. John Tavares makes it 2-0 Toronto. 5 minutes, 57 seconds into Game 3.
Fourth goal of the postseason for John Tavares, 5:57 into the first. Max Pacioretty and William Nylander assisting. Maple Leafs an early 2-0 lead. But then a little more than a minute and a half later, the Panthers would get a big break out in front and cut the deficit down to 2-1.
Rodriguez pushed it through the neutral zone down to our left. Here to the near corner, Morgan Rielly down to our left in the Toronto end. The Leafs don't clear. A chance for Barkov out front, and it's off Rielly, and he scores! And the Panthers get one back. It's now a 2-1 Toronto lead with 12:22 to go. Here in the first, Barkov put it out front off the Toronto defenseman. It went off Rielly and in, and the Panthers get one back.
Alexander Barkov scoring his third goal of the postseason, second consecutive game with the goal in the first period, 7:38 into the first. Sam Reinhart and Evan Rodriguez assisting. Panthers on the board, and they trail at that point 2-1. So 2-1 after one, we go to the second period, and the Maple Leafs in the power play, and a bad break against the Panthers here as Toronto would go up 3-1.
Matthews, Marner, left point, down to the near corner. It's Nylander into the circle, up top, Marner, long wrist shot, tipped, and they score. That was a double deflection on the way. 17:08 left in the second. A power play goal for Toronto. The Leafs lead 3-1. And Tavares out in front made the contact with it. And that one looks like it may have gone off Tavares and then off the equipment of Gus Forsling on the way in.
Second goal of the night for John Tavares comes in the power play. Marner and Nylander assisting, 2:52 into the second. And the Maple Leafs back up by 2, 3-1. Then it really gets wild as Sam Reinhart out in front, and a puck would sneak past Joseph Woll, and the Panthers would get within 3-2.
Reinhart winds one around the boards out to the far point for Forsling. Played down behind the goal. That one's going to go all the way around. Near side track down by Ekblad. Rodriguez right circle shot. Save Woll. It's loose in the blue paint. Woll spooling backward. A pile up in the goal crease. And it's immediately waved off by the referee, TJ Luxmore, who's right on top of things there. Woll, the netminder, shoved all the way back into the net.
It's the shot from Rodriguez in the slot. And it pins balls off the skate. Takes the initial shot. I'm not sure if it goes off Carlo. And Carlo with a broken stick.
He played it with a broken stick.
That should be a 2-minute penalty. But that's, if you're on the Leaf side, that's a penalty worth taking because that puck's going into the net. Carlo broke his stick. It's in behind Woll, bouncing off bodies. And Carlo with a broken stick swept it off the goal line. No question, that's a 2-minute penalty. You cannot play with a broken stick, and you definitely cannot play the puck, and he ends up getting it off the goal line and keeping it out of the net. Also, the other aspect of this, you're going to have to make sure that the puck never did cross that red line.
Here's the call.
There we go. We have a goal.
And the Panthers are back to within one. The Leafs lead is cut to 3-2 with 15:46 to play here in the second. So a quick answer for the Panthers.
Sam Reinhart, his third goal of the postseason. Evan Rodriguez and Aaron Ekblad assisting at the 4:13 mark of the second. Panthers at that point trail 3-2. Then a little more than a minute later, the Panthers would do it the conventional way as Carter Verhaeghe out in front would tie things up at 3 apiece.
Marner tipped along, and then Benoit plowing in against Matthew Tkachuk, and the puck winds up out beyond the line. Panthers right back in quickly. Here's Bennett Alain. Right circle. Bennett back in front. He scores! It's Verhaeghe there to jam it home, and we're all tied up. 14:43 to go in the second. What a play! Bennett to Verhaeghe. It's 3-3.
5:17 is the second period. Great feed from Sam Bennett. Also, Matthew Tkachuk assisting on Carter Verhaeghe's third goal of the postseason. Panthers 3, the Maple Leafs 3 at that point. Then a little less than 10 minutes later, the Panthers would take their first lead of the night.
Greer hands it back. Schmidt up the far side. Panthers on the move. Up the wing into the offensive end. Nosek puts one toward the net. He scores! And the Panthers have taken the lead. It's 4-3. Nosek crossed in. He put it to the net, and he fooled Joe Woll. The Panthers are in front.
And that goal originally was credited to Tomas Nosek, but then after video review of the goal, not from the referees, but from the statisticians, Jonah Gadjevich, he was credited with that goal, got a stick on it, his first of the postseason. Nosek and Nate Schmidt assisting, so the fourth line stepping up, 15:07 into the second. Panthers take their first lead of the night at 4-3. However, a little more than halfway through the third, another funky goal, and Toronto would be the beneficiary there, and they would tie things up at 4 apiece.
Eyes in the trapezoid for Toronto. Tried to send a pass Marner's way. Couldn't get it through. Nyes fights to get it back. Hands to Matthews. Pass in front. Nobody home. Here's Riley cutting in. A shot into traffic. Kimball in front. They score. Morgan Riley put it to the net. It looked like it may have gone off Bobrovsky, off a Panther, and in. And this game is tied at 4 with 9:04 left in the third period. Morgan Riley is going to get that one.
And that one deflected off Seth Jones past Sergei Bobrovsky. Fourth goal for Morgan Riley. Auston Matthews and Matthew Nyes assisting. 10:56 into the third period. Maple Leafs a couple goals that were deflected in off Panthers. Panthers had a couple goals deflected off Maple Leafs. And at that point, things all tied up at 4, which is where we sit now. At the end of regulation, Sergei Bobrovsky, 19 saves on 23 Toronto shots. Joseph Woll, 23 saves on 27 Panther shots. And again, first overtime for the Panthers this postseason back in 2023 in their run to the Stanley Cup final before losing to Vegas. They went 7-0 in overtime that season in OT. Last year they went 2-2. They started with a win over Tampa Bay and then lost 2 of 3 down the stretch in overtime. So 9-2 overtime record under Paul Maurice in the playoffs. And we'll see what happens here tonight. We'll take a quick look at the JetBlue out-of-town scoreboard. JetBlue, you above all. As right now, the Jets, they are in front of the Stars 2-0. That game in the first period from Winnipeg. And the Jets looking to even up that series at 1 game apiece. And Winnipeg, again, a 2-0 lead halfway through the first period there in game 2 of that series. Let's head back now to Amerant Bank Arena. Panthers 4, the Maple Leafs 4, as we're about to begin overtime with Doug Plagans and Billy Lindsay.
Thank you very much, Kevin. About 90 seconds away from starting up overtime, so maybe an extra edition of this day in Panthers history, even though it wasn't on this day. Just a trip down memory lane, Billy. The last playoff overtime game for the Panthers was Game 4 of last year's Eastern Conference Final, and the Panthers won that game in this building over the Rangers by a 3-2 score. The Panthers were down 2-1 in the series, tied that series 2-2 with that overtime win. That was one of the many pivotal moments on that run to the Stanley Cup last year.
You're going to have some pivotal moments. There's none bigger than this one right here. At this very time is it's either a stranglehold for the Leafs or you're right back in it. And see what shakes out. Carter Verhaeghe notoriously has come through.
Yep. 4-4 heading to overtime. And before we get going, we should remind you that Game 4 of this series, SeatGeek Road Ahead, SeatGeek, your ticket to great Panthers seats. Game 4 of this series is going to be Sunday at 7:30. We'll be on the air with Panthers Preview at 7, and wherever you're tuned in right now is where you can find us coming up on Sunday evening. So that's what is up next as far as the next game. Game 3 is presented by our friends at Baptist Health, the official sports medicine provider of the Florida Panthers. Carter Verhaeghe has 5 career playoff overtime game winners. That's more than anybody else involved in tonight's game.
It is. Matthew Tkachuk and Brad Marchand, the other 2 Panthers, tied at 3.
Face off on the way from center. It's the Panthers in red, left to right. The Leafs in white, right to left. And the Leafs are shorthanded for 13 seconds to start the period. A Publix power play continuing for the Panthers here. It's pulled back by Barkov. Nico Mikkola gives to Seth Jones. Up the near side. It's dumped in around the end boards. Tanev. He'll backhand it around the end boards. Near side, Jones on it. He'll hold it down low. McCabe cuts it off for the Leafs. Off the boards, and the Leafs have their man out of the box. It's Pacioretty. He was led up the near side a little too far. Fortunately for the Panthers, it was out of his reach. And now down to our left, Seth Jones there to play it. Gives on to Reinhart. Sam Reinhart across center. He'll dump it in. Around the end boards, got by Verhaeghe. Nyes picks up the puck, scoots away from Barkov then. Out of the zone to Nylander, a little far. And into the Panthers end. It's picked up by Ekblad, shuffled off the high glass, got it out. Collected now, here's Lundell. Then a shot, a glove save made by Woll. One of his biggest saves of the night right there on Anton Lundell, who tried to go high glove side, short side pass Woll. We play on here in overtime. 43 seconds into the extra frame. Doug Plagans, Billy Lindsay, Kevin Rogers with you. Manny Chang is our on-site engineer, and Trevor Harris at studio control.
Bouncing puck through the middle of the ice, and all of a sudden there's some room down that right wing, and galloping is Lundell, and he got that shot off in a hurry, trying to get it by Woll. Woll alert, reaches out, with the leather and grabs it.
Face off here in the near circle down to our right inside the Panthers zone. Both teams dealing with the long change here in the first overtime period.
That's where you have to be so aware of your shift length.
Now far side of the ice. Puck played on by Marner. Down to our left, a race for it. And
offside.
An offside call against Toronto. So 50 seconds gone by here in overtime. And it's the long change just like the second period.
Rule it an intentional offside. This will come back to the right of Joe. Wall in the Panthers' end, so the Panthers catch a break on that offside.
With the long change back in the second period, the Panthers scored 3 times tonight. That was their biggest offensive period of the game. Face off, far circle down to our right, Matthews for Tanev. Off the glass, far side, and then Jones held it in at the line, but a second effort, and Marner helped the Leafs get it out. Played back down to our right behind the net wall to McCabe. Around the end boards, Tanev. Up the far side, it's Marner. Marner into the neutral zone. Gives to Matthews. Dangles in. Right side, drop back, Nyes over to the far boards. Luostarinen right there on him quickly. They wrap up. And Seth Jones has the puck given on to Luostarinen. Fluttered out to center. And it was just out of the reach of Lundell. The puck did clear. Lundell tracks it down near side. Plays up the boards. Benoit across then. And Ekman Larsson will hold it back inside the Leaf zone. Pass straight on into the skates of Holmberg. Settles. Gives to Nylander. Nylander left side works in. Looks for the trailer. A shot from Holmberg. And a save made by Bobrovsky to the near corner. It goes. Holmberg crunched here on the near side by Nico Mikkola. 2-on-2 scrum along the near boards. And the puck squirts out front of the Panthers net. Played out of the zone by Marchand. Driven back in by Brandon Carlo. Around the end boards it goes. Holmberg holding it deep for Toronto. Near corner, Tavares. Out along the near side, Morgan Riley, a shot. It went off Holmberg in front, didn't get through. The Leafs keep it alive. Riley, another drive, and that one wobbles wide through traffic. Back behind the net, Mikkola. He'll give to Bennett over on the far wall. Bennett onto Verhaeghe. He's bumped, tries to stay with it. Carlo swats it away, loose in front of the Leafs bench. Whack back along Mikkola to Verhaeghe, and it was pulled away by Lawton, who spins it back down to our left. Lawton works in offensively for Toronto. Around the back of the net, Scott Lawton to Calle Yarncroke. A shot, couldn't get it through. Tanev holds it down low for Toronto. Stephen Lawrence here in the near corner. Now here on the near side, it rolls away. Bennett will work into neutral ice, and Stephen Lawrence backs up to the Leafs line. Gives to Tanev as 17:22 remains here in the overtime period.
There's when that long change, you get caught out there for a while, and the Leafs had the Panthers hemmed in their own zone. The Panthers 2 defensemen well over a minute and a half maybe on that shift.
Matthews, Marner, right circle, Ekman Larsson shot, and Bobrovsky the save. He'll hold it. 17:06 left in overtime. 4-4 the score, and well, feels already like the Leafs have got more going in this overtime period than, as I mentioned, the second period, the last time we dealt with the long change here.
And Paul Maurice is going to have to rely on that fourth line to play some ice time. You look at the other side, and Craig Berube's been able to balance it out. Every forward on the other side for the Maple Leafs has played over 10 minutes in this game. Gadjevich and Greer and Nosek. Nosek got some penalty killing time, but Gadjevich and Greer around 6-7 minutes. So the Panthers they're going to have to make sure that they put a little bit of trust into that fourth line if the Maple Leafs are going to do the same thing.
Reinhart lobs one ahead. Down to our right, it's off Carlo. Morgan Riley with it. And Morgan Riley up the boards, Matthew Nyes. He'll flip it down to the far corner. Aaron Ekblad back to handle it for the Panthers. Ekblad here on the near side finds Reinhart. Dribbled along out to the neutral zone. Clears a race for it far side. Carlo swats it away from Barkov. Picked up though by Forsling. And as he tried to dump it in, it went off Carlo. So the Leafs will bolt back in from the neutral zone. Here's Matthews. He'll head deep into the Panthers' end. Looks for a passing lane. Sharp angle try. The shot was blocked by Forsling. The puck cleared by Lundell. Not far enough for an icing. Had some good touch on it. And McCabe goes back for it. Leaves it off the end boards for Morgan Riley. Immediately an outlet to Pacioretty. A touch pass to McMahon was behind him. And the puck taken back. Dumped in by Lundell behind the net. Handled by the netminder Wall. Up the near side. It's off Pacioretty. Pacioretty tried to clear, couldn't. Riley will. Far boards Bobby McMahon. He'll roll it deep into the Panthers zone. And it was whacked back along by Nate Schmidt. Cleared to center. And now McCabe will flip it along. It's off Nate Schmidt. He'll bolt through center ice. Here's Nate Schmidt into the offensive end of the Panthers. Right side shot. And a save made by Wall. Nate Schmidt. Good read. was able to buy himself a chance there, and he let it rip from the circle, but Joe Woll makes another save.
Those are those little dump-ins that go awry. The Maple Leafs looking for a line change, and they couldn't get it. And they had a couple players going off, and that allowed some free space again. Second time we've seen it. Right-handed or left-handed shot coming down the right side. First it was Lundell. This time it hit Nate Schmidt. This one it hits Joseph Woll right in the breadbasket.
Face off near circle down to our right. Bennett and Tavares. And off the face-off, the Leafs a chance to control, but Tkachuk beats Tanev to the corner. Pass out front. It's Verhaeghe. Walks toward the side of the goal, then back behind the net, loses his footing. And then Tanev and Verhaeghe battle. And Verhaeghe comes out with the puck over the far boards. Tkachuk, it's poked away. Out goes Nylander. Up the right side, Nylander to the middle of the ice. Gives right, has Holmberg back in front of Tavares. And he couldn't reconnect with another Leafs teammate. It's sent out of the zone by Tkachuk. Too far for Verhaeghe with no icing. Verhaeghe down behind the net. He's worked over on the end boards then by Morgan Rielly. Poked away by Holmberg. Gets back to help out. Ekman Larsson for Nylander, who didn't clear. Nosek down for Verhaeghe and close. Verhaeghe, he's pressured by Holmberg. Verhaeghe couldn't get the shot away. Ekman Larsson to the corner then. Backhand off the glass. And Lawton will clear for the Leafs out to center. It's handled by Mikkola and sent back deeply into the Leafs zone for an icing. So 14:57 to go in overtime. 4-4 the score.
Verhaeghe doing everything. Leafs with some pretty good defense. Back there's a swarm mentality. Panthers trying to force that puck to the front of the net. Just could not do it.
Yeah, they were just getting to him quickly.
And now because of that line change, you have your fourth line on the ice, and Craig Berube is able to get that Matthews line on there. You got to be able to get out of the zone and try and flip it and get the matchup you want. This is definitely not the matchup the Panthers want.
Nosek and Matthews will take the draw. Near circle down to our left. And Nosek wins that critical face-off. Puck played up the near side by Jones. Hits a body. Now Nosek on it. Gives it back to Jones. Off the glass far side. Got the clear. Marner at center has it. Going to be tough for the Panthers to get the change. As McCabe then gives right for Tanev. And the puck's played in. Down to the Panthers zone. Behind the net, Marner and Jones battle for a loose puck. Mikkola back there to help out. Turns into a 2-on-2, and then Nosek in to grab a loose puck. Here on the near side to Gadjevich. The puck was held in by McCabe, who has to go to the bench for a new stick. Meanwhile, Tanev across the ice for Benoit. They swap out the defense. Benoit dumps it in for Toronto down to our left. Mikkola over to the far corner for Seth Jones. 14-14 left in the overtime here in Game 3. Nice kept it in for Toronto. Lawton fumbles one away, loose in the slot, and it's played up the near side by Mikkola. Dumped in by Reinhart. This one skips around the end boards. Ekman Larsson back around near side, and it will be handled by Kulikov in the neutral zone. Laid back over for Nate Schmidt. Dumped into the Leafs end. Around here on the near side, it's Reinhart. Behind the net, Rodriguez. Evan Rodriguez in the far corner. Rodriguez behind the net. Wrestled off the puck, but he recovers. Had Lawton on him. Now Reinhart to the far corner. Reinhart up top, it's Schmidt. Kulikov, one-timer, and that one deflected off a skate wide to the near corner. Barkov tracks it down, turns it to the net. That deflects off a Leaf and on a play. 13:34 left in overtime.
Rodriguez has been phenomenal in this game for the Panthers. You look at his stats, couple assists, led the Panthers in 5 shots through 3 periods, also had 5 hits and 4 missed shots. So he's been firing everything at net there. He wins the battle back behind the net. They go D to D over to Kulikov, and that hits some skates in front ever before it got to Wall.
Lundell and Tavares off of the draw inside the Leaf zone down to our right. Off the face-off, here's Marchand. Brad Marchand in the corner, had the puck pulled away out the line, pinballing puck in. Holmberg got it by Ekblad into the neutral zone. The Leafs will try and charge in. Nylander to Holmberg. Holmberg left side, a shot saved made by Bobrovsky with the right pad. And out of the near corner, a battle for a loose puck. Nylander on it. Holmberg without a stick. Nylander gives to Tavares, and then he turned it over to Ekblad. Given on to Tulo Ostarinen. Played up the near wing for Marchand. Batted away by Morgan Rielly, and the Leafs pounce on control of the puck. Holmberg hands it back for Morgan Rielly. We've gone 7 minutes here in this overtime frame, and obviously we remain tied at 4.
And pretty interesting now, Holmberg is playing with Matthews and Nylander and Tavares, not Pacioretty. Pacioretty's been dropped down the line with Domi and McMahon.
A little change made there as the puck sent over to that far side. McMahon down for Domi. Leaves it for Bobby McMahon. Far boards, it's Domi again to the line. Jim McCabe juggles, fires, it's wide. Rims up the far boards. Tanev held it in. Chris Tanev pounds it down behind the Panthers net. This one rims off to the near corner where Sam Bennett's there. He dodges McMahon's pressure, and then it's left for Kulikov. Back behind Bobrovsky's net. Panthers left to right, Leafs right to left. Here in this overtime frame, 12:19 to go in the overtime period. It's sent out of the zone by Kulikov. Near side, Schmidt pats it ahead. And that one deflects up and into the second row of seats. And it looks like a guy in a gray quarter-zip pullover is going to take that one home, Billy. 12-12 left in overtime.
Gets a free puck in overtime. And space, but McCabe had it back in the point. He did have one shot through. And there was almost another one that went off Kulikov's skate. As you said, saw already 3 bounces that went off players, and there McCabe from the blue line. That was inches from going off Kulikov's skate in behind Bobrovsky.
On the faceoff, Matthews wrestles the puck from Barkov and sent up the near side. Here's Nyes to shuffle it deep into the Panthers' end. Mikkola behind the net, into the near corner. Backhand feed for Barkov. Now Mikkola had it nearly sliced away. He catches up to one, rolls it up the far boards. Too far for Reinhart. The Leafs will transition back inside their own end. 11:45 left in this overtime period. Marner back inside the Leafs territory, giving to Simon Benoit. Benoit off the near side. He'll dump it in. Down to our left it goes. Seth Jones back behind the Panthers' net. Jones off to the far side of the ice. Long feed too far for Anton Lundell. And this one goes the
got waved off to go waved off.
No icing. Benoit was expecting it, not going to get it. And then he punched it right into the gear of Anton Lundell here on the near side. So the Panthers hold it in. Tavares back behind the net, recovering for Toronto. Benoit this time, long stretch pass, a breakaway, a shot, Nylander, and a save made by Bobrovsky with the right pad. A scoring chance that developed in a hurry. And now the Leafs charge back in looking for more. It's Nylander to the end boards for Holmberg. And back behind the net, a loose puck inside the Panthers zone. Anton Lundell to Tula Woster and the Panthers out of their own end now.
Nylander, extraordinary hand-eye coordination. That was just looked like to be an icing. He's at the far blue line, knocks it out of midair, ends up on a breakaway, tries to go low to the...
Now down to our left on the end boards, a big collision there. Bennett colliding with Yarncroke. The Panthers hit at the offensive end. Verhaeghe for Tkachuk. Pound it to the corner then. Riley sends it around the end boards. Panthers keep possession. A shot from the far side from Kulikov. That one wobbled in on net, and Joe Woll able to hang on. Well, Joe Woll's made some saves here in overtime, Billy, but did you see on a previous sequence, he made a risky pass here on the near boards to Holmberg.
He's been out of his net, and there's been some dicey situations when he has got out. But that far stretch pass, and Nylander knocked that thing cleanly out of midair. You just don't see that too often by many players, and the Stars do it. He's looking for that long pass, and not only does he knock it out of midair, he just taps it down right to his stick where he can control it. Bobrovsky out challenging, able to get a right pad on it. Most dangerous chance that we've seen so far in this overtime period goes to William Nylander.
Face off, far circle down to our right, inside the Leaf zone to the right of Wall. Nosek will take the face-off against Lawton. And off the face-off, puck goes off to the far boards. Nosek to the line. Schmidt across. It backs Kulikov into the neutral zone. And Tanev, he'll have it for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Here's Tanev to McCabe. McCabe, a pass straight on. Lawton redirects it deep into the Panthers zone. Bobrovsky over for Gadjevich. And he will send one down to our right into Leafs territory. It's Tanev. Around the end wall, swing and a miss from McCabe. Couldn't clear. Nosek to the net. A wobbling puck that went off something on the way and went to the far corner. Here's Nylander. He'll scoot ahead with speed. In over the Panthers line. And he launched it to the net. Paddled away routinely by Bobrovsky. Cleared quickly by Reinhart up the near wing. Dumped down to our right by Rodriguez. Around the end boards, far side. It's going to take a roll up the boards, and Tavares, he'll bolt in for the Leafs. To Nylander, he tried a cross-ice pass that was defended nicely and hopped away. Barkov plays the puck down to our right into the Toronto end, then he smashes Benoit into the boards. However, the puck handled by Nylander up the far side for Matthews. Now to Holmberg. Holmberg right circle, tried to go between the legs against Ekblad, couldn't. Now a backhand try from Matthews, and that's stopped by Bobrovsky. Panthers on the counterattack. Dumped in by Lundell. Near corner, it's Marchand. Got by him, though. Matthews back ahead. Marner Dropped it off for Matthews. Up the left wing, Auston Matthews to the circle. A shot. He couldn't get it through. Matthews around the end boards as he recovers. Carlo at the right point. Carlo down for Matthews. Has it far corner to the right circle. Up top, Carlo. One-time try blocked. And here's Marchand out of his own end. He'll bank it up the near boards. Anton Lundell working against Carlo. They ride into the end wall, both of them. And now Mitch Marner back with the puck. He'll flutter one out to center. Down to our left it goes. And it's Schmidt there with 8:37 left in this overtime frame.
Couple of huge block shots for the Panthers in that sequence.
Nate Schmidt through center, takes a feed, looks right, has Tkachuk over the offensive line. Tkachuk right circle, down low for Hagee. A chance from a sharp angle wide. Out to the far point, it rims out to Kulikov. Into the far corner then for Hagee. Hagee down for Bennett. Bennett behind the net, Tkachuk out in front, and this one goes off to the far boards for Bennett. Bennett top of the far circle, wrist shot blocked, out to the line. Schmidt keeps it in. Bennett far half boards, down to the corner. It's for Hagee. Walks it to the front of the net, couldn't pull the trigger. Pacioretty over for McMahon. He'll backhand it out of the zone down to our left. Will it go far enough for an icing? No, Bobrovsky has to make a play on it. Leafs get a change. Panthers counter quickly though. Here's a long feed for Tkachuk. It's angled down to our right. Jake McCabe back for Toronto. He'll give to Tanev. Tanev for McCabe on the end wall. Back over for Tanev. Tanev to McCabe. Leafs taking their time. Near side for Holmberg. Angled down to our left. Onto the end wall. Rodriguez. Up the near side. Reinhart then. Here's Barkov into the offensive end. To the net. Barkov. Stopped by Wolves. Loose at the side of the net. And there to play it for the Leafs out of the zone is Nylander. Down to our left. Forsling. First one there.
Barkov put his head down. Just drove it hard to the net.
Almost worked. Left side. Here's Reinhart. Into the far circle. He makes a move to the net. Shot save made by Wall. Here on the near boards. Forsling to keep it down low. Rodriguez on the end wall. Rodriguez swerves away from Benoit. Out to the line for Forsling. Forsling straight on wrist shot over the net. Off the end boards. Reinhart out front. It's Benedict and Wall has it. The goaltender. No, he didn't have it, but it was whistled down anyway. I think our officials may have thought he had it just like we did. 6:56 to go here in the overtime frame. 4-4 our score.
We'll get our shovel. It's supposed to happen at the midway point, but we went with a lot of action, so the shoveling of the ice is going to occur at 6:56. That shot by Barkov. Rodriguez able to get it behind the net and just whip it out in front. And somehow Barkov knocked that puck out of midair.
Both goalies have been challenged here in this overtime.
Yeah.
Doug Plagans, Billy Lindsay, Kevin Rogers with you, Manny Chang, our on-set engineer, Trevor Harris at studio control.
And the attention to detail. Looks like the Leafs are trying to spread it out again a little bit more here in this overtime. Look for those long transition passes, those outlet, and try and get the Panthers what they like to do in that middle of the ice broken up a little bit on the other side. But the Panthers, as you mentioned, you want as many of those shifts in the offensive zone that you can force. If you get them out there, then that forces tired bodies. That long line change then becomes an issue when you try and get off the ice. So you see if we can get some, like we saw in that second period, where they were rolling over.
And Billy, looking at it, the one change in the combinations that we've really noticed here in this overtime period, and it's interesting because Pontus Holmberg is a guy who has never scored a goal in the Stanley Cup playoffs, but since they put him with Nylander and Tavares, it seems like that line's gotten some traction that they weren't getting before. And it's interesting too because Max Pacioretty had been on that line and he was really good for the Leafs in the first two games, but Craig Berube has an knack of knowing when to flip something around.
Part of Pacioretty is going down is because that Tkachuk Bennett line was having success against their third line. And Berube looking to balance it out.
Yep.
Well, just makes that little tweak and change into his lineup. Tkachuk, Bennett, and Verhaeghe have looked good together in this game.
They have reunited here tonight. Lundell and Matthews face off down to our right, far circle inside the Toronto end. Lundell, Marchand, Luostarinen. What a line they've been here in the playoffs for the Panthers. Clean win back to Mikkola. Long drive off the end boards wide. Into the near corner, it's Marchand. Out to the line, Seth Jones. Pressure. Gives along the near side behind Marchand to the corner. Kept it down deep. Now it's Matthews. Fumbles one away. And there's Joe Wall, the goaltender, to pounce on it. Goes to the rescue of Auston Matthews, who rarely you see something like that. Just kind of fanned on a pass, and it rolled right to the side of the Leafs net.
Everything's dangerous in overtime.
Face off in the near circle down to our right, and Paul Maurice is going to get the Barkov line back on. Barkov with Reinhart and Rodriguez. Reinhart's going to take the face-off here on the near side of the ice down to our right. Jones and Mikkola remain on defensively in a clean face-off win. Reinhart back to Jones. Jones at the line to Rodriguez right side. A shot, it's blocked partially by McCabe. The puck rolls to the near corner, and the Leafs will work it ahead. Matthews to Nyes. Nyes at center. Flutters a backhand deep into Panthers territory. It's going to be an icing call, and that's a good read by the official because Nyes was maybe a foot shy of the red line, but they whistle it for an icing. Puts a lot of pressure on this Toronto unit now.
And you had that Barkov line, and this line of Nyes, Matthews, and Marner had been out there for a while against Marchand's line, and now they changed it, and Barkov came out. Now they have the icing to get through it. Matthew Nyes is just hunched over his stick, dead tired. Matthews the same thing. They're trying to buy as much time as possible.
They're trying to delay it a little bit here. Face-off far circle down to our right inside the Leaf zone. And it's one back. Barkov, a shot from Reinhart is blocked by Tanev. And then Marner clears. Now here's Nyes. A partial breakaway. Bolts in. Nyes. Backhand save made by Bobrovsky with the right pad. And an immediate clear. Back in go the Panthers. Rodriguez here on the near side of the circle. Rodriguez, a shot. It's off Barkov. And Benoit will carry it ahead for Toronto, who did get the change. He'll clear to center. Lobbed back along by Tkachuk into the Leafs in. Ekman-Larsson, a transition pass to Holmberg, and he'll play it to the near side. Now Tkachuk back for Forsling. Forsling gives to Bennett. Bennett over on that far side to Forsling, and he'll drill it in. Around the end boards it goes. Here on the near side, Holmberg will pounce on one. He clears. Surprised Nyes had that much in the tank to get up the ice like that. Now Nylander in the neutral zone to Holmberg. Pocket pick. Bennett for Tkachuk now. He had it stolen away. Holmberg gives to Nylander here on the near side of the ice. Nylander dumped over by Jones. Back go the Panthers. Bennett up the near side. Bennett to center ice. Verhaeghe cruising in. Long shot. Kicked away with the right panel wall. Over on the far boards, Verhaeghe got around. Here's Bennett. Along the near boards, looks up top to an open Kulikov, tees it up, a shot, it's wide! And it rims around near boards, Bennett. Long shot into traffic, and that deflects off a body wide to the far corner. Kulikov behind the net. Tavares gave it away. Verhaeghe, a pass up top to the near point, gloved down by Kulikov and ripped back behind the net. Verhaeghe with a man on him, a man without a stick, that's Carlo. Now Marchand to the line, Kulikov. Across Schmidt, gives to Kulikov. Right point, Dmitry Kulikov. Back across to an open Schmidt. Gives to Verhaeghe. One-time drive wide. And that rims off to the near boards. Kulikov here on the near side. Gives out to Marchand to the far circle. A shot, and they score! It deflects out front, and the Panthers have won it in overtime. 5-4, the final score. The Panthers take game 3. Brad Marchand gets it to the net, and the Panthers win it in overtime tonight.
Brad Marchand with his 4th ever overtime goal. Able to swing it around. And it goes off bodies, just like we've seen all night. And the Panthers get the last bounce, and that ends up being the winner. Right back in the series. As the Panthers are able to crawl back a little give and go. Marchand around the wing there. Throwing it on net. Hits bodies, never pass up a shot in overtime. And actually, let's see, it's cruising through the middle of the slot here, which body it actually did hit.
It may have been Carlo, his old Boston teammate. Banked it off the defenseman, perhaps.
Riley. It might have been Morgan Riley standing in front. Whatever it is, the Panthers have won, and they have gotten this series to a 2-1 lead. And Brad Marchand, and the series that he's having, and the coaching job tonight by Paul Maurice was outstanding with some of the adjustments that he was able to make. And this is why you bring Marchand on board, because he's notorious for big-time goals along with Carter Verhaeghe. You have a bunch of them. They thrive in these situations. So what can you say about Brad Marchand in these playoffs, along with Lundell, Lou Osterina, and the group effort after being down 3-1 in that explosive third period? You get the dagger that kind of hurts in the third when O'Reilly was able to tie it up. No problem. The Panthers have had over the last 3 runs, Doug. including this year, our record, I'm not sure, I believe it's just one overtime loss out of all the overtime games that we have been to. They find a way when they need it most, and this one is one of the biggest ones that we have seen. And the Panthers will be on Sunday, and we will be going back to Toronto no matter what.
5-4, the Panthers take Game 3. Game 3 presented by our friends at Baptist Health. Brad Marchand got it to the net. A friendly bounce, and it gets by Joe Woll, and the Panthers now trail the series just 2-1. So the Panthers now, with a win on Sunday night, could reduce this to a best of 3. A victorious edition of the Cats Recap Show is going to be coming up on the other side of the break. 5-4 in overtime. 4:33 left in the first overtime. That's when the goal was scored. 5-4, the Panthers knock off the Leafs tonight. The Leafs maintain a lead in the series, but it's reduced to 2-1. The Cats Recap Show straight ahead on the Florida Panthers Radio Network, presented by Baptist Health.
This has been Florida Panthers hockey. The game coverage doesn't stop now. More with a Cats Recap Show coming up on the Florida Panthers Radio Network.
Presented by Baptist Health.
We often welcome people as a standard greeting. It's become as common as greeting another with a hello. At Baptist Health, being welcome has far deeper meaning. So welcome to the warmer side of care, where we advance innovation and treatments through research while educating the next generation of experts all close to home. Here, the sun shines through each one of us as we stand by each one of you. Welcome to the warmer side of care. Welcome to Baptist Health.
Metro Group Miami, corporate partner of the Florida Panthers. The home of Metro Signs and Metro Wraps has been South Florida's business choice for quality signs and graphics for over 34 years. No sign